You were looking for me. My name is Liu Ruyan. I'm your fiancé, but you need to realize that this outfit of mine costs 168,000 and my necklace is 1.7 million. These are things you can't provide. You're overthinking it. I didn't plan on giving them to you. Are you implying that you plan to live off a woman after your release? No need. Bring that item over. The guard brought over a box, and inside were unexpectedly 9 marriage certificates. Witnessing this scene, Liu Ruyan was instantly filled with admiration and envy. Moreover, she faintly caught sight of one marriage certificate where the bride's name was Lin Yuwei. The daughter of Tianhai's richest man happens to be named Lin Yuwei. This one is yours. You got in here for fraud, didn't you? If it weren't for fraud, how on earth could you have so many marriage certificates? You must have used sweet talk to please women and swindle them out of their money. You paid no attention, simply stood up and left. Returning to the prison block, you looked at the marriage certificates with lines of frustration on your face. 9 marriage engagements. If more people come to call off the weddings, it will be annoying to death. It's better to take the initiative, call off all the weddings first, and then come back. Thinking of this, you grabbed the box and quickly left the prison block. Boom, the massive electromagnetic gate, standing a full 8 meters high and 20 meters long, was once again sent flying by your single kick. A few hours later, you boarded a plane bound for Tianhai City, but as fate would have it, enemies crossed paths. Just as you walked into the cabin, you looked up and saw Liu Ruyan. She saw you too, her face full of sheer shock. You're out of prison. Didn't I already make myself perfectly clear? Our social statuses are worlds apart. Stop stalking me, get off right now. This guy just got out of prison, yet he ended up on the exact same flight as her. If this isn't intentional stalking, what else could it be? There is something wrong with your brain. You should go get it treated quickly. Liu Ruyan was so angry she was practically grinding her teeth. Earlier, when you took out the marriage certificates, she thought a bit higher of you for a moment. Who would have known that you're actually just a rascal? Not long after, the plane taxied to a gentle landing. Liu Ruyan was the first to stand up. She walked over to you, lowered her voice, and warned, a person needs to have some self-awareness. Stop following me. Otherwise, I don't mind letting you witness my status in Tianhai City. At this time, the flight attendant began checking seat numbers. She walked up to you with an incredibly respectful attitude. Distinguished Mr. Chen, please disembark the plane. Distinguished Mr. Chen, please disembark the plane. This guy literally just got out of prison. How did he turn into a big shot in the blink of an eye? Well, even you yourself were completely bewildered. In your memory, you didn't seem to have any acquaintances in Tianhai. That's right, it's you. After pondering for a brief moment, you stood up and walked off the plane. Just as you entered the airport, you saw a burly middle-aged man hurrying over to greet you. I'm Zhang Kangding, chief of the 13th Hall of the Dragon Temple. Welcome to Tianhai, Mr. Chen. If the people of Tianhai were to witness this scene, their jaws would probably drop in shock. This Zhang Kangding is a ruthless figure known as the Underground Emperor. Not to mention, he is also the chief of the 13th Hall of the Dragon Temple. Let me tell you, I am actually the person who founded the Dragon Temple with influence that reaches the heavens. Sigh. These people are really getting better and better at setting things up. Dismiss all the men and take me to find Lin Yuwei. Liu Ruyan lingered at the very back, feeling increasingly uneasy in her heart. She grabbed a flight attendant, discreetly slipped her a gift box, and asked in a low voice, could you please tell me what exactly is the background of that Mr. Chen? And who is the person that locked down the airport? I'm truly not clear about Mr. Chen's identity. However, I heard that the people who locked down the airport seem to be wearing identical Zhongshan suits. Zhongshan suits? Which department would wear that kind of uniform? Could this guy have broken out of prison? Are those people wearing Zhongshan suits actually trying to hide their identities to catch him? Yes, that must be it. Now there's finally no need to worry about him coming to hassle me again. Western Suburb Manor. This is precisely the residence of Lin Zhenan, the richest man in Tianhai. Why are there so many people outside the door? Lin Zhenan's daughter, Lin Youwei, contracted a strange illness a year ago. She falls into a deep lethargy every day. Recently, an expert was brought in who claimed that she is suffering from love sickness and they must wait for the destined person to come and awaken her. That's why all the unmarried men in the city have rushed over. What kind of marriage engagements did that old man arrange? Liu Ruyan's side actively called off the wedding, while over here with Lin Yuwei, she actually fell sick with love sickness just from waiting for me. When that old man gets back, I'll definitely settle the score with him. The auspicious hour has arrived. Open the doors. Go on back first. I'll go inside and take a look. Walking through the manor, you made your way all the way to the villa's living room. On the sofa in the center of the living room sat an exhausted-looking Lin Zhenan. Standing on his left was an old man with an immortal, transcendent aura. Master Guo, please begin testing for the destined person. The old man muttered a few incantations in a mystical manner, and then instructed everyone to prick their fingers and drop a drop of blood into the bowl. The people present immediately couldn't wait to prick their fingers. After all, if anyone truly becomes Lin Yuwei's destined partner, they will completely strike it rich for the rest of their life. Seeing this whole process, you couldn't help but laugh out loud. The so-called testing for the destined person is supposed to focus on matching their birth horoscopes. using blood to test it. You're treating it like a blood paternity test. What are you laughing at? Lin Zhenan snapped in an instant. He was already incredibly annoyed to begin with. Your laughter instantly and completely ignited his temper. Swoosh in an instant, everyone's eyes fell upon you. The so-called testing for the destined person is supposed to focus on matching their birth horoscopes. Using blood to test it, you're treating it like a blood paternity test. What are you laughing at? Lin Zhenan snapped in an instant. He was already incredibly annoyed to begin with. Your laughter instantly and completely ignited his temper. Swoosh in an instant, everyone's eyes fell upon you. Your tone remained calm as you laughed. With this method, not only will you fail to find the destined key person, but it will also make her illness worse and worse, and might even make her slip straight into a coma. Of course, if you really burn the liquid until it's completely dry, maybe the smoke could even wake her up. This is pure grandstanding. How dare you make reckless judgments about her illness? Do you really think you're some kind of divine doctor? As a matter of fact, yes. Snakeskin shed during the awakening of insects, a 2-year-old silkworm, a rooster's head from the current year, and then brewed with May snow. This will definitely cure the illness as soon as the medicine is taken. Where on earth would you find snakeskin during the awakening of insects? How could a silkworm possibly survive the winter? And how could there be snow in May? Uncle Lin, this kid has been desperately trying to show off ever since he walked through the door. At first glance, he's clearly not a decent person. Hurry up and kick him out. It's merely the nonsense of a clown. Does Mr. Lin lack even this basic level of discernment? With just a single glance at him, I can tell he doesn't have a shred of destiny with the young mistress in this lifetime. Get him out of here, you old blind man. On what grounds do you conclude that I have no destiny with Lin Yue? This kid failed at playing the mystic, yet he still wants to stubbornly talk his way out of it. What an insolent kid. This is the master I invited to cure my daughter's illness. How dare you insult him? Master Gu raised his hand to signal everyone to stay still. Then he walked towards you step by step. Although I wouldn't call myself extraordinary, I have studied diligently for 50 years. Started my training at 3, entered my master's sect at 8 so, and by 16 I could read a person's fate at a glance. Yin and Yang Feng Shui, and the secrets of Chimen Dunjia, I can see through them all. Just by looking at your face, I know you are not destined for the young lady. You dare to call me blind? If you're not blind, then open your eyes wide and look. You call this not destined? Master Gu stared intently at the marriage contract. He froze on the spot. Groom Chen Fan, bride Lin Yue. Lin Jinan also walked over quickly. Seeing the marriage contract, he was shocked. What the old man said back then was actually true. I remember before my father passed away, he did mention an arranged marriage for my daughter. Although I remembered it, I never took it seriously. You put the marriage contract away, your expression remaining calm. Old blind man, keep on bragging. Where were you just now? The young man glared at you, his eyes looking as if they were spitting fire. He is clearly a fraud. Kick him out. Lin Jinan's expression was very complex. He then slowly opened his mouth. This marriage contract is indeed real. Although this marriage was arranged by our Lin family, times have changed. The marriage still depends on Yue's own wishes. Just stay here for now. We'll talk once Yue wakes up. No need for that. I came here this time just to call off the engagement. Keep the marriage contract yourself. I'm leaving now. Consider that prescription as compensation for the breakup. Make sure to keep it safe. He's refusing to be the son-in-law of the richest man in Tianhai. He's too arrogant. The entire hall erupted in chaos. Lin Jinan naturally didn't take your word seriously. Turning around, he and Master Guo continued the blood test. But even after testing nearly 10 people in a row, Lin Yue still didn't wake up. In the end, Lin Yue fell into an even deeper sleep. Seeing her daughter in this state, Zhao Yalan was also anxious to death. Lin Jinan suddenly recalled your earlier words, hurry and find, snakeskin shed during the awakening of insects, a 2-year-old silkworm, a rooster's head from the current year, and brew them with May snow into a medicinal soup. Not long after the medicinal soup was brought up, Lin Jinan personally fed it to Lin Yue. After drinking just 2 sips, Lin Yue slowly opened her eyes. Lin Jinan was so excited he almost jumped up. Quick, hurry up and invite Chen Fan back. On the other side, just as you walked out of the Western Suburb Manor, you had already set your eyes on the next target to call off the wedding. Gu Yongxi, a prominent figure from the capital. However, you plan to find a place to fill your stomach first. As you pass by a half-open private dining room, you glance inside casually. One of the people inside happened to be Liu Ruyan. How do you manage to bump into her everywhere you go? But you couldn't be bothered to overthink it, so you straight up took a seat in the main dining hall. Inside the private room, Liu Ruyan raised her wine glass. Mr. Wang, I toast to you with this glass. I hope that for this raw material supply, you can give priority consideration to the Liu Corporation. We will definitely deliver the absolute best quality. We'll talk about it later. The smile on Liu Ruyan's face instantly froze, and her heart grew increasingly anxious. She had only just taken over the Liu family business and was eager to prove herself with solid results. Yet the person in front of her happened to be absolutely crucial. She tentatively spoke up, "Mr. Wang, is there something bothering you? As long as I can help with it, I won't decline." "Mr. Wang, is there something bothering you? As long as I can help with it, I won't decline. Think you can handle it?" This afternoon, the young mistress of the Gu family from the capital is coming to Tianhai. If you can get me a meeting with her, let alone this cooperation, all raw materials in the future will be given to the Liu Corporation. The Gu family is an existence that she simply cannot reach. Where on earth would she find that kind of connection? The young mistress of the Gu family locked down the airport as soon as she got off the plane. That kind of grand display is something we won't see in our lifetimes. Yeah, figures at that level are completely out of reach. I heard the young mistress of the Gu family looks like a goddess, truly a nationwide beauty. Listening to everyone's discussion, Liu Ruyan carefully recalled the details. "Mr. Wang, you all got it wrong. The afternoon airport lockdown wasn't because the young mistress of the Gu family arrived. It was to catch a fugitive. To catch a fugitive." Everyone was stunned, and Liu Ruyan nodded. She retold exactly what happened at the airport from beginning to end. "So that's how it is. It turns out it was just an insignificant little rascal. And here I thought the young mistress of the Gu family had arrived in person, making me feel depressed all afternoon for nothing." The others immediately followed up on his words. "Is this kind of nobody even worth your concern? Mr. Wang, I also have acquaintances in the prison. I'll go ask around to see where he's locked up and find someone to finish him off directly." Hearing this, Liu Ruyan felt a jolt in her heart. She thought your days inside probably wouldn't be easy. But on second thought, "Isn't this all your own doing?" Just then her phone rang. Liu Ruyan stood up and walked outside. As soon as she stepped out to the door, she suddenly let out a scream. Hearing the commotion, several people in the private room hurriedly rushed out. "President Liu, what's wrong? Are you feeling unwell somewhere?" Liu Ruyan didn't hear their words at all. Her eyes were staring straight at a corner of the hall. "Chen-fan, how could he be here?" You muttered in a low voice. "I just wanted to eat a quiet meal," feeling a wave of annoyance in your heart as well. It's one thing for her to be here, but why did she have to run out? Clearly you hadn't even eaten your fill yet. You couldn't be bothered to pay attention to her, so you just put down your chopsticks, stood up and left. "Stop right there." Liu Ruyan finally snapped out of it, so angry that she was practically grinding her teeth. She rushed in front of you in a few steps. "I already told you a long time ago, we are simply not from the same world. Stop following me. Do you not understand human language?" So he's just a persistent, clingy simp who followed her all the way here. No wonder her reaction is so intense. "Which eye of yours saw me following you? Move aside." "President Liu, who is this kid?" "He is the one I was talking about just now. The fugitive who was caught at the airport. Who knows how he managed to run out again." "Fugitive? This guy is actually a fugitive." The entire restaurant instantly became so quiet that you could hear a pin drop. Mr. Wang in particular went completely stiff all over. Making a move against a fugitive, isn't that just seeking death? Hearing her say this, you couldn't help but feel a bit of anger rising in your heart. However, seeing that the people around you didn't dare to act cocky, you didn't bother to waste any more words. "Stop right there. You must promise me that you will never appear in front of me again. Otherwise, don't even think about walking out of this door today." "Why don't you tell me then? How exactly do you plan to keep me from leaving?" Liu Ruyan felt a chill run down her spine under your gaze. She suddenly remembered that you are a criminal. If you're truly driven into a corner, you're capable of doing anything. But she absolutely could not back down at this moment. If she shows weakness today, how can she maintain her footing in the future? Therefore, she could only brace herself and shout. If she shows weakness today, how can she maintain her footing in the future? Therefore, she could only brace herself and shout, "President Liu, hurry up and call your detective friends." "I don't know any detectives. I really don't. If this call is actually made, before my friends even arrive, I'm afraid I'll be the one dealt with first. Only a fool would make that call." "Mr. Zhang, didn't you say you know many friends in the prison? Maybe one of them is his boss. What if the person I name happens to be the arch enemy of this great deity? I don't know him. I don't have a single friend." Ruyan's face instantly felt burning hot as her gaze swept across everyone's faces one by one. Her eyes completely filled with pleas for help. But everyone present avoided her gaze, asking them to help deal with the fugitive. Who would dare? Still she refused to give up, and ultimately pinned all her hopes on Mr. Wang. After all, among the people present, he was the most capable. Mr. Wang was already cursing her to high heaven in his heart, but he still had to force a smile on his face, a smile that looked uglier than crying. "Little brother, you just got out and are probably looking for work, right? I happen to have a job opening on my side, with a starting monthly salary of 5,000. Would you like to consider it?" 5,000? Those people in the prison, just to take one less punch from me, almost all had to fork out 1 million. Then you said in a calm tone, "Beat it." The faces of Mr. Wang and the others instantly turned crimson. Seeing this situation, Liu Ruyan immediately gritted her teeth and roared at you. "What are you putting on an act for? Don't think a barefoot man doesn't fear one with shoes. This is reality, not a novel. I'll let you off the hook today. But if I ever catch you again next time, I will definitely make you regret it for the rest of your life. Who do you want to make regret for the rest of their life? Everyone turned around in unison to look, only to see an elderly man leading 6 bodyguards, walking in with large strides. The moment Mr. Wang and the others recognized the old man, they instantly started trembling all over with fear. The person who arrived was precisely the butler by the side of the richest man, Lin Zhenan. Uncle Fu, Mr. Wang, immediately forced a face full of smiles and hurried forward to greet him. Uncle Fu, what brings you here in person? Uncle Fu didn't even bother to lift his eyelids. He walked straight to you and bowed deeply. Mr. Chen, you have been wronged. Leave this place to me to handle. Daring to threaten Mr. Lin's honored guest is simply seeking death. Liu Ruyan froze completely, as if struck by lightning. The eyes of Mr. Wang and the others almost popped out. This kid is actually an honored guest of the richest man's family. Kneel down immediately and apologize to Mr. Chen. Otherwise, I will make your Liu family completely vanish from Tianhai. Forget it. Considering that you actively called off the wedding back then, I'll spare you this one time. What do you want me to go back for? Mr. Lin would like to invite you back for a visit. You thought about it for a moment. Since I won't be able to leave anytime soon today anyway, I might as well go back and take a look. Didn't you say he was a fugitive? Then how did he become the richest man's honored guest? If we get retaliated against because of this, I will absolutely never forgive you. Are you playing us for fools? For a moment, Liu Ruyan found herself completely unable to defend herself, and her mind went entirely blank. No matter how hard she tried, she just couldn't understand how you could suddenly transform into an honored guest of the richest man. Just then, Mr. Wang suddenly changed his demeanor. President Liu, of course, there's no problem with our cooperation. However, you must invite Mr. Chen to act as the middleman. Inside the western suburb manor, Lin Zhenan's face was glowing with joy. Yue, this is your fiancé Chen Fan. He is not dad. I've said it before, I will not marry anyone in this lifetime. Don't force me. What a coincidence, I didn't plan on marrying either. Lin Zhenan's expression instantly became as ugly as if he had swallowed a fly. Xiaofan, what do your parents do? I don't have parents. I was raised by my master since I was a child. Master has been traveling far away for 3 years and hasn't returned yet. So I came here on my own this time. No father and no mother. And here I thought he came from some big prominent family. Then how did you spend these past 3 years? Why didn't you come find us 3 years ago? Master told me to wait for him in prison. Prison? What good person could possibly come out of a prison? Is he even worthy of Yue? During the year you were sick, Jubaoshi spent quite a lot of time keeping you company. You must treat him a bit better in the future. Hubby, recently the young mistress of the Gu family from the capital is coming to Tianhai to invest. You need to make plenty of preparations in advance and strive to establish a connection with the Gu family. Let's go to the study to discuss the preparations. Lin Zhenan naturally understood his wife's intention. She wanted to play the bad guy herself and kick Chen Fan out of here. Originally, they thought Chen Fan had a significant background. But what surprised you even more was that it could be such a coincidence. You tentatively spoke up Auntie Zhao, that young mistress of the Gu family from the capital. Is her name by any chance Gu Yunqi? As if avoiding a plague god, Zhao Yalan hurriedly took 2 steps back. What does that have to do with you? Why are you trying to build a connection? I am not familiar with you. Hearing this, you frowned. Sure enough, no matter their age, women are always just as fickle. Here is 1 million. Take it and get lost immediately. Don't let me hear even half a word of rumors regarding you and the Lin family in the future. You glanced at the bank card and suddenly laughed. Your master's words flashed across your mind. Always compete with those of your own caliber. Never argue with a foolish dog. It is I who have nothing to do with your Lin family. Furthermore, being poor is inherently not your fault. But being poor without even realizing it, that is your fault. Keep this 1 million for yourself. Consider it a reward for you. You straight up stood up to leave, but after taking only a few steps, a muffled clap of thunder suddenly erupted in the sky, and it instantly started pouring rain outside. Zhao Yalan's face turned pale with rage, her nails digging deeply into her palms. She is the wife of the richest man in Tianhai City, yet someone actually dared to call her poor. If she hadn't been wary of the fact that you've been in prison and possess raw strength, she would have definitely slapped you twice with her own hands. I'll give you 10 minutes to get out of my house. Otherwise, I'll have the security guards throw you out. You didn't bother to reply, and instead pulled out your phone to dial Zhang Kangding's number, to tell him to come pick you up. Just then, there was some noise from the staircase, and Lin Zhenan came downstairs with an embarrassed look on his face. He was truly afraid that his wife would completely infuriate you. As the richest man, there was no need to clash head-on with a petty rascal like this. Getting involved with you would only be disgusting. Therefore, he spoke up in a gentle tone, Xiaofan. Are you leaving already? The rain is pouring so hard outside. How about I have Uncle Fu arrange a car to send you? No way. A thug like him who has served time in prison. What kind of decent friends could he possibly know? Don't let him get our family's car dirty. Master Mr. Zhang Kangding has already arrived at the entrance. Zhang Kangding. What a perfect coincidence that he's coming. Maybe that friend of yours really does know him. Chen Fan, this little rascal who just got out of prison, actually called his cellmate to pick him up. looking across the entirety of Tianhai City. Out of those who have been to prison, how many are not men under Zhang Kangding's command? Once that friend of yours arrives and sees Zhang Kangding, he will probably be scared out of his wits right on the spot. You merely gave a cold laugh. Hearing this cold laugh, Zhao Yalan gritted her teeth in anger. Lin Zhenan's face also darkened. This kid is simply too arrogant. In a moment, he must have Zhang Kangding teach him a good lesson. Just as he was thinking this, Uncle Fu had already invited Zhang Kangding inside. Lin Zhenan immediately greeted him with a flattering smile. Welcome, Mr. Zhang Kangding, to our humble abode. Zhang Kangding also had a smile on his face. Just as he raised both hands preparing to return the greeting with the cupped fist salute, no need to pay attention to them. Looking at them makes me feel disgusted. Hurry up and drive. I don't want to stay here for another second. As soon as these words came out, Lin Zhenan and Zhao Yalan were both completely stunned. How could it be your turn to interrupt in this kind of situation? And what kind of nonsense are you talking? Just as the two were about to lose their temper, Zhang Kangding trembled all over with fear. He immediately opened the umbrella to lead the way ahead. Yes, this lowly one knows his mistake. Mr. Chen, please step this way. Lin Zhenan and Zhao Yalan froze right on the spot, as if muffled thunderbolts were exploding in their minds one after another. Zhang Kangding was actually here to pick up Chen Fan. This underground emperor actually referred to himself as this lowly one in front of Chen Fan. Hubby, what exactly does Chen Fan do? Zhao Yalan asked in terror. The moment she thought about her attitude toward you just now, a chill ran down her spine. I don't know either, Lin Zhenan said as he broke down. The scene just now completely shattered their understanding. The famous Dragon King Zhang. When had he ever been so respectful to anyone? The two looked at each other and then hurried to Lin Youwei's room. After sitting in the car, Zhang Kangding looked at you with absolute caution. Should we make a move on the Lin family? Up to you. You looked out the window casually and conveniently sent a message to the prison warden asking for a house. Very quickly, the other party replied to the message. The phone message sent over by the warden stated that the white-collar criminal in prison, known as the Emperor of Working Class, has a villa in Tianhai called the Cloud-Ding Heavenly Palace. I heard it's the most top-tier villa in Tianhai. The white-collar criminal. Only then did you recall that back in Mingdu prison, you casually said a word to let him eat his fill for a month. Who would have thought he actually remembered it all this time? The moment you pushed open the villa's main door, you sharply caught the sound of running water from upstairs, along with a faint, lingering fragrance. If you guessed correctly, this should be what that Emperor of Working Class arranged in advance. But you're just here to stay for a few days. This guy really knows how to kiss up. You sat down on the sofa, planning to have the person leave as soon as they finished showering. Master said that without his permission, you cannot carelessly lose your innocence. Just then, a sudden sound of footsteps came over. You instinctively looked up, but when you clearly saw the scene on the stairs, it felt as if you had been struck by a heavy blow. A woman was standing right on the stairs. Her skin was fair and delicate, her facial features well defined, and her hair was damp. You couldn't help but curse in your heart. Did this white-collar criminal overdo his brown-nosing? You suddenly turned your head back, your Adam's apple bobbing continuously. Put on your clothes and get the hell out. She stared at you as a wave of killing intent surged in her eyes. After a few seconds, you only heard the bathrobe belt brush past the handrail of the stairs as she walked away quickly. Only then did you let out a heavy sigh of relief. After a while, why did you put on pajamas instead? I don't need any services. Hurry up and leave, saying no with your mouth, but your body is quite honest. Little brother, are you feeling shy? You instinctively glanced down and immediately wished you could find a crack in the ground to crawl into right on the spot, no matter how tough you acted. After all, you had never experienced intimacy between men and women, let alone facing a woman directly like this for the first time. You simply couldn't control it, so you could only brace yourself and speak up, cut the nonsense. Hurry up and leave. But this is originally my house. You don't need services, but I do. Little brother, looking at you like this, you haven't even touched a woman before, have you? How about this? Serve big sister well tonight, and big sister will let you be the male master of the Cloud-Ding Heavenly Palace. What do you think? Your house. Isn't this the house of that Emperor of Working Class? How did it become her house instead? Could it be that she is a canary secretly kept by that Emperor of Working Class? It's not entirely impossible. It can also become a home for the two of us. Little brother, go upstairs and take a shower first. I'll be up in a moment. Being touched like this by a woman, your heartbeat instantly went into disarray. Hearing her make a kissing sound again, you felt as if your entire being was about to explode. In your heart, you cursed that Emperor of Working Class thoroughly. Leaving you in such a state, you turned around and bolted upstairs wildly. It wasn't that your heart was swayed, but rather that you wanted to use cold water to clear your head. Remember to wash up nicely, and wait for me in bed. After saying that, she turned around, her expression instantly turning cold. She picked up the phone and called the bodyguards over immediately. 5 minutes ago, a man entered the villa. He is currently upstairs. It was your subordinate's dereliction of duty. Just this once. The woman waved her hand casually. Take him away. And don't hurt him. Unbeknownst to her, and don't let her speak carelessly. Understood, Missy. The four of them immediately rushed upstairs with quick steps. In the bathroom, you heard footsteps coming from outside, and your heart gave a sudden jolt. You hurriedly grabbed the bath towel to wrap around your body. Give it a try. Kid, come with us for a bit. No time. If there's something, just say it right here. You're seeking death. Hearing the commotion, the woman immediately stood up from the sofa. These few guys were all top experts carefully selected by her father. Who on earth are you? What did you come here to do? Don't be nervous. My name is Chen Fan. I'm a prison mate of the Emperor of Working Class. I just got out of prison and I'm staying here for a few days. But since you are here, I'll leave tomorrow. Hi Chen Yang, so you are Chen Yang's friend. You should have said so earlier. I thought a stranger had broken into the house. Little brother, your strikes are really quite heavy. You couldn't possibly be this strong all the time, could you? This woman is simply a vixen. Every word she speaks is laced with sheer seduction. A friend's wife should not be trifled with. Don't you get any ideas about me? I'll be leaving tomorrow, haha. Haha, you little rascal. Don't think I don't know what you're thinking in your heart. You clearly have a crush on Big Sister, don't you? Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, Gu Yunshi will announce our cooperative partner. With this phone call being placed, the entire city of Tianhai went into a frenzy. In the bedroom, you fell into a deep sleep. Lin Yo-wei, how do you know my number? That's not important. Come to Tiangxi Racecourse within half an hour. Not going. Without even thinking, you directly refused. First, you disliked her commanding tone, and second, you felt this matter was completely meaningless. What did you say? As the daughter of the richest man, and also the #1 beauty in Tianhai, she had never been rejected like this before. Not going. You coldly repeated it once more, and casually hung up the phone. Even if the destiny has run its course, there should still be a closing period. Just treat it as putting a final period to this marriage engagement. I'll wait for you. You're out of your mind. Little brother. Big sister just heard you speaking. I'm coming in now. Gu Yongxi's seductive voice drifted in from outside the door. Is this your way of actively welcoming Big Sister? Being stared at by her like this instantly made your scalp tingle. You instinctively wrapped the blanket even tighter around yourself. You spoke up, almost breaking down. Don't be like this. I'm not fully awake yet. It just so happens that I'm not fully awake either. Big Sister will cuddle with you and sleep together. You bounce straight up from the bed, wrapping yourself tightly in the blanket. Don't come over. Ha ha ha, look how scared you are. Big Sister won't eat you up. Alright, I'll stop teasing you. There's a banquet tonight. You're coming with me. No rejections allowed. You injured my bodyguards, so you must accompany me. Sigh. Fine, you can go out now. I'm not going out. Big Sister still wants to sleep with you. Come here, let Big Sister give you a hug. You were so scared that you straight up fled in panic. Half an hour later, the crowds around the Tianhai racecourse were all discussing in low voices. I heard the eldest young mistress of the Gu family is hosting a meet and greet tonight. I heard about this a long time ago. If anyone can secure a cooperation with the young mistress of the Gu family, that would truly count as scoring a powerful backer. Yue, if I didn't guess wrong, the partner the Gu family chooses in Tianhai will definitely be your family. Yeah. Once I get you into bed, let's see how you can still act all aloof. Right, Yue? Although I don't know what that Chen Fan's background is. He is completely unworthy of you. He's like some low-life street swindler. Just toss him some money to dismiss him. Did your mother never teach you not to gossip behind people's backs? Hearing these words, everyone turned their heads one after another. The moment Shu Baoshi saw you, his expression instantly turned ugly. He actually thought Lin Youwei invited him out to express her gratitude, but he never expected that you would show up too. What kind of thing do you think you are? How dare you speak to young Master Su like that? Not speaking. Are you admitting that your mother never taught you? Or is it that you don't even have a mother at all? As soon as these words came out, the faces of everyone present instantly turned pale, because Shu Baoshi indeed did not have a mother. And this was precisely his biggest secret. I'm going to kill you. Don't! Lin Yue let out a startled scream in fear. She came here today originally wanting to test your identity. If you get beaten up and leave in a fit of anger, how can she continue testing you? Beat him to death. The others also joined in loudly heckling. The next moment, a figure was seen flying backward 3 meters away, crashing heavily onto the ground. That person was none other than Su Baoshi. Speak up. How is this matter going to end? You are too barbaric. Resorting to violence and fighting is something only low-class people would do. On what grounds do you divide people into different social classes? Moreover, it was clearly him who made the first move. Clutching his chest, Shu Baoshi scrambled up from the ground with a deathly pale face. He knew very well in his heart that he couldn't beat you in a fight, so he wanted to redeem himself in another area. You named Chen, do you dare to have a match with me? This is a race course, so let's compete in horse riding. If I win, you will crawl on the ground and let me ride you like a horse for 10 minutes. Stop barking like a foolish dog around here. If you really make me anxious, I'll kick you too. Bring out my Fergana horse. Valued at 12 million, you named Chen, do you actually dare to compete or not? Looking at his shabby appearance, he probably hasn't even ridden a horse once in his entire life. This is a sport played by aristocrats. He most likely doesn't even know how to ride. Fine, I'll compete with you. I actually think you should compete with him. as it can also prove that you are capable of more than just fighting. I don't care about what you think. I only care about what I think. And I think there is absolutely no need to compete. Your expression remained calm the entire time. You originally thought he could come up with something impressive, but after all that fuss, the result is just this kind of childish trick. It's simply an insult to one's intelligence. Therefore, you didn't bother to stay turned around and walked away. Stop right there. There is 2 million in here. As long as you dare to compete with me, this money is yours. Fine. Then let's have a match. What if you lose? Me, ha 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 ha. If I lose, I will also crawl on the ground and let you ride me like a horse for 10 minutes. How about this? Whoever refuses to fulfill the bet. Whoever gets the hell out of Tianhai, deal. This is a pretty good proposal. With Yue acting as a referee. Who would dare to deny it? Ha ha ha. Everyone obviously felt that you were bound to lose. The smugness on Xu Baoxi's face grew even thicker. Pick any horse you want, I can lend it to you. No need, I prefer to cash in on the bet directly. Cash in on the bet directly. Is he planning to just admit defeat? Yesterday I heard that he wouldn't even accept 1 million. Acting so full of backbone. After all that fuss, it turns out he just thought the money was too little. Just then, that Fergana horse let out a long name, mom. He had raised this horse for 3 years and had already tamed it long ago. Stop for me. I still have to race. The more he whipped it, the wilder that horse jumped instead. Seeing this scene, the corners of your mouth curled up slightly. Over these years, what you rode in the mountains with your master were tigers and black bears. Riding a mere horse is completely a piece of cake. At this moment, you snapped your fingers again. Hearing this sound, that Fergana horse instantly started jumping even more crazily. Brother Shy, an even more shocking scene appeared before them. That Fergana horse actually walked straight towards Xu Baoxi, bent its front legs, and directly mounted on top of him. It has always been only humans riding horses, but now it has actually become a horse riding a human. Is this your doing? Take a guess. I didn't bother to ride him, so I let the horse take my place. Referee, remember, it's 10 minutes. Keep a close eye on it for me. After saying that, you turned around and walked away. Everyone stared at this scene in utter speechlessness. No one expected that you would actually have this kind of ability. Get off me, Xu Baoxi roared, trying desperately to push the horse away. But this horse weighed a full 2,000 plus pounds. He couldn't push it at all. Lying on the ground, he watched you walk further and further away, the rage in his heart surging frantically. You get back here. The race hasn't even started yet. Lin Yue gritted her teeth and spoke up with a complicated expression. He can even control your horse. You have already lost this bet. Just after she finished speaking, a blush unexpectedly surfaced on her face, and then she hurriedly turned around and left. Every single one of them was completely dumbfounded. This horse is actually interested in Xu Baoxi. On the other side, you had already walked out of the Tianhai racecourse and saw a person walking toward you from the opposite direction. Wait a moment. Liu Ruyan blushed and called out to stop you. After hearing Mr. Wang's words yesterday, she felt that this was an opportunity. I was inside while you were outside. Could it be that this time I followed you to the racecourse again? This time I came here specifically to find you. I have something I want to ask for your help with. She had never thought that she would actually have a day where she would beg you for help. No time. There is 200,000 in here. Come with me for a trip. Even though you have fooled Lin Yue for now, there will come a day when she snaps out of it and kicks you out. You should still plan for your own future. Hearing these words, you instantly lost your voice from laughter. The people here, how come every single one of them likes to throw money at others? Therefore, you conveniently took out the card from just now that belonged to Xu Baoxi and tossed it over. There is 2 million in here. Take the money and stay far away from me. 2 million. Immediately after, her entire being was almost exploding with rage. The marriage engagement, take it as me begging you this time, as long as you are willing to help me. In addition to the 3 times I promised to help you when calling off the engagement, I will help you another 3 times extra. Consider it as me begging you. You frowned slightly and instinctively sized up her complexion. She didn't look like she had a terminal illness, at most just a slightly irregular menstrual cycle. Just for the sake of our past engagement, help me this once. You only need to accompany me to meet Mr. Wang. So it's just gonna meet a person? Fine, just this once. Never again. Great. My car is parked over here. Liu Ruyan was instantly overjoyed. She quickly walked over to the Maserati and opened the car door for you like a chauffeur. Lin Yue also chased out from the racecourse. She still wanted to find out your true identity. How is it? Have you found out clearly? On the other end of the phone, Lin Zhenen's voice was very urgent. He shouldn't have much of an identity. For the sake of 2 million, he turned back around again. Subsequently, she related everything that had just happened inside the western suburb manor. And here I thought how profound his background was. But in the end, he turned back to race for a mere 2 million. After all that fuss, yesterday he just thought what I gave was too little. The more Zhao Yalan thought about it, the more ridiculous she felt. If nothing unexpected happened, he probably met Dragon King Zhang in prison, or perhaps had saved Dragon King Zhang before. He doesn't have much real ability at all. Originally, we were thinking of relying on him to secure the cooperation with the Gu family tonight. but now it seems we can only rely on ourselves. But Lin Zhenin didn't think so. To make Dragon King Jiang bow down and submit, it's probably not as simple as just a favor. Instead of blindly guessing here, it's better to just go ask Dragon King Jiang directly. Thinking up to this point, he straight up dialed Jiang Kongding's phone. Dragon King Jiang, I am Lin Zhenin. I'm really sorry to bother you. What is it? It's like this. Actually, my daughter has a marriage engagement with Chen Fan, but it's also my first time meeting Chen Fan, so I don't really understand his situation. I wonder if Dragon King Jiang could briefly tell me about him. They are actually family. No wonder Chen Fan said up to you yesterday. If I had rashly made a move, the consequences would be simply unimaginable. So that's how it is. Brother Zhenin, to be honest, I'm not clear about Mr. Chen's true identity either. It's just that a friend of mine asked me to look after him. Jiang Kongding naturally would not mention the palace master. The identity of the Dragon God Palace must never be leaked. A friend Lin Zhenin immediately guessed that this friend must be highly placed and powerful. Otherwise, how could Dragon King Jiang have this kind of attitude? But how did Chen Fan get to know this friend? Is he someone who has been to prison? Yes, he is still inside right now. So that's how it is. Ha 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 ha, look at that. I knew Chen Fan was just a petty rascal. The one who is amazing is someone else. He stayed in prison for 3 years. Maybe he was cleaning toilets for others every day to curry favor with them? Ha ha ha, in the final analysis, Chen Fan still has no real ability. He's just a petty rascal, flaunting powerful connections. Wait a minute. At this moment, Jiang Kongding heard Zhao Yalan's words and asked with a face full of shock and alarm, what did you say? Chen Fan has been to prison, and he only served 3 years. On the other side, you met Mr. Wang at the tea house. Mr. Wang's attitude was extremely respectful, both bowing and scraping, handing over the contract to Liu Ruyan for her signature with a face full of smiles. Mr. Chen, tonight, the young mistress of the Gu family from the capital is holding a meet and greet. Will you be going? In his view, since you could become Lin Zhenin's honored guest, you must definitely be a big shot. She's here. You were slightly stunned. She really came fast enough. Of course I'll go, and I definitely have to go. It's just that some things shouldn't be said too hastily. Waiting until tonight when he sees you standing together with Gu Yunxi before trying to get close to you will naturally yield results as a matter of course. Mr. Chen, then I won't disturb you for now. See you tonight. Pausing for a moment, Mr. Wang added another line. Rest assured, I will definitely do my best to look after the Liu family's business. Mr. Wang, let me see you out. After seeing Mr. Wang off, she suddenly felt that you weren't that annoying after all, and even thought you looked a bit handsome. I really couldn't tell before, but you're quite good at putting on an act. You took a sip of tea and asked in surprise, what act am I putting on? Going to Miss Gu's banquet, of course. You even made it sound like, of course I'll go, I have to go. A banquet of that caliber is something even I am not qualified to attend, let alone you. It's not like you're Lin Zhenin's son-in-law. Even if you really were, you'd just be a live-in son-in-law. There's no way they would ever let you in. Everything you do is just an act. Even this aura you have right now. Hearing this, you were left completely speechless. This woman always has a bizarre kind of confidence, as if heaven is number 1, earth is number 2, and she is number 3. You put down your teacup, stood up, and spoke, the contract is done, I should leave. Liu Ruyan rolled her eyes, obviously feeling a bit displeased. Of course you can. I almost forgot. You still have to go back and be a simp for Lin Yue. But I have to remind you, everyone in Jinghai knows she's just so aloof that no one can win her over. You'd better save up some money, so that you won't even have food to eat when she kicks you to the curb one day. Hearing this made you even more speechless, so you turned around and walked away quickly. Liu Ruyan hurriedly followed you. Everything I said is the truth. You'd better remember it. Just as the two of them walked out of the tea house, with a sharp screech, 2 Toyota Prados slammed to a halt right in front of you. The car door swung open all at once, and 8 burly men wielding clubs stepped out. Liu Ruyan took 2 steps back in fright. The leader of this group was a bald man who didn't get out of the car, but sat firmly in the passenger seat instead. He rolled down the window, his face full of disdain. Are you Chen Fan? Yes. Who are you? Before the bald man could even speak, a burly man next to him cursed out loud. Are you damn blind? You don't even know Baldy Liu, yet you dare to ask. Baldy Liu. Hearing this name, the surrounding people scattered one after another. Liu Ruyan also turned deathly pale. Baldy Liu. Looking at the reaction of the people around, you had a face full of confusion. Why is everyone so afraid of him? Is he that amazing? Liu Ruyan secretly glanced at Baldy Liu, her voice trembling. More than amazing. He is a hall master under the command of the underground emperor Dragon King Jiang. In the underground world, he is truly below 1 person and above 10,000. You were directly amused by Liu Ruyan's introduction. Since when are local thugs and rascals worthy of using phrases like below 1 person and above 10,000? Seeing you laugh, the burly man next to him instantly glared with rounded eyes. What are you laughing at? Liu Ruyan was so scared that her face froze again, and she hurriedly spoke up. Stop laughing. You're asking for too much trouble. These people are all from the underground world. Who knows how much blood is on their hands? Provoking them will definitely not end well. It's nothing. You held back your laughter. Considering Jang Kong-ding's good performance these past 2 days, you decided to say a few more words, looking for me for something. You're seeking death, seeing your dismissive attitude, the burly man raised his weapon and was about to smash it down. Hold on. Just then, Baldy Liu suddenly spoke up, shouting in a cold voice. You're actually not scared at all upon seeing me. You can be considered a real man. I like talented people the most. I'll give you a chance to roll with me. Be my underling, and I can let you off the hook. As soon as these words came out, the others immediately started heckling along. What are you standing there blankly for? Boss is giving you a chance. Hurry up and kneel down to kowtow. Following boss from now on guarantees you'll live a luxurious life. Hearing this, Liu Ruyan's mouth couldn't help but twitch. In her heart, she actually didn't want you to get too close to these people. But on second thought, if you really entered the underground world, she could also come to you whenever she encountered trouble in the future. Therefore, she also joined in to persuade you, Chen Fan. This is your chance to stop living off of women. Hurry up and grab it. Quickly acknowledge him as your boss. You gave her a flat glance, then looked at Baldy Liu with a calm tone. It's not impossible to have me be your underling, but I advise you to contact Jang Kong-ding first and ask him if he actually dares to accept me as an underling. As soon as the words fell, the surroundings instantly fell completely silent. Jang Kong-ding, Dragon King Jang, you're truly seeking death. The burly man raised the weapon in his hand once again, but just at this moment, a sharp shout suddenly rang out. Baldy Liu raised his hand to stop the burly man and sized you up carefully once more. When ordinary people hear his name, their legs would have gone soft with fear long ago, yet you aren't flustered in the slightest, and even dare to directly mention Dragon King Jang. Baldy Liu asked cautiously, you know the Dragon King? With a calm expression, you replied, go ask him if he recognizes me or not. The surrounding crowd instantly gasped. This guy really has a background. The burly man who was about to attack just now also felt a bit faint-hearted. Could it be that he really knows Dragon King Jang? At this moment, the call connected, and Baldy Liu's attitude completely lost its previous cold arrogance. His tone exceptionally careful. Chairman Zhang, are you busy at the moment? Jang Kongding was already somewhat irritated, having just heard about Chen Fan's situation from Lin Zhenin and was currently in a terrible mood. Even the palace master called him an honored guest, so he originally thought he was a scion of some big family, but it turns out he was just cleaning toilets in prison. Although the palace master ordered to take care of him, it's absolutely impossible for him to personally act as his chauffeur and even seal off the entire airport. This is simply an insult. Yes, Baldy Liu hurriedly nodded in response. There's a Chen Fan over here. He told me to ask you whether you recognize him or not. Liu Ruyan's heart rate instantly accelerated. If Chen Fan really knows Jang Kongding, business will definitely go a lot smoother. Who Chen Fan? The moment Jang Kongding heard this name, he instantly stood up in a fit of rage. He was already harboring a pent-up anger in his heart, and he never expected this guy would actually dare to run straight into the gunfire. What kind of trash is he? Is he even worthy of me knowing him? Why is he at your place? Baldy Liu lowered his voice. The young master of the Shu family, Shu Baoshi, wants me to break his 2 legs. Jang Kongding fell silent for a moment, and finally decided not to get involved. If the palace master mentions it in the future, at worst, he will just apologize again. He coldly dropped a line, cripple him, and the phone hung up. Baldy Liu narrowed his eyes, staring at you as he closed in step by step. What did Chairman Zhang say? Liu Ruyan asked impatiently. He said to cripple you. Baldy Liu's voice suddenly turned freezing cold. You brat! How dare you play me? I originally wanted to give you a chance, but now I'll not only ruin your legs, I'll also break all 4 of your limbs. What? Liu Ruyan screamed, losing her voice. She was filled with anticipation just now, but never expected it would actually turn out to be this result. You were also slightly taken aback. Jang Kongding told you to cripple me. Baldy Liu's face was full of chilling sternness, and the 8 burly men attacked at the same time, with flashes of cold light heading straight for vital points. Bang, bang, bang. However, in just a brief few seconds, all 8 burly men flew backward, crashing to the ground and screaming in pain. Trash of this level was actually even worse than those 4 bodyguards from yesterday. The passersby were stunned. The greeters were also dumbfounded, and even Liu Ruyan was completely dazed. She hadn't seen clearly at all how you actually made your move. At this moment, you were a bit unable to believe it. Did Jang Kongding really tell you to handle me? Baldy Liu completely ignored your question, clenching both of his fists tightly, as the muscles all over his body tensed up. So, you're actually a trained martial artist. No wonder you dared to be so secure in your reliance. A pity that you just had to run into me. Before his voice could even fade, he threw a punch straight at your face. As a hall master under the Underground Emperor, this position was earned punch by punch. Back in the day, his pair of iron fists took down 3 streets for Dragon King Jang, fierce and matchless. Slap. The sound of a slap exploded without any warning. I'm asking you a question. Who told you to strike back? Baldy Liu was completely stunned. His fist was still suspended in midair, yet his face had already taken a hard slap. Immediately after, it was another slap. Speak. Baldy Liu's eyes went completely vacant. Slap you backhanded him with another slap. Baldy Liu was sent flying directly from the impact. I don't bother to listen to your nonsense. Baldy Liu collapsed on the ground, unable to get up, blood continuously coughing out of his mouth. You turned around to look at Liu Ruyan. Take me to find Zhang Kangding. On the other side, at Longting KTV, this place is the most top-tier entertainment venue in Tianhai City, and also one of the industries under Dragon King Zhang's name. The Earth-ranked private box was crowded with young men and women. Sitting right in the center, Xu Baoxi's eyes were bloodshot as he downed glass after glass of liquor. He had been waiting for news from Baldy Liu's side. Looking across the entirety of Tianhai, and even the entire province, humans riding horses is a matter of course. But he just had to end up being ridden by a horse. This is simply a humiliating disgrace. Brother Baoxi, stop drinking. It harms your body too much. A girl next to him carefully advised. Xu Baoxi raised his hand and slapped her. Get lost. Do I need you to mind my business? Believe it or not, I'll destroy you. The girl instantly fell silent as a winter cicada. Just then, the phone rang. He hurriedly picked up the call, and a deep voice came from the other end. I know about the matter. Come back first, and prepare to attend Miss Gu's meet and greet tonight. Yes. Xu Baoxi violently pushed back his chair and walked out quickly. Outside the door, a Maserati happened to pull up. After clearly seeing the person getting out of the car, Xu Baoxi's eyes instantly glared with furious rage. Chen Fan He actually wasn't crippled. What on earth is Baldy Liu doing? You couldn't be bothered to pay attention to him, and walked straight into the lobby. Xu Baoxi clenched his fist tightly, wishing he could rush up and fight to the death. But he also knew he was completely no match. Just then, his eyes caught Liu Ruyan as she got out of the car, and his eyes instantly lit up. He immediately put on a smiling face. Hello, beautiful. Are you Chen Fan's friend? My name is Xu Baoxi. The chairman of Tianlong Group, Xu Tianlong, is my dad. I wonder if we could get to know each other? The moment this identity was revealed, even Liu Ruyan was slightly stunned, and then excitedly responded, Hello, young Master Xu. I've heard so much about you. I am the president of the Liu Group, Liu Ruyan. It's a pleasure to meet you. By this time, you had already arrived upstairs, and saw 2 bodyguards standing at the door of the heaven-ranked private box. If nothing unexpected happened, Zhang Kangding was right inside. Just as you were about to approach, stop right there. A bodyguard suddenly spoke up coldly. Who are you? My name is Chen Fan. Hearing this name, the bodyguard faintly found it a bit familiar. After scanning you up and down, he spoke, Wait here. He then turned around and entered the private box to report. Inside the private box, Zhang Kangding was singing at the top of his lungs in the center. Seeing the bodyguard come in, he asked impatiently, What's the matter? Dragon King, there's a man named Chen Fan outside looking for you. Chen Fan, why is it him again? Zhang Kangding's expression instantly darkened. How on earth does Baldy Liu handle things? He clearly told him to cripple Chen Fan, yet he actually let the guy run away, and even find his way here. Tell him to get lost. Just say, I'm not here. Understood. But just as the bodyguard turned around, the door was suddenly pushed open. You stepped straight inside? The bodyguard immediately shouted in a stern voice. I told you to wait outside. Who allowed you to come in? You didn't even bother to care. Your gaze landing directly on Zhang Kangding. You're not seeing me, and you even told people to cripple me. Zhang Kangding's face instantly looked even more hideous. A small character who only served 3 years in prison actually dares to talk to him like this. Then he raised his hand to signal the bodyguards not to move, and spoke coldly, What do you want from me? Speak up, I'm very busy. As expected, his attitude had already changed. You spoke calmly. I have already asked this question once, and I don't want to repeat it. Hurry up and answer. I'm also short on time. Zhang Kangding was instantly consumed with rage, and the atmosphere in the private box suddenly turned freezing cold. He said with a sneer, Brat, the only reason I'm willing to take care of you is out of respect for your cleaning toilets for the palace master. I gave you face, yet not only are you not grateful, but you even dare to push your luck. Do you really think I, Dragon King Zhang, have no temper? A nobody like you is only fit to be a lackey to my underling's underling. Who gave you the audacity to come barging in here? You finally realized the truth, but you were too lazy to explain. Tonight, after you go find Gu Yunxi to call off the engagement and leave the city, there would be no more interactions anyway. Therefore, you said casually, your performance yesterday was decent, so I'll forgive you. From now on, we are even. After saying that, you prepared to leave. Stop right there. Zhang Kangding was almost exploding with rage. As the dignified underground emperor, when had he ever suffered such contempt? He only survived by relying on luck to cross paths with the palace master. Is he even worthy? Therefore, he spoke with murderous intent. You petty rascal. My patience with you has reached its absolute limit. Out of respect for the palace master, I'll give you one last chance. Kneel down, kowtow, and then disappear forever. If you dare to go complain to him, I will definitely crush your bones and scatter your ashes. What if I don't kneel? Then I will chase you to the ends of the earth and finish you off. As soon as the words fell, bang, your figure flashed without a single flashy movement. Zhang Kangding's entire body slammed heavily into the wall 5 meters away. Before he could even slide down, you had already arrived in front of him once again, gripping his neck tightly with one hand. pinning him fiercely against the wall. All of this happened way too fast, and in that flash of lightning absolutely no one could react. Zhang Kangding was completely dazed, his mind feeling as if struck by a bolt from the blue as he stared at you with a face full of sheer terror. This kind of suffocating pressure, he had only ever felt it on the Palace Master before, and even the Palace Master had never given him such intense pressure. Who on earth is he? Seeing this, the bodyguards were also so terrified that their legs went soft. They hurriedly turned around, rushed out to the door, and pressed a hidden button on the wall. Ring, 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 the exact moment the button was pressed. Across the entire Tianhai city, 8 KTVs, 20 nightclubs, and 14 private clubs under Zhang Kangding's banner had their alarms go off simultaneously. 26 hall masters received the message at the exact same time, and hundreds of lackeys grabbed their weapons immediately, rushing toward Longting. Down in the first floor lobby, Liu Ruyan was beaming with joy, having just exchanged numbers with Xu Baoxi. The other party even said they should grab a meal together when free. If she could really establish a connection, the family business would definitely reach the next level. Just as she was thinking this, she suddenly heard a piercing alarm. Liu Ruyan was instantly startled. Only now did she snap back to reality, realizing she had somehow been possessed to bring Chen Fan here to find Dragon King Zhang. What on earth is going on with this alarm? Immediately after the sound of urgent braking came from outside, she instinctively looked up, only to see a row of cars slamming to a halt outside, as dozens of fierce-looking burly men, holding weapons charged inside, heading straight upstairs. The moment she thought of you, Liu Ruyan's heart gave another sudden jolt, but she still hurriedly walked out of the KTV. Just as she stepped out the door, she was completely shocked by the scene before her. On both sides of the road, rows of vehicles with hazard lights flashing came roaring in. With a rough glance, there were at least over 100 cars. Immediately following that, the doors of these cars swung open all at once, as hundreds of burly men gripped their weapons and charged into the stairwell like a tidal wave. But all of this was still far from over. Even more vehicles stretched across the road, extending so far that the end couldn't be seen, speeding frantically toward this direction with their hazard lights flashing all the way. Liu Ruyan quickly blended into the crowd of onlookers. I heard the last time Dragon King Zhang's alarm rang was 10 years ago. Someone in the crowd discussed in a low voice. Could it be that man has returned? Liu Ruyan nervously asked the person next to her, "Brother, what does it mean when this alarm goes off?" That person immediately put on a mysterious look. "I used to run in the underworld back in the day. Once this alarm goes off, it means someone is threatening the safety of Dragon King Zhang. As long as they hear the alarm, all hall masters and lackeys will immediately rush over to reinforce him. Look at this lineup. There must be 2,000 people by now, right? It's most likely that man." The moment Liu Ruyan heard the words threatening his life, her entire face turned white with fear. Could it be Chen Fan who is threatening Dragon King Zhang's life? Has he gone completely mad? Liu Ruyan's face was full of sheer terror. She wasn't sure at all if you could still come out alive. After thinking it over and over, she ultimately decided to go find Xu Baoxi for help. Meanwhile, inside the private box, you had already let go of Zhang Kangding. Although you indeed harbored a murderous intent just now, your master had said that killing people damages one's hidden virtues and harms one's blessings. Therefore, you spoke coldly, you are spared from the death penalty, but you won't escape punishment. As soon as the words fell, you violently kicked Zhang Kangding straight out the door. By pure coincidence, over 20 hallmasters had already rushed into the corridor at this time. Seeing this scene, they cried out one after another, "Dragon King." At this moment, Zhang Kangding curled up into a ball, continuously dry heaving. The surrounding hallmasters anxiously gathered around. Several of them hurriedly shouted, "Quick, support the Dragon King and get him to the back." The rest of them raised their weapons all at once. "Brothers, grab your gear." You walked slowly out of the room, your gaze scanning the dense dark crowd in the corridor, the corner of your mouth curling into a faint smirk. You had long grown accustomed to scenes of this caliber. You unhurriedly asked the question, one-on-one or a mob fight? Everyone froze at the exact same time. The leading hallmaster sneered and gripped his weapon, stepping forward on his own initiative. "Fine, I'll fight you one-on-one." But you spoke up with the calm expression, "You are not qualified enough." The one-on-one I mentioned means me alone fighting all of you. As for a mob fight, it means all of you getting beaten up by me together. As soon as these words came out, everyone was so enraged that their eyes almost split open. The leading hallmaster instantly charged up alone. "Arrogant brat, you're seeking death." After saying that, he raised his hand and slashed down with his blade. You looked at him and merely shook your head. The next second, you violently kicked out, directly sending the hallmaster flying through mid-air and crashing heavily into the crowd. The crowd instantly turned into a complete mess. The dozen-meters-long corridor was packed with bodies lying all over the place in the blink of an eye. Not a single person could stand steady. Zhang Kangding originally wanted to take the elevator to escape, but he was so terrified by the scene before him that his legs went soft. Cold sweat streamed down frantically from his body. Is this guy a damn human? Stepping over the heap of people scattered all over the floor, You walked over while smiling. Want to run, just like you said just now. Even if it's the ends of the earth, I can still find you just the same. Zhang Kangding instantly lost his mind in panic, his pant leg already wet with a large puddle, yet he was still forcing himself to remain calm. You cannot kill me. The palace master will absolutely never let you off. Hearing these words, your gaze suddenly turned freezing cold, and then you softly uttered a sentence. The palace master you speak of is nothing more than someone who cleans toilets for me. As soon as this sentence came out, Zhang Kangding felt as if he had fallen into an ice cave, and his entire body instantly froze on the spot. Cleaning toilets? No wonder he looked so ordinary. It turns out he has attained true simplicity and returned to nature. Without a single moment of hesitation, his knees went soft and he knelt straight down on the spot. Mr. Chen, I was wrong. Please give me another chance. I am willing to be a dog for you. Seeing this scene, the entire corridor instantly became dead silent. You also recalled that Sun Liangqi, who begged for mercy in prison. After acting as a dog for 2 years, he was later released on medical parole, and who knows whether he is currently dead or alive. You couldn't help but shake your head, and your gaze landed back onto Zhang Kangding before you. It's not impossible to have me forgive you, but do you know how to do the old turtle crossing the river? Since his title is the Dragon King, having him perform the old turtle crossing the river is just fitting. It has been several days since you had anyone play this game, so you actually missed watching it a little. I do. Zhang Kangding immediately lay flat on the ground, passed both of his arms underneath his thighs, with his 4 limbs facing up to the sky, and used his back to press against the ground to scuttle along bit by bit, looking exactly like a flipped over turtle. At this moment, Zhang Kangding no longer possessed even a shred of his appearance as the underground emperor. He immediately squeezed out a face full of flattery. Mr. Chen, is this acceptable? Looking at his pathetic state, you smiled faintly. You learned it quite well. However, you wanted to kill me just now, so getting me to forgive you won't be that easy. Move like an old turtle down to the first floor and keep singing. Hesitating for a moment, the corners of Zhang Kangding's mouth twitched violently. He knew better than anyone else in his heart that thousands of his lackeys were standing downstairs. If he went down in this manner, how could he ever face anyone in the future? But the moment he thought back to the image of the palace master cleaning toilets for him, he could only resign to his fate, wriggling while singing. See the iron hooves clanking. Just like that, Zhang Kangding rolled all the way down to the first floor. Everywhere he passed, those lackeys were without exception completely dumbfounded. This once insufferably arrogant underground emperor actually turned into this state in front of this young man. Who on earth is he? Zhang Kangding pathetically wriggled his way to the entrance and asked with a face full of flattery, Sir, are you satisfied? You merely smiled faintly, and then prepared to leave. But Zhang Kangding still reluctantly followed you, forcing a fake smile on his face. Mr. Chen, whenever you need a car in the future, just call on me. I still want to be your chauffeur. Only then did you suddenly remember that you had come here in Liu Ruyan's car, but now she was nowhere to be seen. So you casually ordered him to go drive the car over. Zhang Kangding hurriedly turned around to get the car. The scene suddenly quieted down. In the crowd, Liu Ruyan clutched her cell phone, and with great difficulty made a phone call. Young Master Xu Chenfan is trapped at Longting. Can you come over and help out? She was extremely anxious right now. Having already reached a dead end, she could only seek out Xu Baoxi, the only one she knew, who might be able to help. But Xu Baoxi, who received the call, felt a surge of joy in his heart, believing for sure that Baldi Liu had already made his move. Therefore, he intentionally put on a dissatisfied front. Why are you only telling me this now? Don't worry, I will go to Dragon King Zhang right away to handle it. After hanging up the phone, he smugly stuffed his phone back into his pocket, still secretly calculating in his mind. Whether Chenfan lives or dies is none of my business. But as for Liu Ruyan, I will comfort you nicely. Just as he was thinking about these things, his father, Xu Tianlong, the president of Tianhai's newly risen wealthy power Tianlong Group, walked over. Let's go, it's time to attend Miss Gu's meet and greet. Liven up a bit. As far as I know, Miss Gu Yongxi is still unmarried. Xu Baoxi's eyes instantly lit up, and he followed up with a meaningful question. What do you mean by that? Me? Xu Tianlong narrowed his eyes slightly, his posture fully embodying that of a successful businessman. In Tianhai City, the only one who can compete with me for the cooperation is Lin Zhenin. And since Miss Gu is a young lady, there's a 90% chance she will choose us. You must find a way to build a close relationship with her. The moment he thought about getting connected with Gu Yunqi, Xu Baoxi's heart instantly surged with excitement. Then what about Yu Wei? He had wasted a whole year on Lin Youwei. He originally thought that borrowing a person would allow him to smoothly achieve his goal. But who would have thought a hitch would occur halfway through? He was truly unwilling to just let it go like this. Xu Tianlong smiled faintly. This doesn't count. Master Ji will invite his senior brother to cast another curse on Lin Youwei. This time, it will absolutely not fail. According to his plan, Lin Youwei's acute illness would relapse, and Xu Baoxi would take the opportunity to win her over, while keeping his relationship with her hidden well. Even if Lin Zhenan found out, there would be nothing he could do. How is it going on Baldi Liu's side? Zhu Tianlong looked at him with concern. Zhu Baoshi had a face full of smugness. Chen Fan has already been cornered by Baldy Liu at the Longting Club. He definitely won't live long. At the thought of potentially getting involved with Gu Yunxi and Lin Youwei at the same time, while also being able to comfort Liu Ruyan along the way. These three are all top-tier beauties. His mood instantly became excellent. Zhu Tianlong nodded slightly. Let's go. Just as the car drove out of the villa, a Rolls-Royce drove toward them from the opposite direction. As soon as Zhu Tianlong saw the license plate, he immediately spoke up. It's Dragon King Zhang's car. Quickly pull over. The driver immediately pulled the car to the side. The Rolls-Royce brushed past them and drove by. Zhu Baoshi was instantly startled. Why did that person in the back row just now look like Chen Fan? But that's impossible. Shouldn't he be dead? Just at this moment, Zhu Baoshi's phone rang. Seeing that the caller was Liu Ruyan, he immediately changed his tone. Miss Liu, I'm really sorry. Liu Ruyan directly interrupted him. Speaking excitedly, thank you, Chen Fan. Is fine. Hearing these words, Zhu Baoshi was completely stunned. He actually didn't die. Could it be that I really didn't see wrong just now? This is impossible. At this time, you returned to the Yunding Celestial Palace. But the moment you pushed open the door, your entire being was stunned. In the living room, Gu Yunxi was changing her clothes. When she saw you, she was stunned at first, but quickly recovered her composure, raising her hand slightly to cover herself, looking at you with a beaming smile. Little brother, you came at just the right time. Help big sister pick out a nice one. She picked up several pieces of clothing and kept measuring them against herself. When had you ever seen a scene like this? You only felt a wave of heat in your nose, and hurriedly covered it as you turned around. Gu Yongxi looked at you leisurely. You're actually getting shy? It's not like you haven't seen it before. Hurry up and help me choose. You're really making things difficult for big sister. In your heart, you cursed the Emperor of Laborers Kai Chongyang once again. He kept such a beautiful canary at home, yet he still chose to stay in prison. Stop playing around, you are my sister-in-law. You were the youngest in prison, so calling her sister-in-law wasn't uncalled for, and it also served to draw a clear line. Stunned for a moment, she looked at you with a deep resentment. Then don't you want to taste something special? In an instant, you only felt your body losing control a bit again. So you turned around and rushed straight out of the villa. Behind you, Gu Yongxi laughed so hard that her body trembled. A few minutes later, Gu Yongxi walked out after changing her clothes, her face written all over with dissatisfaction. How is your driving practice going? Come on, drive big sister out. As long as you drive well, big sister will cook for you again. You snatched the car keys in one go. Where to? Tianhai Hotel? You gave a secret sigh in your heart. What a coincidence indeed. Tianhai Hotel is the largest hotel in Tianhai City, and the meet and greet is being held right in the lobby. After parking the car, you went upstairs together with Gu Yunxi. Gu Yongxi was quietly observing you all the way. Seeing that your expression remained completely unchanged, she couldn't help but nod secretly in her heart. As expected of someone who could make Kai Chongyang lend out his villa, even when facing such a grand scene, he isn't flustered in the slightest. She raised her hand to link her arm with yours, and spoke probing caringly once more, little brother, there are all big shots inside. Are you not flustered at all? Why do I actually feel a bit scared instead? You comforted her in a low voice. Don't be scared. With me here, no one will dare to touch you. Your coming here tonight, besides accompanying her, was also to call off the engagement. Before calling off the engagement, you could still be considered the male master. Gu Yongxi blinked her eyes, instantly looking like she had become your little fangirl. Little brother, you are simply too manly. Hearing you say this, I suddenly want to lean on you forever, and my feet can't even move anymore. Your face was instantly covered in black lines again. Suddenly, a furious roar echoed from the banquet hall. Your expression immediately sank. A figure charged over furiously. The person coming was none other than Mr. Wang, who was cooperating with Liu Ruyan. Mr. Wang spoke through gritted teeth. You fraud. A criminal like you actually dares to come here and run wild. I really thought you were some big shot before, but it turns out you were just a petty thief who just got out of prison. He had just gone to toast Lin Zhenan and brought you up along the way. Who would have thought Lin Zhenan's face would turn freezing cold on the spot, saying that even mentioning you was disgusting, and casually exposing the fact that you just got out of prison. Little brother, you seem to have run into an enemy. Gu Yongxi reminded you in a low voice. You frowned slightly, watching Mr. Wang approach, feeling a wave of annoyance in your heart. Lower your voice. It's too loud for the ears. Do I need to speak softly to scum like you? I'm going to speak loudly, so that everyone can hear clearly. Everyone. This is the fraud who conned me out of a contract worth tens of millions, and even bragged about being some big shot. If I didn't guess wrong, he came tonight just to continue his scam. The crowd instantly burst into whispers. How did a fraud like this smuggle his way in? Look at his clothes, so ordinary. He clearly belongs to the bottom of society. Mr. Wang, you need evidence when you speak. How exactly did I scam you? Mr. Wang's mouth immediately twitched. If asked for evidence, he really couldn't produce any. But on second thought, it shouldn't be hard to find evidence. With your status, you have absolutely no qualification to enter this place. Where is the invitation letter? Produce it. As for Gu Yunxi beside you, she was directly ignored by him. Frauds are best at deceiving women. Bringing a beauty along to support the facade makes it even easier to scam people. I don't have one. You spoke neither humble nor arrogant. But I'm not here to attend the meet and greet. I'm here to find Gu Yunxi. As soon as these words came out, the scene instantly fell into a dead silence, which was immediately followed by a burst of roaring laughter. A total nobody actually dares to say he is here to find Gu Yunxi. This is simply preposterous. He clearly just found out that Miss Gu came to Tianhai and wanted to take this chance to profit from it. In the distance, Zhao Yalan sneered, while Lin Zhenin merely shook his head. For someone who just got out of prison, it's not surprising that his mind is unhinged. Yesterday, when you spoke so arrogantly, he already felt something was wrong. Looking at it now, there's indeed a problem with your brain. Lin Yue stood coldly to the side in an evening gown. This number one beauty of Tianhai exuded a high and mighty cold elegance at this moment. Brother Zhenin, so this is your future son-in-law. He doesn't look like much. Zhu Tianlong joked with a smile. Lin Zhenin hurriedly cleared the air. Brother Shu, you cannot say such nonsense. Our Lin family has absolutely nothing to do with him. Zhu Tianlong smiled knowingly, and then glanced at his son Xu Baoxi beside him. Son, your chance is not small. Right now at the entrance, Mr. Wang was laughing uncontrollably. Just based on someone like you think you're worthy of seeing Miss Gu? Do you even know that Miss Gu is a daughter of a prestigious family from the imperial capital? Why don't you look in the mirror and see what kind of trash you are? This speech instantly brought another round of jeers. Gu Yongxi was also a bit surprised he was actually coming for her. She thought about it and figured he was probably introduced by Kai Chongyang. After all, it's not easy for someone who just got out of prison to find a job. Your face darkened, and your tone turned cold as well. Call Gu Yunxi out to verify it in person. Also, sorry, if you laugh again, I don't mind making it so your mouth can never close for the rest of your life. Meeting your gaze, Mr. Wang actually felt as if he were being stared at by an evil ghost, feeling waves of chills running down his spine, and for a moment, he didn't dare to speak up again to attract attention. Inside the banquet hall, Zhu Baoxi suddenly let out a fierce shout, although he didn't know why you were still here, with anger welling up once again. Getting close to Gu Yunxi was his top priority. He mocked on the spot, you named Chen. Last night at Uncle Lin's house, you pretended to have an engagement with Yue, and today, you run over here again to make a fool of yourself. You really don't know your own place, do you? An engagement? How could she possibly look at someone like this? Everyone's gaze fell upon Lin Zhenin. He clenched his teeth in anger, and immediately responded in a loud voice. What nonsense are you talking about? This kid faked being a master to treat my daughter, and even brought out a marriage certificate. I kicked him out right on the spot. He is just a fraud, and one who just got out of prison at that. What is there that a person like this wouldn't do? Fraudulent marriage isn't anything strange either. Security, hurry up and throw him out. Seeing this, you merely smiled coldly. This family is truly ungrateful enough. No need to throw him out. I will handle the matters here. Zhu Baoxi smiled faintly. How could he easily let go of a ready-made stepping stone like you? You named Chen? Now everyone knows you are a fraud. I know too well how greedy people like you are. Speak up. What will it take for you to get away from Miss Gu's sight? I can make promises on behalf of Miss Gu. The crowd present instantly caught on to his intent. Zhu Baoxi wanted to take this chance to win Miss Gu's favor. At this moment, Gu Yunxi finally couldn't help but speak up. What qualification do you have to make decisions on behalf of Miss Gu? Zhu Baoxi instinctively looked toward Gu Yunxi and was instantly stunned by her beauty on the spot. Why is it that the women around Chen Fan are more stunning one after another? No, I must absolutely get her into my bed as well. Of course, I have the qualification. I am both the heir to the Tianlong group and an honored guest personally invited by Miss Gu. If I am not worthy, could a wretched woman like you be worthy? Hearing this, Gu Yunxi's face darkened. But before she could speak, you said, apologize to her. The air was instantly filled with a thick scent of gunpowder. Zhu Baoxi turned his head to look at you disdainfully. What did you say? Who gave you the audacity to make me apologize to her? Is she even worthy? Are you worthy then? Kneel down, kowtow, and apologize. Zhu Baoxi was instantly choked to the point of breathlessness, his face filled with absolute horror. He never imagined in his wildest dreams that you would actually dare to make a move in a place like this. The shadow of death instantly enveloped his heart. Zhu Tianlong was the first to snap back to reality. Let go of my son, otherwise I will destroy your entire family. Let go of him immediately. If you dare to touch a single hair on young Master Su's head, you are dead meat. But you acted as if you didn't hear a thing, and the strength in your hand actually grew heavier and heavier. Just then, Lin Yue took a step forward. Chen Fan, do you even know what kind of place this is? All the powerful and wealthy of Tianhai are here. This is no place for you to act wildly if you don't let go. You will be making an enemy of the entire Tianhai, and also making an enemy of Miss Gu. Do you want to die? Not to mention making an enemy of the entire Tianhai and Miss Gu. Even if I make an enemy of the whole world, so what? Madman, he's truly a madman. No wonder he ended up in prison. Gu Yongxi's heart was inexplicably struck hard by your words. She bit her lip and looked at you. He actually said this kind of words for her sake. You bastard! Zhao Yalan was roaring with rage, screaming in a shrill voice, for the sake of a woman. You actually dare to contradict my daughter. Why can't he— Shut up. Zhao Yalan instantly flew into a violent rage. What kind of trash are you? Are you even qualified to talk to me? I will let you know right now whether I am qualified to talk to anyone. My name is Gu Yunqi. So you're Gu Yunqi? I'll remember you. What? Zhao Yalan suddenly snapped back to reality. Gu Yunqi, the eldest young lady of the Gu family from the imperial capital. Just 3 words. Yet, like a thunderclap, it left the entire venue dazed. Zhu Tianlong and Lin Chenan's foreheads were instantly covered in sweat. Lin Youwei's face turned even paler as she lost herself. You were also stunned, turning your head around, your mind completely filled with confusion. Is she really Gu Yunqi? Is she not the canary kept by Kai Chongyang? Gu Yunqi stopped hiding her identity and took a step forward, staring coldly at Zhao Yalan. Am I worthy? Zhao Yalan was scared to tears, retreating to her husband's side, not even daring to look up. Worthy, you are worthy. A perfect match, it's me who isn't worthy. Gu Yunqi then turned toward everyone. Who dares to make him die? Mr. Wang was so terrified that he collapsed straight onto the floor. The crowd quickly distanced themselves from Shu Tianlong and Lin Zhenan. Lin Zhenan was instantly at a complete loss. Even though he was the richest man in Tianhai City, he appeared insignificant when facing the Gu family. He never expected in his wildest dreams that the woman beside you would actually be Gu Yunqi. Zhu Tianlong looked as if he was about to burst into tears. Miss Gu. It's the father's fault for failing to teach his son. Everything is my fault. Gu Yunqi smiled faintly. Although she had her family backing her up, she didn't want to cause trouble either. Chen Fan, let go. He isn't worthy of dirtying your hands. These words made everyone's heart race. What on earth is the relationship between these two? Even in this situation, you remained perfectly calm. If she is Gu Yunqi, then what kind of nonsense are these marriage engagements that the miserable old man set up? The first fiancé wants to call off the engagement. The second one is weak and sickly. And the third one is actually someone else's kept canary. Are the remaining 6 going to be just as bizarre? Zhu Baoshi could finally catch his breath. No longer possessing the look of a high and mighty young master, he sprawled on the ground, continuously dry heaving. Zhu Tianlong furiously kicked him twice. You still have the nerve to vomit. Kowtow to Miss Gu right now. Otherwise, I will personally break your damn legs. Zhu Baoshi knelt down with tears in his eyes. I was wrong. I was wrong. Zhu Tianlong then flattered Miss Gu. My son is blind. He simply admired you too much. I hope you won't take offense. He then apologized to you as well. Mr. Chen, I offended you greatly just now. Please show some magnanimity. You smiled faintly. Gu Yunqi acted as if she didn't hear them and said to you again, Chen Fan, wait for me here first. I'm going to change my clothes. All right. You knew with this many people around it was inconvenient. So it would be better to bring up calling off the engagement after the banquet ends. After Gu Yunqi left, the hall completely boiled over. Everyone was speculating about your relationship with Gu Yunqi. Brother Janan, we all see each other around often, and our children are even close friends. Yet you actually went and plotted against me. Zhu Tianlong was clearly dissatisfied. He mistakenly thought Lin Zhenan knew your identity, and intentionally set a trap to make him take the fall. Lin Zhenan felt deep regret in his heart. Had he known earlier that you and Gu Yunqi knew each other, how would he ever have dared to threaten you? Just then, Lin Youwei suddenly spoke up, her gaze scanning toward your parents who were being surrounded in the distance. Uncle Shu Chenfan doesn't actually know. Gu Yunqi and Gu Yunqi doesn't know Chenfan either. Several people looked at her in confusion. Did you all forget? At the very beginning when Chenfan called Gu Yunqi out, he himself was completely dazed as well. Hearing this, the 4 individuals recalled the moment. You're right. So he's still just a petty rascal. He probably just ran into Miss Gu by chance at the entrance. He really struck pure dogshit luck. Zhu Baoshi was unwilling to accept it, gnashing his teeth. If it weren't for Chen Fan running into Gu Yunqi, he would definitely have had to kneel and crawl out today. It was all a misunderstanding. Zhu Tianlong let out an awkward laugh. Just then, a crowd of figures with prominent statuses walked into the banquet hall, each of them possessing an extraordinary bearing. They were all heavyweights from the provincial capital, including provincial capital officials and War Department commanders. Even the governor of Tianhai City could only follow behind them. They had all come to support Gu Yunqi. As expected, the moment they appeared, the meet and greet officially began. The lights dimmed all down, and a beam of light shone toward the side of the stage. Gu Yunqi walked onto the stage wearing an evening gown, with flawless skin and jade bones looking drop-dead gorgeous. Seeing everyone staring blankly, Lin Youwei secretly peeked at you. Seeing that you were also staring blankly, she felt even more displeased in her heart. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to attend my meet and greet. Just yesterday, I finally finalized the candidate. She paused for a moment, keeping the entire audience on the edge of their seats. He is none other than... Lin Zhenan couldn't help but puff out his chest, while Shu Tianlong held his breath in nervousness. In fact, they were still afraid she would choose you. But hearing words like excellent, wise, and outstanding, they knew it could absolutely not be you. After all, you just got out of prison. These words had absolutely nothing to do with you. Gu Yongxi scanned the crowd with her gaze, looking toward Lin Zhenin and Zhu Tianlong with a smile. This look made both of their hearts race with excitement. It's us. It must be us. Gu Yongxi continued, he is Chen Fan. The moment the name was pronounced, the entire venue seemed petrified. Zhu Baoxi was dumbfounded, while Xu Tianlong and Lin Zhenin stared with wide eyes and open mouths. Lin Youwei felt as if she had lost something. How is this possible? A petty rascal like you who just got out of prison has actually become Miss Gu's partner. You were also surprised. I came to call off the engagement, not to form a partnership. Thunderous applause erupted. Mr. Wang was busy trying to form a connection, feeling endless regret in his heart. Gu Yongxi said with a smile, Chen Fan, hurry up and come up to the stage. Even though you've been ridiculed before, I believe you are a piece of gold. I have decided that all of the Gu family's investments in Jinhai will be fully put under your charge, and even I will not interfere with your decisions. Gu Yongxi won't interfere. This is the Gu family's money we're talking about. It's not just worth 1 or 200 million. I heard it's at least 5 billion. Lin Zhenin's face turned as pale as death. Gu Yongxi's words showed that he deeply regretted breaking the marriage promise, and Chen Fan would definitely hold an even bigger grudge. If Chen Fan used the Gu family to seek revenge, there would be absolutely no way to block it. Dad, what should we do? Zhu Baoxi also panicked, fearing that Chen Fan would retaliate as soon as he found the opportunity. After hesitating, you still walked up onto the stage, mainly because you didn't want to make Gu Yongxi lose face in front of everyone. Just at this moment, Zhu Baoxi suddenly shouted out, I don't agree. Ms. Gu, you said that choosing a partner requires selecting someone wise and outstanding. Although I, Zhu Baoxi, am lacking. I graduated from a world-renowned Ivy League university, and with the Tianlong Group being the fastest-growing company in Tianhai City, my contributions are absolutely undeniable. On what grounds am I inferior to Chen Fan? Gu Yongxi didn't even bat an eye, just on the grounds that you were ridden like a horse. Before her words could even finish fading, laughter rushed in like a tidal wave. Zhu Baoxi was so enraged that he was left speechless, wishing he could find a crack in the ground to crawl into. Zhu Tianlong also lowered his head, as the laughter sounded exceptionally piercing to his ears. With no one else coming out to cause trouble, the banquet officially entered the toasting segment. After finishing a round of toasts, you followed Gu Yongxi to the reception room, where those big shots from earlier were gathered inside. Gu Yongxi looked just like a carefree young girl. Uncle Feng, Uncle Gu, thank you all for your support. The relaxed look on her face was completely different from her dignified demeanor at the banquet just now. It's truly a waste that she didn't become an actress. Gu Qingming had a stern expression on his face. Yongxi, how can such a massive investment be handed over to a criminal? Do you think this is child's play? Gu Yongxi's face turned slightly red. Uncle Gu, times have changed. A prodigal son returning home is worth more than gold. Chen Fan learned real skills while in prison. Say no more, kid. Get lost immediately and don't appear in front of Yunqi again. Otherwise, I will deal with you right on the spot. Feng Banian immediately spoke up next. I just called your dad. I didn't tell him that you would choose a criminal. Hurry up and make him leave. Don't make your dad worry. Gu Yongxi appeared anxious, knowing that if her father found out about this matter, he might immediately recall her back. Just then, you smiled faintly. One person who is about to die, and another whose life is worse than death. Are you people even worthy of threatening me? What did you say? How dare you curse me to die? Although Feng Banian didn't speak up, his expression was extremely ugly. Gu Yongxi hurriedly tried to dissuade you. Chen Fan, stop talking nonsense. You cannot afford to provoke them. I'm not talking nonsense. As for whether it's true, it will be verified immediately. You turned your head to look at Gu Qingming and sneered. Do you know how much longer you have to live? Arrogant brat. At this moment, you extended a hand, your fingers slowly counting down. 4, 3, 2. As the last finger dropped, everyone at the scene completely boiled over, and then fell into a state of chaotic panic. Feng Banian and Gu Yongxi's faces were filled with terror. Uncle Gu, quick call an ambulance. It's useless. By the time the ambulance gets here, he'll already be long cold. Instantly, everyone's gaze brushed right over to stare at you. They suddenly realized that Gu Qingming's condition was predicted by you. Are you a doctor? Take a guess. Can you save Commander Gu? Take another guess. To the side, the governor of Tianhai anxiously roared, I order you to save Commander Gu immediately. What kind of trash are you? You directly yelled back without mincing words. The other party's status was completely worthless in your eyes. Gu Yongxi walked forward at this moment, her expression sincere. Chen Fan, I beg you, please save Uncle Gu. Her words made your heart stir, and you immediately stepped forward to begin first aid. Suddenly, Gu Qingming spurted out another mouthful of fresh blood. Seeing this, the crowd grew even more anxious. Men, arrest him. The atmosphere instantly became extremely tense. Stop, Mr. Chen is actually saving me. He was helping me expel the congested blood just now. It was that mouthful of blood that was blocking my breathing. Youngsi, you've truly found a treasure. Not only does he know medical skills, but he's also so formidable. Uncle Gu, can you support Chen Fan now? Gu Qingming's face flushed red, making it hard for him to object any further. But to say he agreed would be too opportunistic. So he bit the bullet and asked, Mr. Chen, may I ask how much longer I can live? I don't know. Then you looked toward Gu Yunqi. Can we leave now? I still have something to say to you. Gu Qingming's face shifted after being choked up by your words. And Gu Yunqi also felt a little awkward. Yet she admired your attitude of not fearing authority even more. This was exactly the kind of person she was looking for. Right after she said tentatively, you guys carry on with your business. The two of us will take our leave first. At this moment, Feng Banyan stood up and spoke, wait, I will leave with you guys. Then the three of them left together. Chen Fan, how did you know Uncle Gu would end up like that? Prick your ears up and listen closely. You smiled faintly. It's not that I knew. It's that I caused it with anger. He has a fiery temper and an old illness. So he suffered an attack because I enraged him. If he hadn't met me, nothing would have happened at all. Saying he couldn't make it to the hospital was purely to scare him. Gu Yongxi was instantly dumbfounded. Feng Banyan's throat suddenly tightened. The Grand Provincial Commander was angered to the point of spitting blood by you, and you actually dared to say it out loud. The three of them chatted briefly in the reception room, then Gu Yunqi was called out. Because Feng Banyan's question involved male privacy, it was inconvenient for her to be present. When returning to the reception hall, the divine doctor of Tianhai Wang Shouwen was diagnosing Gu Qingming. Wang Shouwen frowned and said, Commander Gu, perhaps my knowledge is limited as I found no issue. But judging by what was described earlier, you were simply overwhelmed by sudden rage. There is no danger to your life. Exposed. What? I was just angered. Gu Qingming's face tensed up. Wang Shouwen confirmed repeatedly, yes, you were just angered. As long as you don't get angry, your body is perfectly healthy. Any life-threatening danger is pure nonsense. It seems someone intentionally frightened you. Gu Qingming almost coughed up another mouthful of blood after hearing this, his eyes spitting fire as if he wanted to burn Yunqi. Where is that guy named Chen? Gu Yongxi didn't know how to answer for a moment, because she had indeed heard you confirm it earlier. With Uncle Gu's temper, perhaps. Just as she was hesitating, the door was suddenly pushed open and you and Feng Banyan walked inside. You shameless scoundrel. Chen Fan, run quick. You were momentarily dazed, wondering why you had to run. Feng Banyan also followed up saying, Old Gu, is this a misunderstanding? After all, he just treated your illness, feeling he had to help say a few good words. At this moment, someone walked over from the side and explained the entire situation just now in detail. Commander Feng, he is simply a fraud. Gu Qingming's rage grew even stronger. Let go of me. Today, I will personally deal with this scum. I really don't understand how you managed to become a commander. Didn't you hear Wang Shouwen say your body is perfectly healthy? You ought to thank me. The moment these words came out, Gu Qingming was even more furious, and the others were also burning with rage one after another. Just stop talking. Hurry up and run. Your abdomen once suffered a severe injury. Whenever you get angry, you feel chest tightness, shortness of breath, and abnormally fast heart rate, and occasional pauses. Am I right or wrong? Gu Qingming suddenly stopped struggling, his face filled with shock and horror. Given his status, his physical condition was only known by a tiny handful of people. How did Chen Fan know? You then looked back at Wang Shouwen, since you as a divine doctor also took his pulse. May I ask if his body still has these ailments? Wang Shouwen instinctively replied, no. Commander Gu's body is exceptionally healthy. Hearing this, you sneered, turned around and walked away, without even looking back. Does Chen Fan's words mean he cured all of my illnesses along the way just now? Gu Qingming was filled with disbelief. Sigh. Feng Banyan shook his head repeatedly. Old Gu, Mr. Chen helped cure your illness, yet you falsely accused him. You really need to change your temper. Youngxi, tell Mr. Chen I owe him a favor. At this moment, Wang Shouwen quickly stepped forward. Commander, he extended your life by at least 10 years. This is no mere favor. Hearing this, Gu Qingming was completely dumbfounded. Returning to the Yunding Celestial Palace, he waited quietly for Gu Yunqi in the living room. Gu Yunqi returned wearing her evening gown. She approached you playfully and with a hint of tease, little brother. I didn't expect you to also know medical skills. How about you treat my illness as well? Big sister has a fever and feels dizzy. As soon as the words fell, she happened to fall toward the sofa, her body trembling slightly. You hurriedly shifted to the side to move away, a shiver running through your entire body. She shouldn't be called Gu Yunqi. She ought to be called Gu Goblin. Sister-in-law, actually, between you and me? Who is your sister-in-law? Having said that, Gu Yunqi continued to lie on the sofa, biting her lip in a deeply moving way. I am your big sister. Kai Chongyang and I are just friends. I didn't expose it just to give you a surprise. Otherwise, do you think a mere laborer like him could ever be worthy of me? Little brother, hurry up and treat big sister's illness. I feel so hot. Right after you were stunned, and couldn't help but ask, aren't you Kai Chongyang's kept canary? The moment you finished saying this, you immediately regretted it. Since she is the eldest young lady of the Gu family, how could she possibly be kept by Kai Chongyang? Gu Yongxi already knew you would misunderstand, so she wasn't surprised. She tilted her head up and spoke coquettishly. Big sister, only wants to be your canary. Hurry up and treat my illness. Hurry. Hearing this, you finally looked at her directly. Although you had seen her countless times, you had never scrutinized her at such a close distance. Beneath her exquisite facial features was a fair white neck, and looking further down, you couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva, clearing your throat. You said in all seriousness, "Give me your hand first. Taking your pulse is the only way to be accurate." Just then, Gu Yongxi suddenly let out a burst of pleasant laughter. Oh my, what's going on? Suddenly I feel like my illness is cured. I think I'll go take a shower now. How about we go together? We can treat the illness while taking a shower. You clearly felt your blood flow accelerating, as if something was about to lose control. Before you even had time to respond, Gu Yongxi stood up and said, "Not answering means you refuse. Big sister is so sad. Then I will shower by myself. No peeking, okay?" As soon as the words fell, she walked upstairs quickly in her evening gown. Only when she was completely far away did you remember you forgot to mention calling off the engagement. At the same time, the news about Gu Yunxi choosing you as her partner was spreading like wildfire throughout Tianhai. Everyone was trying to dig into your background, and when they finally discovered you had just got out of prison, the crowd was deeply disappointed. Many people even secretly cursed Gu Yunxi for being blind, but no one could change the outcome. Lin Jianan and Shu Tianlong held a board meeting overnight to discuss how to guard against retaliation. Other companies were also busy trying to find ways to please you. Liu Ruyan sat on the sofa dazed, her face deathly pale, her mouth continuously repeating your name. Impossible. He is Lin Youwei's boyfriend. How could he possibly get involved with the highborn Miss Gu? It must be a duplicate name. Why does this name sound so familiar? Liu Ruyan's father, Liu Zhenhong, walked over, his brows tightly furrowed. Ruyan, is your fiance's name called Chen Fan? Liu Ruyan was stunned for a moment by the question, then hurriedly stabilized her emotions. That's right, the name written on the marriage certificate is indeed Chen Fan. It's just not this Chen Fan. It's a duplicate name. Liu Zhenhong didn't think too much into it. According to your grandfather's last words, Chen Fan can bring 100 years of prosperity to the Liu family. I am highly looking forward to that day. At this, Liu Ruyan gave a forced laugh. Dad, don't raise your expectations too high. The greater the expectation, the greater the disappointment. Maybe Chen Fan is completely worthless. Knock, knock, knock. A knocking sound rang out, and a figure was kneeling at the entrance. It was none other than Mr. Wang. Mr. Wang pleaded, "President Liu, I beg you to plead for mercy on my behalf in front of Chen Fan. Say that I was wrong, and I won't dare do it again in the future. Ask him not to target me anymore, please. I beg you." Liu Ruyan felt as if struck by a bolt from the blue. What do you mean? Do you really not know? The Chen Fan who is pursuing you has already become Miss Gu's spokesperson, fully in charge of all the Gu family's investments in Tianhai. It really is him. Liu Ruyan's mind buzzed. What on earth is going on? Suddenly, Liu Zhenhong seemed to remember something, turning his head to look at his daughter. The Chen Fan who is pursuing you. Could he be your fiancé? Being stared at by her father, Liu Ruyan panicked. Sweating profusely, unable to understand no matter how hard she tried. How could a guy like you, who just got out of prison, become Gu Yongxi's spokesperson? How could you possibly become Gu Yongxi's spokesperson? The next day you woke up, finished washing up, and walked downstairs. Gu Yongxi was busy while wearing an apron, and the table was covered with a sumptuous breakfast. Hearing the movement, she sat down. Hurry up and eat breakfast. Only when you are full will you have the energy to treat big sister's illness. I actually think you're running a fever again. You couldn't help but complain in your heart, silently cursing that old guy for being unreasonable. Why did he have to say that without his permission? You couldn't lose your primal yang energy. You sat across from Gu Yunxi. Let's put the food aside for a moment. I have something to say. Go ahead. Those big charming eyes blinked continuously, meeting your gaze. For a moment, you didn't know how to speak, so you could only ask tentatively, Sister Yunxi, I heard that you big families all have to get engaged. Do you also have a fiancé? Gu Yunxi didn't expect you to ask this question. Her expression changed slightly, but she quickly returned to normal, smiling faintly. There is one, but I don't want to marry him. Little brother, don't be afraid. My heart was given to you long ago. Even if I really marry someone, we can still be together secretly, okay? The two of us will cuckold him. You were choked up to the point of being speechless, making me cuckold myself. You probed and asked again. That's not what I meant. I mean, will you marry your fiancé? The kind where you won't cuckold your husband after marriage. If she really could avoid cuckolding him, then this woman is actually pretty good. She has a beautiful face, a great figure, and she can even cook. Accepting her would be fine too. No, little brother, you must believe me. Big sister only has you in her heart and can't fit anyone else. Even a husband couldn't replace your position. You were utterly speechless. What kind of talk is this? Should I just lay my cards on the table? After thinking about it, you decided to stop wasting words. Taking out the marriage certificate, if she marries, she marries. If she doesn't, you'll look for the next one. Just then, the door was suddenly pushed open. A woman wearing a business suit and walking in high heels came in her eyes looking at you, filled with complete disdain. Miss, the registration documents and the address are all ready. We can start working at any time. Gu Yongxi then ordered, give the documents to Mr. Chen. He knows how to handle them. Chen Fan, her name is Zhang Shuang. From today onwards, she is your secretary. If there's anything, you can have her handle it. I don't know how to do business. I only agreed because I didn't want to refuse you to your face. Why don't you hire someone more competent? You had learned martial arts, feng shui, and everything else, but this business stuff. Haha, you're quite clear about your own level. Chen Fan, you'd better get lost quickly, before you end up falling into a complete mess. I've investigated you. Other than being a convict, you have nothing. Is a person like you even worthy of being with the Miss? Zhang Shuang, Gu Yunxi barked a reprimand. Miss Zhang Shuang showed no fear at all, saying with a tone of grievance, do you know how the people in Tianhai City are gossiping about you right now? They say you are blind in judging people. For choosing a guy who only knows how to do jail time? Can he even sustain your investments? Shut up. Gu Yunxi was utterly enraged. My judgment of people is accurate. I know better than you how to utilize people. I see Chen Fan as a potential stock. Sooner or later, he will make everyone look at him in a new light. You are not allowed to say no to him again. Zhang Shuang didn't dare to talk back, obediently handing the documents over to you. Mr. Chen, please take a look to see if there are any issues. With the documents in hand, you were completely confused. Gu Yongxi's gaze seemed capable of penetrating the soul. I believe that you will shine brilliantly one day. Seeing her steadfast gaze, you nodded in response. Well, of course. After the meal, Gu Yunxi stayed at the Yunding Celestial Palace to handle matters, while you and Zhang Shuang went to the Tongtian building. Arriving at the entrance of the company, Zhang Shuang watched you walk inside, the corners of her mouth twitching downward slightly, as she muttered to herself, you petty rascal. I'll certainly take a good look at what you're actually made of. You encountered the first obstacle right after stepping through the door. Stop right there. A security guard blocked the way with a rubber baton, his face full of arrogance. This is the Tongtian building. Unrelated personnel are not allowed to approach. Back up 10 meters immediately, or you'll taste this baton. The security guard knew very well who you were, and was even more clear about what happened last night, screaming internally at the unfairness of fate. If a mere convict actually qualifies to be a partner, then he could do it too. I want to enter the building to go to work. The Gu Corporation on the 33rd floor. Gu Corporation, I know about it. The company that the Gu family from the imperial capital just established in Tianhai. The chairman is Miss Gu Yunxi. But what kind of trash are you? Go take a piss and look at your reflection. Are you worthy? Worthy to work at the Gu Corporation? Get lost quickly. Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless. Before the security guard's words could finish fading, you sent him flying with a single kick. Just a mere security guard, yet you act like you're guarding the southern heavenly gate. They pay you to watch the door, not to block it. You stupid dog. In the distance, Zhang Shuang was dumbfounded. Completely unexpected that you would break in so violently. She immediately parked the car and rushed upstairs. She rushed into the general manager's office and roared, Chen Fan, I heard you just beat up a security guard. Do you even know what your status is? You are the boss. Not some street thug. How could you resort to violence? Leaning back against the chair, you responded flatly, do you know your own status? Who exactly is the boss here? This is the first time you've disrespected me. Consider this a warning. Do it again and I'll dock half a month's salary. The third time you're fired immediately. You might not know how to do business, but you certainly know how to dock salaries and fire people. Zhang Shuang glared with wide eyes, cursing you in her heart for being a petty villain drunk on power. But she suppressed her anger and said, when I came up, I heard the security department is coming to settle scores with you. If you can't handle this properly, I will have them misfire you. Thud, thud, thud. Right then, rapid footsteps echoed from outside the door, and a group of uniformed men rushed inside. The leading captain roared, Chen Fan, step out here. The sound shook the room, making everyone feel uneasy. A trace of malice flashed through Zhang Shuang's eyes. With a fake smile, she reminded Mr. Chen, the security department is here. You better handle this carefully. Her eyes were filled with anticipation. You could beat up one security guard, but can you beat 10 or 20? You calmly stood up, perfectly composed. There is always a way to solve a problem. Then you walked out of the office. Outside the door, dozens of security guards looked aggressive. The captain glared at you furiously. You're Chen Fan, you beat up my guy downstairs. Speak up. How are you going to compensate us? The other security guards were eager to move. You calmly looked at the captain. First, he was the one who made the first move. I did nothing wrong, so why should I compensate you? On the contrary, you guys are nothing more than service staff. Your salaries come from my rent. What gives you the right to act wildly in front of me? I'll give you 3 seconds to apologize to my employees and then get lost. The employees held their breath and watched closely, their eyes filled with anticipation, wanting to see how a guy like you who rose to power through mere luck would handle this situation. Witnessing this scene, the security captain burst out laughing from sheer rage. He took a step forward in disdain. You like threatening people, huh? Fine. I will also give you 3 seconds to kneel down and admit your mistake to the guard. Otherwise, don't even think about walking out of here on your own feet today. Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless. Apologize, kneel down and apologize right now. Hurry up. Dozens of security guards put on a stance ready to strike at any second. Zhang Shuang was secretly snickering in her heart. Yet she deliberately reminded Mr. Chen, you can't kneel. You represent the image of the Gu Corporation and the miss. We can't afford to lose this face. Your expression remained perfectly calm, and you continued to speak. You still have one last second. The security captain walked forward with contempt. You also have one last second left. Are you going to kneel or not? Before his words could finish fading, you closed in on him like a flash of lightning, raising your hand and heavily slapping his shoulder. Kneel down. Bang. The security captain felt as if Mount Tai was crushing down on him, and his knees involuntarily slammed onto the ground. Witnessing this scene, the security guards completely lost control collectively and roared, "Get him!" Beat him to death and avenge the captain. As soon as the words fell, they rushed forward one after another, as if treating Chen Fan like a mere stepping stone. Seeing this, the employees screamed in terror continuously. The corners of Zhang Shuang's mouth curled into a faint smile. The other party consisted of dozens of security guards. He would definitely be crying for his parents in a moment. You moved like lightning, sweeping away fallen leaves in the crowd. Wherever you passed, the security guards collapsed to the ground one after another like broken dolls. Just over 10 seconds later, the floor was filled with the fallen bodies of the security guards. Zhang Shuang was utterly stunned. What kind of monster is he exactly? The kneeling captain's face turned deathly pale, and he was shaking like a leaf. The stakes have doubled. Everyone kneel down and apologize. Otherwise, I will break one leg of every single person. You spoke as if issuing an absolute command. The captain was terrified out of his mind, looking toward Zhang Shuang as if pleading for help. Zhang Shuang bit her teeth and advised Mr. Chen, resorting to violence is not a rational move. Once this matter spreads, it will damage the Gu Corporation's reputation. Winning people over with virtue is the true way. You're right. Winning people over with virtue. Then there's no need for them to apologize. They insulted me, so I beat them up. It's a fair trade. From today onwards, the Gu Corporation will pull out of this building and look for another office location. Hearing this, Zhang Shuang's face instantly shifted to avoid further trouble. The moment these words came out, the security guards were so terrified, they didn't dare to utter a sound. The Gu Corporation was a major client. If they moved out, the upper management would definitely investigate. If problems were uncovered, everyone would get fired. Mr. Chen, the contract has been signed, and the rent has already been paid. Moving out now means paying a massive amount in penalties. My point is that we cannot let this blow up. We should settle it properly in private. Zhang Shuang bit her teeth and advised Secretary Zhang makes sense. If word spreads, the impact will be huge. I happen to know a man named Dragon King Zhang, who specializes in dealing with people who can't keep secrets. Why don't we leave it to him to handle? As soon as the words fell, you took out your phone, seemingly about to make a call. Dragon King Zhang. The captain's heart suddenly skipped a beat, and he was terrified to the point of crying. That was the underground emperor of Halian. Dragon King Zhang's method of keeping secrets was stuffing people into gunny sacks and tossing them into the river. Not daring to wait any longer, he hurriedly admitted his mistake. Mr. Chen, I was wrong. Please don't make that call. None of this was my original intention. She was the one who told me to cause trouble for you. She wanted to make you lose face and leave the Gu Corporation in disgrace. The moment the words came out, Zhang Shuang's face shifted drastically. Shut up! How dare you talk nonsense? Do you still want your job? The captain shook his head in despair. Even losing my job is better than losing my life. Mr. Chen, she gave me 20,000 yuan, and I still have the transfer proof. You can verify it right now. You left Zhang Shuang completely speechless, her face turning deathly pale. You slowly looked at her, raising an eyebrow and asking, is what he said true? Seeing things had come to this, Zhang Shuang stopped hiding it, confessing openly, that's right. I was the one who planned it. Because you simply don't deserve this position. Chen Fan, if you have any self-awareness, leave on your own. Don't delay the development of the Gu Corporation, and don't make Miss Gu the target of public criticism. You are simply not worthy of the Gu Corporation. As soon as the words fell, the employees and security guards all nodded silently. This actually represented the inner thoughts of quite a few people. Word is spreading through the entire Tianhai city, saying a country bumpkin has actually flown up a branch to become a phoenix. It's an absolute joke. You didn't get angry at the guards, but you were quite infuriated by Zhang Shuang's words. You then said in a deep voice, on what grounds do you say I'm not worthy? Zhang Shuang sneered, based on what I know, everyone in Tianhai knows it. She pressed on step by step. Then let me ask you, how will the company develop in the future? What is the strategic planning? What are the projected investment and revenue for the first year? And what is the company's positioning in Tianhai City? Even at the simplest level, what do gross profit and net profit mean? Can you answer any of that? After speaking, she tilted her neck up to look at you, her expression growing increasingly contemptuous. You were left completely speechless by the questions. You truly didn't understand these things. Seeing your embarrassment, Zhang Shuang mocked directly, "Can't say it, can you? Since you can't answer, get the hell out of here. Don't stay here and embarrass yourself." The other employees snickered softly, also secretly thinking in their hearts that Miss Gu must be blind. You pondered for a moment, then asked back, "Who is the boss?" Zhang Shuang was stunned. "You are, of course. Since I am the boss, what gives you the right to test me? From today onwards, your salary is cut in half for 3 months. Do it again and you're fired on the spot. As for you guys, apologize immediately and get lost. Otherwise, not only will the Gu Corporation pull out of the Tongtian building, but I will also have Dragon King Zhang come and have a chat with you all." Zhang Shuang was dumbfounded. The employees were dumbfounded and the guards were dumbfounded. You could actually do things this way. When you lose the argument, you just act like a rogue. But right now, you really were the boss. As long as Gu Yunxi didn't make you leave, you were the absolute king here. You walked back into the office, your face slightly red. If you hadn't developed a thick skin in prison, you really wouldn't have been able to withstand those stares. Immediately after you dialed the prison warden's phone, have Kai Chaoyang pick up the phone within 30 seconds. Otherwise, I am returning to the prison right now. The warden instantly panicked, his hair standing on end. He wished he could lend his own legs to Kai Chongyang. He absolutely could not let you come back. After Kai Chongyang picked up the phone, you repeated the questions Zhang Shuang had just asked. Kai Chongyang answered in full detail without holding anything back. "Understood. You don't have to clean the toilets this month." After hanging up, Zhang Shuang sneered in disappointment. "I finally understand how he ended up in prison. He's a complete rogue. Looking at things now, only by making the miss disappointed can we get him to scram." Suddenly she thought of a land auction, so she knocked on the room door. "Mr. Chen, there is a land auction happening at the city convention hall." At the same time, the city convention hall was extraordinarily lively, with all the well-known real estate developers of Tianhai gathered together. Zhu Tianlong sat together with the richest man Lin Zhenin. Zhu Tianlong asked with a smile, "Brother Zhenin, Yue didn't go look for Chen Fan today. It seems you already have a plan." Lin Zhenan smiled and replied, "Brother Su, you're asking what you already know. Even though Chen Fan relies on Miss Gu's resources, his competence is utterly lacking. No matter how much he tries to please Miss Gu, it will be short-lived. A little wealth breeds arrogance. He is too conceited. I just received news that he doesn't even understand gross profit and net profit." Lin Zhenin laughed, even more joyfully. "Something that even a 3-year-old child understands. He actually doesn't know. Brother Shu, let's bet on how long he can hold out." "I bet it's within a month." Shu Tianlong's interest was piqued. "I bet half a month." As the words fell, a voice came from behind them. "Have you two heard of a saying? Do not gossip about others behind their backs." Hearing the voice, they all looked over together and were instantly stunned. You were sitting right behind them, and you spoke directly to Tianlong, right? You should know that you shouldn't speak about people behind their backs. If you don't know that, I suggest you go take a look at your son. Zhu Tianlong was burning with rage. The slapped marks on his face hadn't even faded yet. Mr. Chen truly puts in a lot of effort. The Gu Corporation has just opened for business, yet you're already here for the auction. It seems you want to make some achievements in front of Miss Gu. You leaned back on the chair. Of course, a man should focus on his career. As soon as the words fell, the surrounding area fell into a dead silence, and everyone stared at you with mockery and sarcasm. A petty rascal who rose to power through mere luck, and he actually dares to talk about a career. Zhu Tianlong sneered, "Mr. Chen is truly a real man. But since you say a man should focus on his career, why don't you first figure out what gross profit and net profit actually mean?" The moment these words came out, bursts of laughter erupted all around. The company incident had already spread far and wide. He was cornered and questioned by his subordinate, only able to rely on acting like a rogue. You asked back, "How do you know I don't understand? If I can explain gross profit, net profit, and even the development positioning of the Gu Corporation, then how about you kneel down, kowtow 3 times, and call me daddy?" Before the words could even finish fading, everyone stared at you as if looking at a total fool. Lin Zhenan shook his head and sighed. He thought you didn't know that others already knew about the company incident, and that you were still there putting on an act. A petty villain drunk on power truly loses his mind entirely. "Fine. If you answer correctly, I will kowtow and call you daddy. But if you can't, you have to kowtow and call me daddy. Do you dare?" Shu Tianlong was just worrying about not having a chance to expose you. "If this kid kneels and calls him daddy, Miss Gu won't allow it, and will definitely kick him out immediately." "Deal." You responded steadfastly. Zhang Shuang wanted to dissuade you, but once she thought about how this was a great opportunity to drag you down, she swallowed her words again. At this moment, Shu Tianlong smiled with a hidden dagger. "Mr. Chen, why don't you just get started? I am all ears." You swept a glance over him, and then you spoke eloquently, explaining every single point with absolute clarity. The more you spoke, the more people at the scene had their faces sink. This guy has been locked up for 3 years and just got out of prison. So how could his commercial understanding be so profoundly deep? Listening to him speak felt like a sudden enlightenment, like having wisdom poured right into one's head. After you finished speaking, you looked at Shu Tianlong with a smile. President Shu, it's time to kneel down and call me daddy. Speak a bit louder. My hearing isn't very good. As the words fell, the entire venue became dead silent. Zhu Tianlong's face was filled with shock. How did this guy know so much? Even Lin Zhenin was stunned. Remembering his father's words, Chen Fan will protect the Lin family's prosperity for 100 years. Perhaps he really is a deeply hidden business genius. Zhang Shuang was also incomparably shocked. She had just thought Chen Fan was useless, never expecting his commercial understanding to be this profound. Seeing Zhu Tianlong remain unmoved, you reminded him, President Shu, don't just stand there dazed, hurry up, kneel down, and call me daddy. Only then did the crowd react, looking toward Zhu Tianlong with highly complex expressions. He forced out a smile that looked uglier than crying. Mr. Chen truly knows how to joke. We are already at such an old age, yet we actually made a bet like a child. What happened just now was merely a joke. It doesn't count. It doesn't count. All the real estate tycoons of Tianhai were present. If he knelt down and called someone daddy, how could he face anyone in the future? He absolutely could not kneel. Who the hell is joking with you? If you don't kneel, I will make you do it myself. Zhu Tianlong's smile instantly froze, his eyes looking toward Lin Zhenin for help. Lin Zhenin hurriedly shifted his gaze away. At this moment, someone bit the bullet and spoke up, Mr. Chen. It was just a joke just now. Don't take it seriously. We all cross paths frequently in Tianhai, so don't make things too difficult for him. Before the words could even finish, with a loud crack, you suddenly unleashed your power, and his chair was instantly shattered into pieces. His entire body went straight through the chair and slammed to the ground on his knees. The words of the crowd instantly froze in their throats, staring at him in sheer disbelief. The chair shattered. Is he even a human being? You withdrew your hand in satisfaction, adding another line. Of course, it doesn't matter if you don't fulfill it, but I don't mind smashing your head to pieces. The moment these words came out, no one dared to utter a sound, only able to watch helplessly as Zhu Tianlong reached the peak of his rage. With a distorted face, he shouted, Fine, I will call you that, but do you dare to answer? Following that, Zhu Tianlong roared, Daddy. You responded flatly, Good son, stand up. Oh, right. Keep the matter of me being your daddy a secret. Don't call me that in public. Just call me that secretly when no one else is around. This was truly a stab to the heart. Zhu Tianlong's eyes turned red with rage. It just so happened that the auction began. So even though Zhu Tianlong still wanted to speak, he could only endure it and sit down. The auctioneer introduced the advantages of the number 140 plot of land, and the host announced the starting price to be 60 million, 70 million, 80 million. The bidding price soared rapidly, reaching 200 million. Lin Zhenan bid steadfastly. 500 million, a voice rang out, leaving the scene dead silent. How could anyone place a bid like this? He was simply here to cause trouble. Mr. Chen, that's too high, Zhang Shuang anxiously reminded him. With a 500 million land price, plus construction fees, will we still make a profit? It's not high. I think highly of this land. Lin Zhenin's face changed drastically. He was indeed here for revenge. Taking the land at 500 million was still profitable, but the margin would be too low. After hesitating for a moment, he raised his paddle again. 530 million? You immediately followed up 700 million. Lin Zhenan turned his head in anger, looking as if he was about to spit fire. Who auctions like this? This is pure disruption. At a land price of 700 million, there was almost no profit left. You sneered, the richest man in Tianhai. If you have no money, then don't compete. 1 billion. Zhu Tianlong suddenly raised his paddle, his tone ice cold. I want this land. Whoever blocks me, I will crush them. He sneered continuously in his heart. Only by perfectly executing this land acquisition plan would he avoid losing money. A new official can make a big splash and that's fine. But the fire must burn the official himself. 1.1 billion. You did not hesitate. 1.3 billion. Zhu Tianlong followed closely. I said nobody can beat me for it. I am definitely taking this plot of land. Everyone looked toward you expecting you to bid again. Zhang Shuang was sweating profusely. You pondered slightly. Since that's the case, then I don't want it anymore. After saying that, you walked straight out. The crowd was instantly dumbfounded. He said he didn't want it, and just like that, he didn't want it. Where did the imposing manner from forcing someone to kneel earlier go? Just as you walked out of the auction, the sound of high heels approached gracefully along with a uniform. I didn't expect it to really be you. Liu Ruyan rushed over in a hurry. Liu Ruyan, this woman was truly relentlessly clinging and never ending. Seeing your expression, Liu Ruyan gave you a rolling stare. This guy was truly lucky, not only becoming Lin Yuwei's boyfriend, and even became Miss Gu's partner. She said with a bitter and jealous tone, What? You don't want to see me? You nodded bluntly. That's right. You're very annoying. Liu Ruyan's face turned red with anger. A guy who just got out of prison actually dared to treat her like this. He was truly arrogant and conceited. In the future, you will definitely beg me obediently. When that time comes, don't forget your attitude today. Lin Yuwei can't possibly marry you, and Gu Yunqi will leave you as well. By then, you will be absolutely nothing. You couldn't be bothered to pay attention, simply turning around. Liu Ruyan was so angry she was at a loss for words. What kind of attitude is that? Clearly, she was the one who got Shu Baoshi to come save you yesterday. You are truly ungrateful. If I had known it would be like this, I wouldn't have saved you. Liu Ruyan quickly caught up with you, her face full of dissatisfaction. I actually came here to talk about a collaboration. Our company's building materials happen to be perfect for your use. Hearing this, you felt a wave of headache. You had no intention of doing business at all. Agreeing to Gu Yunxi was only because you couldn't handle the pressure of her gaze. Coming here was also because you couldn't stand Zhang Shuang's mockery. You had absolutely no genuine intention to change things. In order to avoid her pestering, you casually brushed her off, saying, "Go look for the secretary team." Liu Ruyan gnashed her teeth. He actually dared to give her a perfunctory answer. As expected, not a single man is any good. Gaining an advantage and forgetting about the past. Back then, he even chased after her onto the plane and pursued her to the restaurant. But for the sake of the order, she put on a sweet act again and said, "Chen Fan, we had a marriage contract after all. Do me a favor and give the order to me." You got a whole body of goosebumps. This woman seemed to have a bit of a split personality. At this moment, Shu Baoshi walked over, his face full of disdain, exposing the truth. He didn't secure that plot of land at all. In today's auction, he lost to our Tianlong group. "Young Master Shu," Liu Ruyan shouted excitedly, "we meet again. You look much more spirited than before. You are simply the man of every girl's dreams." "What do you mean by saying he didn't secure the land?" Shu Baoshi gave you a contemptuous glance, then smiled and said, "President Liu, I'm afraid you haven't figured things out yet. The number 140 plot of land has already been secured by the Tianlong group. Tell me, how is he supposed to give you any orders?" Hearing this, Liu Ruyan was completely stunned. She gave you a fierce glare. "You didn't tell me that you failed to get the land. You owe me this time. Next time, you must give me the contract that you owe me." Zhu Baoshi sneered, "Xingchen de you named Chen. From now on, I, Zhu Baoshi, will fight you both openly and secretly. Within a month, I will make Miss Gu see through you, and I will trample you under my feet." You coldly spat out 2 words, "silly clod." Zhu Baoshi instantly burned with raging fury. Seeing the urgency of the situation, Liu Ruyan hurriedly urged you, "Hurry up and apologize. Do you even know that the person who saved you yesterday was young Master Shu? He saved me. You were amused by this." You turned your head to look at Zhu Baoshi. Zhu Baoshi, who was originally aggressive, panicked a little upon hearing this. But Liu Ruyan didn't notice it, and continued to speak. "Otherwise, why do you think Dragon King Zhang let you go? It was entirely because young Master Shu personally begged Dragon King Zhang hurry up and apologize. This is for your own good, understand." Suddenly, a slap landed on Shu Baoshi's face without any warning. "I hate people who lie the most. You better fix your story carefully. Did you actually save me?" Zhu Baoshi covered his bleeding nose. Liu Ruyan was dumbfounded by this slap. "Chen Fan, what are you doing?" Smack, another slap landed. Still not telling the truth. Zhu Baoshi was about to go crazy with rage, but he couldn't beat you in a fight. He could only shout in despair, "I didn't do anything." You gave him a contemptuous glance. "This guy looks all decent on the outside, but he's actually full of bad intentions. Stay far away from him, lest you get sold by him and still help him count the money." After saying that, you turned around and left. Liu Ruyan only snapped out of it after watching you walk far away. She hurriedly comforted Shu Baoshi. "Young Master Shu, are you okay? Do you need to go to the hospital?" "I'll go with you." Liu Ruyan knew she still wanted to get orders from him. Zhu Baoshi wiped away his nosebleed, waved his hand and said, "No need. It's just a minor injury, no big deal." As he spoke, he looked at Liu Ruyan again. A petty villain grows arrogant once he tastes success. Just because he became Miss Gu's partner, he actually refuses to acknowledge my life-saving favor. I really shouldn't have saved him today. Liu Ruyan was a bit confused, not knowing who to believe for a moment. "Miss Liu, don't worry. I won't hold a grudge against you because of your relationship with Chen Fan. Business is business, and personal favors are personal favors. If you want the orders, no problem. Wait for me at the Tianhai Hotel tonight, and we can discuss the specifics." Since he couldn't beat Chen Fan in a fight, he would target his woman. They weren't married yet anyway, so tonight happens to be the perfect chance for him to have a taste. "Really?" Liu Ruyan was all smiles. "Thank you, young Master Shu. Our Liu family will definitely supply the absolute best quality. Should we go to the Tianhai Hotel for dinner right now?" She couldn't wait to finalize the contract. Zhu Baoshi shook his head and said it wasn't convenient right now. As he spoke, his expression changed drastically, and he walked quickly back inside. "My dad was fainted from anger by Chen Fan." Zhu Baoshi walked into the room. Xu Tianlong had already regained consciousness, but the fury in his heart had not yet subsided. Kneeling down and calling Chen Fan daddy was a total humiliation, and buying a plot of land for 1.3 billion was a waste of money. He lost both face and fortune. Zhu Baoshi hurried over. "Dad, how are you doing?" Xu Tianlong waved his hand, having no mood to pay attention to his son. He slowly stood up and cupped his hands. "Everyone, you all saw the situation just now, so I won't hide it anymore. I want to ask if anyone is willing to develop this land with me." The convention hall fell into total silence. Everyone looked at him as if looking at a fool. This plot of land was worth 600 to 700 million at most, so who would want to lose money along with him? President Shu, I have other matters to attend to, so I'll take my leave first. People left one after another. Zhu Tianlong clenched both of his fists. These mercenary petty villains. If a few families chipped in, each would only lose a few tens of millions. At this moment, he turned to Lin Zhenan. Brother Zhenan, are you willing to help me share this pressure? Ah, buying shares, right? No problem. However, I need to discuss it with the board of directors. I'll head back right now to hold a meeting. Lin Zhenan casually found an excuse to give a perfunctory answer and left. Zhu Baoxi was extremely anxious. Dad, what do we do now? Once we pay the transfer fee, the company will go bankrupt. What are you panicking for? If they won't help us, we'll force them to. Although Taoist Master Ji's senior brother hasn't arrived yet, Taoist Master Jie can still make Lin Yue fall ill one more time. Once she falls, her people and family fortune will all be yours. Hearing this, Zhu Baoxi's blood boiled with excitement. On the other side, you didn't return to the company, but went straight back to the Yunding Celestial Palace. After thinking it over, you felt it was still best to lay your cards on the table with Gu Yunqi. You couldn't actually stay here and do business forever. However, just as you reached the front door, you heard Gu Qingming's voice coming from inside. Yunxi, even though you said Chen Fan is Kai Chaoyang's disciple, Kai Chaoyang himself has ended up in prison. His disciple is simply not worthy of trust either. Feng Banian also chimed in and said, yeah, especially since you fell out with the family this time. Your father went against the pressure to let you come to Tianhai. If you don't achieve results, your whole life will be ruined. It's better not to trust him blindly. Standing outside the door and listening to these words, you weren't in a hurry to go in, wanting to see how Gu Yunqi would respond. Gu Yunxi's tone was unwavering. Uncle Gu, Uncle Feng, I have already tested him. He is a highly upright person. As for the method, it's not convenient to disclose, but he is absolutely worthy of unconditional trust. Gu Qingming and Feng Banian exchanged glances, feeling that the atmosphere was becoming a bit strange. Gu Yunxi didn't explain much further, taking the initiative to say, uncles, you still have many matters to attend to in the province, so don't waste your time on me. The two looked at each other, shaking their heads and sighing. Gu Qingming stood up with a serious expression. Remember, never intend to harm others, but always guard against being harmed. As soon as the words fell, you pushed the door open and walked in. Oh my. Oh, you guys are here? I was actually looking for you. I forgot to mention yesterday that the medicine I prescribed for you might have side effects, which could temporarily worsen your condition. The two of them were a bit dazed. How did he suddenly walk in? They hurriedly asked, is there a way to solve the side effects? You casually replied, yes there is. Starting from today, steep coptis root like tea and drink it every day. A month will do. Gu Yongxi shot a resentful glance at you, obviously knowing that you had been listening to everything just now. Steeping coptis root like tea and drinking coptis root as tea. That would be deathly bitter. Gu Qingming and Feng Banian's faces turned entirely red. They understood your mockery in their hearts, yet they coughed awkwardly. Chen Fan, stop joking around. How can coptis root be drunk like tea? With a careless expression, you replied, believe it or not, suffer the consequences yourself. Just don't come looking for me when the side effects kick in. The faces of the two twitched, completely breaking down inside. Although they knew you were deliberately teasing them, your medical skills were indeed superb, so they couldn't afford to take risks. Right after Feng Banian picked up a phone call, taking the opportunity to put on an act, then approve it. Quickly designate a plot of land in Tianhai as a key development zone. Issue the document tomorrow. After speaking, he gave you a subtle glance. A brief sentence involving billions of dollars. On one hand, he was thanking you for the prescription. On the other hand, he was pleading not to be tortured anymore. Hurry up and tell us, are there actually any side effects? The number 140 plot of land? You were slightly stunned. Wasn't this the land auctioned off today? Key development meant that the Shu family would not only avoid losing money, but might actually make a massive fortune instead. Gu Qingming didn't notice you spacing out, thinking that the bargaining chip wasn't enough. He picked up his phone. What? The front line is running critically low on hemostatic medicine. Then procure it immediately. Wait until I return to hold a meeting and arrange it. After hanging up the phone, he quietly observed your reaction. Gu Yunxi was highly amused, shouting, Chen Fan, the bargaining chips for my two uncles are in place. Hurry up and tell us, are there actually any side effects? You said lazily, actually drinking it for 29 days will completely neutralize the side effects. Hearing this, Gu Qingming and Feng Banian had dark faces, feeling that you were absolutely playing with them. But they didn't dare to risk their health, so they could only obediently go back to drink coptis root water. After the two took their leave, Gu Yongxi walked up to your side, linking her arm through yours, and asked softly, why did you come back so soon? Did you miss me? No problem. You can do whatever you want. This sister of yours has been waiting impatiently. As she spoke, she blinked her eyes affectionately, looking as if she was anticipating something, and could hardly wait. Your heart raced and your body temporarily went a bit out of control. Seeing you like this, Gu Yongxi laughed so heartily that she swayed gracefully, finding you increasingly interesting. You showed no fear in front of Gu Qingming and Feng Beinian. Yet you got all nervous and uneasy over a woman's little tricks. She bit her lip and asked, "Little brother, you wouldn't still be an innocent boy, right?" You felt a wave of awkwardness, secretly cursing those old guys in prison. If it weren't for them, how could you have ended up in this kind of situation? Feeling that you couldn't handle listening to any more of this, you brushed off her hand, walked quickly over to sit on the sofa, and said with a deadpan expression, "Gu Yunqi, sit down. I have something to say." You were thinking about laying your cards on the table directly. If she agrees, you'll get married. And if she doesn't, you'll call off the engagement. Gu Yongxi was baffled by your attitude, asking, "Do you want to know why I came to Tianhai?" Why? You did want to know. But you didn't like prying into people's privacy. However, she brought it up herself. Gu Yongxi sighed softly, sitting next to you and leaning on your shoulder, her tone sad. "Little brother, do you remember me saying that I have a fiancé?" "I remember," she continued. "He comes from a mysterious family. I became the sacrificial lamb of the Gu family, forced to marry a fool of a young master from that family. Coming to Tianhai is my final gamble. If I don't achieve great results, I will have to marry that fool. I don't want to marry him." You were a bit dazed. Her fiancé was supposed to be you, so how did he become a fool? "You didn't lie to me." Gu Yongxi raised her head, looking at you with a pitiful and helpless gaze. "Think about it, if my fiancé were a normal person, how could they say my entire life would be ruined?" You nodded and pondered. She didn't know that her fiancé was you, which meant the Gu family hadn't told her. Not only did the Gu family remain silent about it, but they also wanted to find a fool to be her husband. This indicated that the Gu family wanted to break the engagement. Well, that's fine. No need to call off the engagement anymore. Gu Yongxi blinked her eyes. "Chen Fan, no matter what, this sister of yours will never marry that fool. I must carve out a successful path here in Tianhai. Will you help me, please?" The way she looked at you made your heart itch with unbearable desire. With great effort, you asked if you achieve results, but they still force you into the political marriage. Gu Yongxi blurted out without a second thought, "Then we will elope." "Chen Fan, if the family breaks their promise, you will take me away, right? This sister of yours is entirely devoted to you. We can find a place where nobody knows us and have many, many children together. You earn the money to support the family, and I'll handle the household chores and cooking." Listening to her say all this, the itching in your heart suddenly vanished. Looking at her extraordinarily beautiful face, an impulse unexpectedly welled up to take her away immediately. Involuntarily, you said, "As long as you never leave me, I will definitely grant you a life of ultimate wealth and glory." You looked at her soft and delicate lips, your breathing becoming ragged. Emulating the descriptions you heard from those guys back in prison, you leaned in bit by bit, getting closer and closer. Just at this critical moment, ring, 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 the phone suddenly rang out. Both of them were startled. Gu Yongxi opened her eyes, her face turning as red as the sunset glow. She then turned her body away, not daring to look straight at you, secretly murmuring in her heart, "Could I really be falling for him?" You coughed awkwardly, taking out your phone, and it turned out to be Lin Yue. "What's the matter?" You picked up the call. "Come to the Tianhai Hotel. I have something to say." Lin Yue was ice cold as always. "I don't have time." You hung up directly. You hated people ordering you around the most. As expected. Just after hanging up the phone, Lin Yue called again. "The marriage contract your master set up, he left something behind, come and get it." After speaking, she quickly hung up the phone. Hearing the hanging up tone, you furrowed your brow slightly. From the bottom of your heart, you really didn't want to see Lin Yue again, but since it concerned your master's matter, no matter what, you had to make a trip. "I have some business to attend to." "Go ahead." Gu Yongxi still didn't look at you. Just as you left, her phone also rang. It was Zhang Shuang. She explained the matters of the auction with absolute clarity. The number 140 plot of land was taken away by the Tianlong group. Gu Yongxi was somewhat surprised. The news of this land was intentionally leaked by Uncle Feng. Securing it in advance would yield massive profits. But now that it was taken away by someone else, most of the profits were gone, falling short by just one step. "Miss, the point is, we could have secured this land with 600 million. It's all to blame on Chen Fan being too impetuous and provoking Shu Tianlong, forcing the other party into the bidding war." She still looked down on you, wanting Gu Yunqi to dismiss you. Unexpectedly, she was interrupted by Gu Yunqi. "Shut up. From now on, I don't want to hear any more of your complaints about him. Otherwise, return to the capital immediately." Inside the restaurant of the Tianhai Hotel, Lin Yue wore a white dress, looking like an untouchable celestial fairy. Sitting across from her, you spoke in a cold voice, "Where is the item?" Lin Yue kept looking out the window. Hearing your indifferent tone, she then said, "Before you, no one ever dared to hang up on me. You are the first." She was still angry over the few times you hung up on her. As the number one beauty of Tianhai, there were countless people revolving around her. Having her calls hung up on was a first-time experience. "Don't say unnecessary words. I'm not here to listen to nonsense." "Where is my master's item?" you asked once again. "If it weren't for your master, you wouldn't have picked up this call at all." Although Lin Yue was annoyed, she could only endure it when she thought of her father's reminders. "I know you are dissatisfied with my parents, but reality is very cruel. Before becoming Miss Gu's partner, you were just someone who had just gotten out of prison. There was no need for them to pay attention to you. Now our family also has no reason to support you. So don't be hostile. Cooperation will only benefit you. Seeing her deadpan expression made you find it even more amusing. You really couldn't understand how their family being so ordinary got such confidence. Is the whole family's pretentiousness a genetic disease? Compared to those terrifying prison inmates, the richest man in Tianhai was nothing, and didn't even have the qualifications to enter Mingdu prison. What did you say? Lin Yue's anger flared up instantly. Chen Fan, I have already been very restrained. Don't take my tolerance as capital for your reckless behavior. No one has ever dared to insult me like this. Her voice drew the attention of the crowd. Who is this guy? How dare he provoke Yue? He must be tired of living. You thought about it and felt there was no need to argue with her, saying flatly, when paths cross but minds don't meet, even half a word is too much. There's no need to say more. Give me the item, and from now on, we will go our separate ways. Lin Yue was infuriated by your dismissive attitude. She said sharply, you have to make it clear. Exactly how did I offend you? Otherwise, I won't give it to you. You didn't provoke me. I simply just don't approve of your attitude. Before you could finish speaking, you were interrupted from the side. This is called acting aloof. A frivolous laugh came from nearby, as a young man in a suit walked over him. Yue, don't get angry over this kind of worthless, petty person. His sole purpose in existing is just to block your view. Lin Yue ignored him, turning her head back while still breathing heavily with anger. The young man didn't mind and glanced at you. Chen Fan, Miss Gu's partner, you really think you're a big shot, huh? To dare to make my goddess angry in the Tianhai Hotel. Who is this guy? Shh, keep it down. He is Zhang Meng, the young master of the Tianhai Hotel, and a loyal pursuer of Lin Yue. You gave a sneer. And then, Zhang Meng raised his hand and lightly shook his wrist, looking at you with contempt. 2 years ago, a boss insulted Yue with a mouthful of foul words. I pulled out his teeth one by one, and made him crawl out on his knees. So, are you trying to give me a warning? You're not quite at that level yet. I'm merely reminding you that the consequences of provoking me are beyond your imagination. But I still have to show some consideration for Miss Gu's face. I can put up a sign at the entrance of the hotel that says Chen Fan and dogs cannot enter. How do you think Miss Gu will view you then? Lin Yue chimed in. There's no need, Zhang Meng. I will handle this matter myself. She knew that once things escalated, trouble would follow one after another for Chen Fan. Zhang Meng naturally wouldn't let go of an opportunity to show off, pressing closer to threaten you. Your last chance, apologize to Yue immediately. Don't think I'm joking. His words carried a heavy threat. The customers got excited waiting to watch the drama unfold. You didn't take his threat seriously at all, asking mockingly, do you think you are some kind of supreme king? Who is your dad? A soft-shelled turtle. Turtle, you really are your dad's great son. No, you should be your mom's good little boy. The moment these words came out, the restaurant went quiet for a split second, and then a burst of laughter erupted. A soft-shelled turtle, and he even said he's his mom's good little boy. This mouth was too vicious, insulting the entire family. What did you say? Zhang Meng's face turned completely pale. Fine. A petty rascal living off Miss Gu actually dares to insult me. Good, very good. Since you want to die, I'll smash your rice bowl. Then put up the sign. He is banned from entering forever. Hearing this, Lin Yue quickly stood up. Zhang Meng, don't be impulsive. There's no room for discussion. Chen Fan, hurry up and apologize. This is the largest hotel in Tianhai. If they don't let you in, Miss Gu will absolutely never let you off. You thought for a moment, since this place is a high-end venue, if there are business needs, you indeed cannot be denied entry. So you pulled out your phone and called Zhang Kang, no matter what method you use. Buy the Tianhai Hotel within 10 minutes. As for the money, I'll give you a contact number to ask for it. As soon as the words fell, all eyes in the restaurant focused on you, as if looking at a complete madman. Although the Tianhai Hotel was not as valuable as the richest man's villa, it was still worth over 2 billion, and with its stable profits, it was impossible to sell. Buying it within 10 minutes was simply an absolute fantasy. Zhang Meng burst out laughing in anger. I've seen broke people act tough, but I've never seen anyone as arrogant as you. Fine, I'll give you 10 minutes to see how you're going to buy it. Lin Yue shook her head in disappointment, saying no more. She used to think your sharp tongue was just due to your personality, but now it seemed to be a total delusion. The surrounding people whispered among themselves. Too arrogant. Who does he think he is? If he can really acquire the hotel, I'll crawl out of the door on my knees. Zhang Meng checked his watch and mocked. There's still 1 minute left. You better hurry up. Do you need me to give you another 30 seconds? Just as his words fell, the elevator doors opened, and a group of middle-aged men in suits walked out in a hurry. They were precisely the members of the hotel's legal department. They walked up to Chen Fan very respectfully. Mr. Chen, this is the acquisition contract. Please take a look. Instantly, the entire venue fell dead silent. He really bought it. Seeing the contract, everyone around was completely dumbfounded. Zhang Meng refused to believe it at all. and roared fiercely at Manager Wang. Manager Wang, do you want to lose your job? Take back the contract immediately. Otherwise, I will fire you right now. As the young master of the Tianhai Hotel, he simply didn't believe that you had that kind of capability. Lin Youwei gasped, firmly believing that this was a complete scam. But just at this moment, Zhang Meng's phone rang. Hello, what's wrong? On the other end of the line, Zhang Meng's father roared in a furious rage. You little bastard, who on earth did you offend? Zhang Kong used a gun to force me to sell the hotel. The Tianhai Hotel has already changed owners. Zhang Meng was instantly frozen in place, half a sentence stuck in his throat. As cold sweat poured down, he finally understood that the call you made was precisely to Zhang Kong. It was a total shock to his core. Following that, the hotel's general manager Li Weimin hurried over, saying very respectfully, Mr. Chen, I am Li Weimin. From today onward, I will serve you with all my heart and soul. How is this even possible? Lin Youwei looked as if she had seen a ghost. The matter had unfolded right before her eyes. Yet, she simply couldn't bring herself to believe it. Clatter Zhang Meng's phone slipped out of his hand and fell. He suddenly realized that he had completely underestimated you. You asked flatly, do you still plan to put up that sign from earlier? With sweat pouring down, Zhang Meng stammered, I wouldn't dare. You don't dare, but I do. Li Weimin set up a sign at the entrance. Zhang Meng and soft-shelled turtles are banned from entering. The moment these words were spoken, the people around looked at Zhang Meng with deep sympathy. Unable to swallow his anger, Zhang Meng said, don't push people too far. Your face turned cold as you said, if you say one more word of nonsense, I will make every single one of your teeth fall out. And I'll make you learn how to crawl out like a dog. Get lost. Giving you a resentful, aggrieved glare, Zhang Meng slipped away in total humiliation. Lin Youwei refused to back down. Chen Fan, have you never thought about the consequences of relying entirely on Gu Yunxi? If one day she kicks you aside, you will die a very miserable death. Not just her, but others around also showed worried expressions. You sneered with contempt, the money is mine. What I lack is definitely not money. You didn't bother to pay any more attention to this topic, asking directly and bluntly, where's the item? Are you giving it to me or not? Lin Youwei stomped her foot in pure anger. Chen Fan, regardless of whether you like my attitude or not, this is just the kind of person I am, and I can't change it. Let's see how much longer you can stay this arrogant. Sooner or later, you will come begging me. Sooner or later, you'll be begging me. After saying that, she left in a furious huff. You watched her walk far away, and murmured to yourself, no rush, there will be other opportunities in the future. Lin Youwei went home and directly collapsed onto the sofa. Lin Jinan asked anxiously, how did it go, her mother? Zhao Yalan was burning with uncontrollable rage. You still need to ask just looking at Yu Wei's appearance. Anyone can tell that petty rascal bullied her. A petty villain getting a taste of success, just you wait. Sooner or later, he will become a stray dog. As she cursed, she called your phone. But the call was hung up directly. Zhao Yalan was about to explode with anger, continuing to dial the phone. Seeing that the calls weren't being picked up, she sent text messages to curse you instead. Lin Jinan patted Yu Wei out of pity. Yu Wei, you shouldn't have done this. Chen Fan is simply not worth you going there in person. Right in the middle of his sentence, he noticed that his daughter had already fallen asleep. He nudged Lin Youwei a couple of times, but got absolutely no response. Lin Jinan instantly panicked. Youwei, wake up, Youwei. Zhao Yalan's face turned deadly pale, asking in a panic, didn't she get better? Why did she fall asleep again? Chen Fan, that trash can't even cure this illness. I have to find him. She called again only to find out that her number had been blacklisted. Lin Jinan said anxiously, I'll go brew the medicine. Very quickly, he brought over the medicine from last time, and Lin Youwei drank it, yet there was still no response from her. Zhao Yalan gnashed her teeth in hatred. It must be Chen Fan who angered Yu Wei into a relapse. This old lady is going to kill him. Zhao Yalan bared her fangs and brandished her claws, then said urgently, let's find Xu Baoxi first. Inside the office of the Tianlong group, seeing Lin Jianen's incoming call, Xu Tianlong sneered and pretended not to hear it. He then stood up and respectfully handed over a bank card. Master Ji, thank you for your hard work. This is a little token of appreciation. Master Ji took the card. This time, the situation is similar, but the technique of the supervisor has changed. The previous medicine won't be able to save her. Zhu Tianlong's lips curled up as he understood perfectly. Handing over another card, this is your reward. Master Jie was finally satisfied. I'm tired. I'm going back to rest first. The father and son sent off Master Ji and returned to the office. Dad, when are we going to save Lin Youwei? Xu Baoxi asked eagerly. Thinking that he was about to possess Lin Youwei, his heart surged with intense excitement. Zhu Tianlong sat back down and sneered coldly. Don't rush. The ones who are anxious right now are the Lin family, not us. Remember, to achieve great things, you need a calm and steady demeanor. Wait until Lin Jianan comes to beg me and obediently hands over the money, then it won't be too late to go. Yu Baoxi nodded, but in his heart, he didn't want to wait for even a single second, feeling that the sooner the better. Suddenly, he remembered there was another woman waiting for his call. Dad, can I go out to meet a friend first? Don't worry, once your call comes through, I will return immediately. After getting Xu Tianlong's approval, Zhu Baoxi turned around, walked out the door, and sent a message to Liu Ruyan. Upon receiving it, Liu Ruyan dropped her work without any hesitation, hurriedly touched up her makeup, and headed straight for the Tianhai Hotel. The Tianhai Hotel's restaurant, located on the 48th floor, overlooked the entire Tianhai city, bringing an unparalleled dining experience. "Young Master Xu, you're here!" Liu Ruyan stood up gracefully to welcome Xu Baoxi. Seeing Liu Ruyan, a trace of wicked intent flashed across Xu Baoxi's eyes. "Traffic jam on the way. I've kept President Liu waiting for a long time. Please sit." Liu Ruyan smiled and responded, "I just arrived as well. Young Master Xu, please have a seat." Xu Baoxi sat down and went straight to the point. "You want the supply contract for the 140 plot of land, but the contract is worth 100 to 200 million. The Liu family's total assets are only 500 million. Can you actually handle it?" Liu Ruyan straightened her back and spoke. "Although this is a massive order that the Liu family has never had before. The Liu family is considered an old-time honored brand in Tianhai, and our credit is fully guaranteed. I just contacted our suppliers, and the source of goods is completely stable and guaranteed." Xu Baoxi narrowed his eyes slightly. Seeing her sitting there, certain parts of her body appeared even more alluring. Guarantees are useless. There are plenty of suppliers in Tianhai, and you aren't considered outstanding. You have to give me a reason to shut the other suppliers up. Liu Ruyan was at a loss for words. Indeed, compared to other suppliers, the Liu family had no competitive advantage. Seeing that the timing was about right, Xu Baoxi suddenly asked, "What is your relationship with Chen Fan?" Liu Ruyan was stunned. This was the past event she least wanted to bring up. An arranged childhood marriage, just a joke from the past, it's all over now. Now we are just familiar strangers. Have you guys slept together? Xu Baoxi smiled knowingly. Liu Ruyan was completely bewildered by this sudden question. Who on earth asks a girl this kind of thing? Thinking of the order, she could only answer. Liu Ruyan's face was instantly filled with surprise. "Young Master Xu, what on earth are you trying to say? I only want to talk about business collaboration." Xu Baoxi interrupted impatiently. "I don't want to listen to nonsense. Are you going or not? As long as you spend one night with me, the supply contract for the 140 plot of land is yours." Liu Ruyan replied firmly, "Young Master Xu, the reason I can be where I am today is entirely due to stepping up on my own one step at a time. I am not that kind of, stop right there. As soon as the words fell, she stood up wanting to leave. "Stop right there." Xu Baoxi's face darkened as he said coldly, "Don't think Chen Fan can protect you. In my eyes, he is nothing more than a piece of trash. From today onward, the Tianlong group will target him everywhere. The 140 plot of land is just the first step. In half a month, Miss Gu will see his failure, and by then, she will kick him out. Without Miss Gu backing him up, what kind of big shot does he think he is?" A sigh came from the distance. "Some people out there have had their faces swollen from getting slapped, yet they still don't realize it. It's truly hilarious." Hearing the voice, the two of them looked over at the same time. Chen Fan, Liu Ruyan, was dumbfounded. Xu Baoxi shuddered in fear, thinking in his heart, why on earth is he here? He walked coldly towards Xu Baoxi. "Did you forget how I warned you?" Cold sweat kept pouring down Xu Baoxi's head. Of course he remembered. After being warned, he had even been beaten up. He opened his mouth nervously. "Shut up. Slap yourself first." Smack smack, you ruthlessly delivered 2 slaps. The surroundings fell dead silent in an instant. The crowd bustled with discussions. Who is this guy? Someone actually dares to hit young Master Xu. Chen Fan, are you crazy? Liu Ruyan hurriedly rushed forward to stop it. With a loud thud, Xu Baoxi stood up in a furious rage, his face distorted with malice. "You're never going to stop hitting me, are you? Aside from using your fists, what kind of thing are you anyway? You actually dare to come to a Western restaurant? Take a look at yourself in the mirror first to see if you're even worthy of eating Western food." "I am indeed not done hitting you, but I also want to make you look at yourself in the mirror to see what kind of thing you are. Are you even worthy of coming to the Tianhai Hotel?" You countered unhurriedly. Xu Baoxi glared with wide-open eyes, wishing he could pounce on you, but knowing he was no match, he gnashed his teeth. "You brute, vulgar, and low class." As he spoke, he pulled out a black card from his pocket and slammed it on the table. "Do you know what this is? Let me tell you. This is the Emperor Treatment Card." The card was black, inlaid with a sea of clouds pattern, looking both luxurious and mysterious. Suddenly someone exclaimed, "This is the supreme VIP card of the Tianhai Hotel. I heard there are only 7 of them in the entire province, and they are usually only given to critically important VIPs. Liu Ruyan stared at the card, feeling quite shocked. Rumor had it that with this card, one could enjoy the treatment of an owner in the hotel. Xu Baoxi was slightly smug, feeling ecstatic inside as he listened to the discussions around him. He had won this card from a bet with Zhang Meng, and today it finally came in handy. He looked at you mockingly. "Do you understand the meaning of this card now? It's not just a discount, it's a symbol of status. Do you have one? There's no need to beg for a discount just to have a meal. That's way too embarrassing. Your family spent too much money buying land and can't even afford to eat. So relying on a card to get a free meal, I can understand that. After all, you are poor. Liu Ruyan secretly glanced at you, thinking that your mouth was truly vicious. What did you say, Ju? Baoshi was burning with towering rage. A clear status symbol was twisted by you into a sign of poverty. Suddenly, a scheme popped into his mind. You're trying to use reverse psychology on me. Fine, 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 you've successfully made me angry. Good, very good, you've successfully made me angry. You with the surname Chen, you say I'm poor. I'll just have to see exactly what you're made of. Waiter, bring me a bottle of Once in a Lifetime. Hearing this name, the customers bubbled with excitement. Once in a Lifetime. The Once in a Lifetime from France's Chateau Taihei. Everyone knows a 1982 Lafite is expensive, but they don't know that while a Lafite costs tens of thousands, the market price of Once in a Lifetime is 950,000. The Tianhai Hotel sells it for 1.18 million per bottle. As they spoke, the waiter brought out the wine. Young Master Su, this wine is too expensive. The hotel management requires swiping the card first. Please understand. No problem. Zhu Baoshi swiped his card smoothly and then looked at you provocatively. I can drink $1 million wine, but can you poor dog who relies on Miss Gu's money? You're just an outcast earning a meager salary. Why don't you open a bottle too and let me see? Do you even dare to open one? Hearing this, you sat down calmly. Sorry, I'm really not poor. Waiter, I want 2 bottles of this wine. Swipe the card directly. With that, you tossed out a card. Chenfan, are you crazy? Spending millions on a single meal. Miss Gu will kill you. Liu Ruyan couldn't help but warn you. However, you answered nonchalantly, it's fine. Just pocket change. Zhu Baoshi gave a thumbs up, his smile growing wider. This petty villain had indeed taken the bait. His goal was just to make him lose his head and waste money. Once Miss Gu finds out, she will definitely fire him, and by then he will be nothing but an ant. He smiled again. I'm someone who refuses to admit defeat. When someone calls me poor, I have to fight them to the very end. Waiter, bring another 2 bottles. I must have more than him. You immediately countered, bring 4 more bottles. Zhu Baoshi hurriedly shouted, bring 5 more bottles. The two of you went back and forth, leaving the surrounding people completely dumbfounded. This wasn't just wine anymore. This was pure gold. In the end, the waiter reminded Zhu Baoshi that his balance was insufficient. Without blushing at all, Zhu Baoshi clapped playfully. Fine, 5 bottles it is. Mr. Chen is truly wealthy, spending 20 million on a single meal. I wonder what Ms. Gu will do when she knows you spent 20 million on a meal. After saying that, he glared at you with a mocking smile. The surrounding people were also waiting to see you embarrass yourself. Liu Ruyan said helplessly, you're just too impulsive. I told you earlier he was intentionally provoking you. How are you going to explain this to Ms. Gu now? It seems calling off the engagement was the right choice. An impulsive man is not worth relying on. You're right, it is indeed hard to explain. Then let's just refund them. Waiter, please refund all of these bottles of wine. I remember that unopened wine can be refunded. The smile on Zhu Baoshi's face instantly froze. Liu Ruyan was also completely dumbfounded. Even the waiter doubted whether he had misheard. You can actually play it like this. Refunding all the wine. In that case, wouldn't the money just come right back? Isn't this a total joke? Zhu Baoshi exploded on the spot. Are you a sore loser? How can wine that's already been bought be refunded? I just wanted to prove that you are a poor dog. It wasn't for the sake of actually drinking. Why on earth can't it be refunded? You spoke with a perfectly calm expression. Zhu Baoshi clenched his fists so hard they made a cracking sound. You're the dog. A poor dog. You flatly replied with a sentence. If you fucking have the ability, don't spend Miss Gu's money. Zhu Baoshi roared furiously. Broke ghost. You replied with a sentence again. If you fucking have the guts, then don't refund it. Zhu Baoshi strained his voice and yelled at the top of his lungs. Poor dog. You still replied with that same sentence. Zhu Baoshi was almost driven insane. No matter what he said, you just repeated those same words over and over again. And worst of all, he really didn't manage to buy more than you just now. Chenfan completely delivered a one-hit KO to him. Suddenly, he remembered the privileges of the Supreme VIP card in his hand. He pulled out the card, slammed it heavily on the dining table, and shouted almost frantically, Fine, 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 you with the surname Chen. How dare you insult me like this? Today, I'll let you witness exactly what a privilege means. Waiter, I am a Supreme VIP of this hotel. Do not allow him to get a refund. Chenfan casually pulled out the acquisition contract. I am the boss of this place. Who dares to deny me a refund? Seeing that contract, the venue fell dead silent all at once. Someone checked to verify its authenticity with deep suspicion, while Zhu Baoshi was even more utterly stunned, his eyeballs nearly glued to the contract, as he desperately tried to find a flaw in it. But the final result threw him into complete despair. This contract was actually genuine. Liu Ruyan let out a sharp gasp in absolute disbelief, and she was completely unaware that Miss Gu had made this acquisition. The corner of your mouth curled up slightly. Thank you, young Master Su, for boosting the hotel's revenue. Spending over 20 million on a single meal is certainly enough to go down in history. In an instant, everyone looked at Zhu Baoshi with a playful mocking gaze. To compete in purchasing power with the hotel owner inside his own hotel. He really was a massive fool. Being stared at by the crowd made Zhu Baoshi almost spit up blood, especially when he saw your expression He wished he could grind your bones to ashes. He yelled in exasperated rage, Chen Fan, what are you posing for? Isn't this just a property under Miss Gu's name? At most, you are just an employee working for her. He stood up in utter humiliation and angrily threw a harsh threat at you. Chen Fan, you just wait for me. Sooner or later, I will crush you to death. Following that, he shouted at the waiter, refund the wine. Spending 20 million on wine made his heart ache incredibly hard, so he had to get a refund no matter what. Right at this moment, you spoke flatly. Today, I'll also let you witness exactly what a privilege means. Waiter, no refunds. The waiter was so terrified that he quickly backed away. Xu Baoxi was driven completely insane. Chen Fan, you really won't give me a refund. Believe it or not, I will never come here to spend money again. You are running a business open to the public. How dare you refuse to satisfy the request of your godlike customer? The request of a godlike customer will naturally be satisfied. But you are just a dog. Actually, whether you come or not, I don't care at all. Because from now on, even if you want to come, you won't be able to get in. Notify the front desk to set up a sign at the entrance. Starting from today, Xu Baoxi and dogs are absolutely forbidden from entering. The moment those words fell, the surroundings instantly burst into a wave of laughter. Xu Baoxi's face turned completely purple with rage, and he turned around to storm out in anger, only to realize after walking out the door that he hadn't even taken the wine. When he wanted to go back inside, he was blocked outside by the staff of the Tianhai Hotel. Inside the hotel, Liu Ruyan asked in confusion, did Miss Gu buy this hotel? Who told you she bought it? I bought it. Liu Ruyan directly burst out scoffing. Do you take me for a 3-year-old child? As if someone like you could ever afford to buy it. You were left completely speechless and didn't even bother to explain further. Seeing your silence, Liu Ruyan smiled with pursed lips. All right, I won't put you down anymore. But Chen Fan, I advise you to live a more realistic life in the future. Stop showing off like this. Tell me honestly. Did you know I was at this Western restaurant? So you deliberately rushed over here. You were completely bewildered by her words. Liu Ruyan looked at you and spoke with a serious face. Chen Fan, there's no need for you to deliberately try to perform in front of me in the future. If you have something to say, just say it directly. Although it's no longer possible between us, we can still be friends. There's no need to secretly follow me around. If you want to ask me out for a meal, you can just ask directly. As long as I have time, I will agree to it. Liu Ruyan was thinking to herself that you must be feeling the pressure and discomfort of dealing with Lin Yuwei and remembering how well she used to treat you in the past. That's why you followed her here. Hearing this nonsense, you didn't want to waste another word, so you slammed down your chopsticks, stood up and left. Stunned, Liu Ruyan asked in astonishment, where are you going? Aren't you going to eat? Not eating, you fiercely threw back 2 words and strode away. You simply couldn't figure out where on earth she got such massive self-confidence. Looking at your departing figure, Liu Ruyan let out a bitter laugh. Perhaps I hit the nail on the head, so he got embarrassed. Meanwhile, Xu Baoxi returned home. Dad, I want to kill Chen Fan. I absolutely must kill him. Stop talking about killing every time you open your mouth. Look at yourself, what a disgraceful sight. This time, Yuwei's relapse was entirely caused by Chen Fan making her angry. This time, Yuwei's sudden illness was entirely caused by Chen Fan's anger. I agree to invest and develop together with the Tianlong group. Can Xu Baoxi go and take a look at Yuwei? Business is business, and relationships are relationships. Yuwei and Baoxi have always been old friends anyway. Even without this investment matter, she must be treated regardless. Baoxi and I will head over together. The 3 of them then arrived at the 2nd floor bedroom of the West Suburban Manor. They subsequently used Master Ji's method once again, using Xu Baoxi's blood to awaken Lin Yuwei. It's all to blame on that muddled fool Chen Fan for harming our Yuwei like this. I truly detest him to death. Their daughter was sleeping even more deeply this time. If this continued, she might only wake up once every few months, which was barely any different from being a vegetable. If he wasn't around in the future, who would he hand the family business over to? Could it be that we used the wrong method? Baoxi had mentioned before that last time Master Ji even chanted a spell, whereas this time it was just simply dripping blood, which was why there was absolutely no effect at all. Xu Tianlong dropped a subtle hint with his words. Brother Lin, to tell you the truth, having Baoxi come over was also with the mindset of treating a dead horse as if it were alive. We didn't hold much hope to begin with. Master Jie can't cure her. Last time it was Chen Fan who cured her. Does that foul mouth of yours even know how to speak? Go find Master Gay again. No matter if it works or not, we cannot let go of this single shred of hope. Hurry up and find him. Lin Zhenin was utterly helpless and could only go to find Master Jie again. Master Gay and Xu Tianlong had already reached an agreement long ago. After exchanging a few simple words over the phone, he hurried to the West Suburban Manor. Following an examination by Master Jie, he spoke with a deliberately solemn expression. Miss Lin indeed suffered a relapse because she was angered by a villain. However, I have one more method that can save Miss Lin, and it can also guarantee that she will never relapse again. As long as there was even a tiny shred of hope, He would be willing to give up company shares as a reward. Master Jie took a deep breath, his expression turning dead serious. Young Master Su is precisely the destined partner for Miss Lin. As long as they spend the night together, Miss Lin will naturally wake up the next day. Everyone present was completely stunned. Lin Zhenan suddenly furrowed his brows, silently calculating in his heart. On the other side, just as you stepped into the Genting Sky Palace, a soft voice echoed in your ears. You're back. You looked up. Gu Yongxi, who was sitting on the sofa, seemed to have completely changed into a different person. Instead, she wore a high-energy tracksuit and playful braids, making her look like a bright, youthful college student. Hurry up and come over to eat. The food is almost getting cold. Is this still that seductive Gu Goblin, who always loves to make jokes? Hurry up and come over. What are you standing there for? Do you dislike my cooking? Seeing that you hadn't moved for a long time, her cheeks turned slightly red. Coming. You sat down at the dining table and sized up the 4 dishes and 1 soup. After sitting down, you didn't smell any medicinal odor, making you feel even more surprised in your heart. How did she suddenly seem like a different person? Hurry up and try it. This is my signature dish. How does it taste? Delicious. The lean-to-fat ratio is just right, and it melts in your mouth. This must have been stewed for at least 2 hours, right? Have you been busy with this the entire afternoon? The eldest young lady of the Gu family came to Tianhai, causing the entire Tianhai to shake because of her, yet now she was actually nesting in the kitchen, cooking. This was truly unexpected. I've loved cooking since I was a child, and I started figuring things out in the kitchen back in elementary school. Speaking up to this point, she paused, her expression suddenly turning a bit unnatural. Do you know how to cook too? Of course I do. Before I turned 18, the old man pushed me incredibly hard. Not only did I have to cook, but I also had to do laundry, brew wine, and handle all the housework. It was all done by me. That old man simply exploited me to death. That old man is your master. Then what about after you turned 18? After I turned 18, he couldn't beat me in a fight anymore. So I made him do my laundry and cook for me instead. Whenever he dared to be disobedient, I would torment him. Haha, the relationship between you two must be exceptionally good. Can you tell me a little bit about what he taught you? A bit of everything. Medical skills, martial arts, feng shui, the 8 trigrams, Kemen array formations, and also physiognomy. The 8 trigrams and physiognomy. You even know how to read faces? Then can you help me read my face and see how my future will turn out? She rested both of her arms on the table, looking at you with a face completely full of anticipation. You seriously sized up her face, and in the next second you were frozen in place. This was actually the first time you had looked at her so carefully. Unwittingly noticing your intense gaze, her cheeks instantly blushed with a red glow, and her eyes became somewhat evasive. Yet she still stubbornly faced you directly. Well, did you see anything? You seriously sized up Gu Yunqi once again. But just as your gaze landed on her, your brows couldn't help but furrow slightly. In the eyes of ordinary people, Gu Yunxi was absolutely a top-tier supreme beauty. But when placed under the laws of the 7 apertures and 7 palaces, the positions of Gu Yunqi's 7 apertures unfortunately fell right into the Shafin Palace. This meant a very short lifespan. This kind of facial feature represented that she suffered many hardships in her early years. Her teardrop brows showed that she was naturally disliked by her parents, and wasn't close with her siblings either. Her yin tongue was bright indeed, and her lower jaw also had a radiant glow, yet it unfortunately fell right into the Sha Fian Palace. In other words, at the exact moment she considered herself to be the happiest, she would suddenly suffer a violent death. You were shocked right on the spot. People always say that the Heavenly Fiend Solitary Star has a bad fate, but they don't know that what's even more terrifying is the Heavenly Fiend Solitary Person. How is it? Don't try to scare me. You're absolutely not allowed to say anything bad. If it's bad, then it just means you read it wrong. I am very happy right now. You managed to force out a faint smile. Back when you heard your master mention these things, you still thought that they were completely fake. How could there be anyone in this world with such a bitter fate? What are you smiling at? You don't think I'm lying to you, do you? Really, I truly feel exceptionally happy right now. Aren't you even a single bit curious as to why I am so happy? Then why exactly do you feel happy? Because I met you. As the words fell, a layer of rosy blush quietly crept over her face once again, yet those eyes still stubbornly stared at you. Your heart skipped a beat for some inexplicable reason. You felt that her words this time were different from before, yet you couldn't pinpoint the exact reason why. I'll go open the door. I'd better go open it. Miss, I just received the news. The province has already decided to develop the 140 plot of land, and the scale of investment is incredibly massive. The value of this land is estimated to double. Such a great opportunity was completely ruined by Chen Fan. I suggest firing him directly. Coming to Tianhai was meant to prove your ability to the family, and the 140 plot was originally a perfect opportunity. Uncle Feng's side also sent word, it's just that they were still one step too late. I understand. You can go back first. This is clearly Chen Fan's responsibility, yet you actually don't plan to hold him accountable. Shut up, I said I understand. The losses caused by the 140 plot, I will personally take them back. Do you want to take the 140 plot? Of course she does. It's all your fault. Otherwise, this land would have belonged to Miss long ago. You must take responsibility. Fine, since she wants it. Then isn't it enough to just take it back? This matter isn't as difficult as you guys think. Chen Fan, Gu Yunxi couldn't help but raise her voice. Others might not be clear about it, but she understood perfectly in her heart. For figures like Xu Tianlong and Lin Zhenin, the news about the development of the 140 plot would reach them in less than a few hours. How could they possibly spit out the fat meat that has already entered their mouths? Fine. This is what you said yourself. Chen Fan, I hope you can really take back the 140 plot. If you do, I am willing to be your secretary from now on, and you can make me do whatever you want. But if you can't take it back, then you just honestly pack your bags, resign, and get lost. Miss, you heard it too. He said it himself on his own initiative. I definitely didn't force him. I said I can take it back, so I will definitely be able to take it back. Remember well what you just said, and don't regret it when the time comes. You replied casually, not taking that plot of land seriously in your heart at all. Compared to this, what you cared about more was Gu Yunxi. Although she still didn't know it yet, the marriage engagement between you two indeed existed. And furthermore, she was indeed a very suitable choice to be a wife. You absolutely could not let her end her life so abruptly. How do you plan to take back the 140 plot of land? If there's really no other way, then I'll go find Uncle Feng and use special privileges to forcefully seize that land back. Lin Zhenin, what is he looking for me for at this hour? At the same time, inside the West Suburban Manor. Dad, how come they still haven't come out yet? Yu Baoshi stared dead at the study room, asking with a face full of anxiety. Ever since Master Jie mentioned the cleansing ritual, Lin Jinan and Zhao Yalan had gone into the study to discuss it. It had already been half an hour by now. How do I usually teach you when encountering major events you must stay calm and composed? He was clearly very dissatisfied with his son's impatience. Then shifting his tone, he spoke with a sinister grin. No need to worry, since they are willing to discuss it. It shows that they are already tempted. Even if they don't agree in the end, I still have a backup plan. Tonight, I will definitely make sure you and Lin Youwei end up together. He said these words with absolute certainty. Yes. I'm waiting. But if he could have Lin Youwei accompanying him, it would make him feel even more excited instead. She was after all the #1 beauty in Tianhai. I'll film a video later and send it to Chen Fan. When he sees his fiancée being treated like this, what kind of expression will he have? There is still another fiancé. This guy is probably a serial offender when it comes to tricking women. Xu Tianlong immediately shot him a warning glance. How was your discussion? Miss Lin's illness can no longer be delayed. The longer it drags on, the more severe the consequences will be. We still need to think about it some more. It seems you don't trust me, Master Jie. Fine. Then I won't stick around anymore. Master, please stay. It's not that we don't believe you. It's just that we care about our daughter's purity. Absolutely ridiculous. Then I might as well tell you, young Master Xu is a man naturally destined for immense nobility. Allowing him to perform the cleansing ritual for your severely ill daughter is actually a grand fortune. You are the ones getting a massive bargain here. Xu Baoshi is actually a man of great wealth and nobility. What? My son Xu Baoshi actually has a fate of great wealth and nobility. Since things have come to this, there's no need for me to hide it anymore. In truth, young Master Xu isn't just some destined partner, but is naturally born with the ultimate noble and wealthy fate. The only reason I used the term destined partner instead was simply to lessen your sense of guilt. The so-called cleansing ritual is in essence using one's own luck and fortune to cure someone else's illness. So my son actually has the ultimate noble and wealthy fate. I never would have thought. We are not doing this cleansing ritual anymore. Dad, I'm not leaving. I can't leave. How can I just stand by and watch Yue suffer from her illness? I have always treated her like my own younger sister. How can I just watch her suffer like this? So what if I give my luck and fortune to Yue? Even if I have to give this life of mine to her, so what? I will absolutely not leave you. Both Lin Zhenin and Zhao Yalan were deeply moved by Xu Baoshi's emotional words, and their faces showed a hint of profound emotion. Master Ji felt that the timing was now perfect, and he turned around as if he was about to leave. Good. He is already willing to ruin his own life just to save her. He truly is full of love and righteousness. However, I still have to give you a word of warning. Once you perform the cleansing ritual for her and give all your luck and fortune to her, sooner or later, there will come a day when you regret it. I will just wait for the day you regret it. But just as he reached the entrance, the room door was violently kicked open, and 2 feet aggressively stepped inside from outside the door. Coming as you please, and leaving as you please. Have you asked for my permission? Chen Fan. Xu Tianlong and Xu Baoshi's expressions instantly changed drastically. How did he manage to run all the way over here? Immediately after another figure appeared right behind you. It was precisely Gu Yunxi. She had changed into a long black dress, making her whole being appear exceptionally noble. Miss Gu, you're here. Lin Zhenin and Zhao Yalan. As if seeing a life-saving straw, hurriedly and quickly stepped forward to welcome her. That phone call Lin Zhenan made just now was hoping she could step in to invite you over to treat the illness. After all making a living in Tianhai, between offending Shu Tianlong or offending Lin Zhenan, he could only choose one. I rushed over as soon as I received the call. I shouldn't be too late, right? Not late at all. Thank you, Miss Gu. Thank you so much. Lin Zhenan simply didn't dare to say too much in front of her. Although he was full of rage towards you, he still hoped you could cure Lin Yue. Miss Gu then let him get started quickly. Yue is still fast asleep. A cleansing ritual is indeed a method, but we can't let our daughter lose her purity either. What? You guys actually called him here to let him treat Yue? If Chen Fan treats her, how can I still perform the cleansing ritual? Xu Tianlong's brows furrowed tightly. What are you shouting for? Are you afraid your shameful little trick will fall through? The moment you said this, Xu Baoxi and Xu Tianlong instantly shuddered all over. No way. He saw through our evil plan. What does this mean? You shrugged. Your shoulders, your heart completely full of helplessness. I really can't figure out how you managed to become the richest man with your IQ. When Lin Yue was in a coma a while ago, Xu Baoxi said he was destined to perform the cleansing ritual. Now that Lin Yue is in a coma again, he actually wants to perform the cleansing ritual again. It's such a simple problem. They are in cahoots with this scammer, all for the sake of sleeping with your daughter. The moment these words came out, Lin Zhenan and Zhao Yalan instantly glared at Xu Baoxi. Gu Yongxi also furrowed her brows, her expression looking very displeased. You are spitting blood and framing people. Zhu Tianlong gritted his teeth hard. Although his face was full of rage, he still forced himself to maintain his composure. Mr. Chen, I know there are conflicts between us, but you cannot spout nonsense. I have never met Master Jie before this, so how could I possibly conspire with him? The reason my son can save Lin Yue is that he is naturally born with the ultimate noble and wealthy fate, which allows him to transfer his luck to heal her. You sneered coldly. The ultimate, noble, and wealthy fate. Where does that wealth show on that face of his? It seems I still went too easy on him last time. Xu Tianlong was so pissed off he almost spat blood. Miss Gu, I really can't figure out why you would mix yourself up with such an arrogant and conceited guy. This man is aggressive and overbearing, acting and speaking without any scruples. He is simply not worthy of appreciation. My son is 1,000 times better than him. I am 1,000 times, 10,000 times better than him. Where exactly are you better at getting ridden like a horse? Zhu Baoxi was instantly choked up and speechless. They are in cahoots. If you want to find evidence, go look for it yourselves. Furthermore, if it weren't for Miss Gu's persuasion, even if you knelt down and begged me, I wouldn't have come over to treat her. This is the absolute last time, so don't bother looking for me ever again. But there is one prerequisite. The shares of the Tianlong group must be given to Miss Gu. What kind of tone was he using? Who did he think he was commanding? But for the sake of his daughter's illness, he ultimately had to bow his head. I understand. I will give the shares to Miss Gu. Since your objective had already been achieved, you didn't waste any more words, walking straight toward the second floor bedroom. Stop right there, kid. How dare a greenhorn like you kick me? An occultist like you, who only knows a few superficial tricks, is the most disgusting. If you dare to bark again, I'll kick you to death. The main hall fell dead silent. Only after you stepped into the bedroom did everyone suddenly snap back to their senses. They wanted to follow you to take a look. But just as they reached the entrance, the bedroom door suddenly slammed shut. She is gorgeous indeed, but this cold face of hers is truly boring. No wonder she came back to find me. It turns out she just changed her routine. After saying that, you pulled back the blanket and removed Lin You's clothes. Before long, you adjusted her into the treatment position, channeling it into your fingertips. Your fingers acted as needles, and the treatment was completed 2 minutes later. Why hasn't she woken up yet? The treatment method is correct. It seems she is still in a sleeping state. To not even wake up with a grown man standing right next to her. She really sleeps like the dead. Chen Fan, let alone a man, there isn't even a woman who... Brother Lin, you absolutely cannot believe this kind of crazy talk. I am willing to swear to heaven that I absolutely did not know Master Jie before this. Chen Fan is definitely slandering me. Yongxi sat quietly on the side, her gaze remaining calm throughout. Although she believed you in her heart, she couldn't produce any corresponding evidence. Lin Chenan and Zhao Yalan sat in silence, neither of them making their stance clear. They understood very well in their hearts that if they turned against Shu Tianlong at this moment, what would they do in case you failed to cure Lin Yue? They would still have to count on Xu Baoxi and Master Jie afterward. Therefore, staying silent was the best choice for now. How is Yue cured? Lin Zhenan and Zhao Yalan hurriedly stood up to ask. Gu Yongxi's eyes were also filled with anticipation. Lin Zhenan and Zhao Yalan hurriedly stood up to press for questions. Gu Yongxi's eyes were also filled with anticipation. Meanwhile, Shu Tianlong and the other two were tense to the absolute extreme. You glanced at them, somewhat puzzled in your heart that they could still get along so peacefully. To think Lin Zhenan could still endure it, even after learning his daughter was being plotted against. He really is a total pushover. She is already cured. Just go up and give her a little shake. She's awake. She's awake. Oh, Yue is awake. Hearing these words, Lin Zhenin finally let out a sigh of relief. Zhu Tianlong and the other two, however, froze right on the spot. After planning for so long, everything was ultimately ruined by Chen Fan again in the end. Is this guy really that powerful? And would Lin Zhenin believe his words? If he believed them, what should they do? They were completely thrown into a panic. Gu Yongxi's eyes were filled with pure admiration. She looked at you with a gentle smile, and then turned her gaze toward Lin Zhenin. Mr. Lin, since Mr. Chen has already cured your daughter, it's time to fulfill the agreement. Sign the contract and hand over the land. However, a sudden ringing sound echoed. After Lin Zhenin picked up the phone, his entire being froze. What? The surrounding area of the 140 plot is going to be heavily developed. At the exact same time, Zhu Tianlong also received a phone call. The 140 plot is going to be heavily developed. Seeing this, Yongxi couldn't help but furrow her brows slightly. The timing of this was simply too coincidental. But her brows quickly relaxed again, as she still believed the richest man wouldn't be someone who goes back on his word. We are completely saved this time. Zhu Tianlong put down the phone, his heart incredibly thrilled. The land value had actually skyrocketed several times over. This was simply too unbelievable. But he suddenly felt a bit of regret. If he had just dragged it out a little longer, this land would have belonged entirely to him, and he wouldn't have to split it with Lin Zhenin at all. A hint of calculation flashed across his eyes, and he immediately spoke up. Miss Gu, I guess you received the news in advance, didn't you? So that's why you desperately wanted to buy the 140 plot. You really have a good calculating mind. So that's why you had Chen Fan come to save Yue Wei, right? The implication of his words blatantly pointed out that she had plotted for profit and deliberately entrapped Lin Zhenin. Gu Yongxi spoke up calmly and admitted it generously. That's right. However, I believe that no matter how many times this land multiplies in value, it is still not as important as Miss Lin. Mr. Lin has always loved her like his own life. So even if he had known the news in advance, he would still have chosen to let him treat her. Zhu Tianlong was temporarily left with nothing to say, so he could only turn his gaze to Lin Zhenin. After pondering for a brief moment, Lin Zhenin finally spoke up, a trace of a smile appearing on his face. For my daughter's sake, no matter how much this land is worth, it can be considered as the medical fee. Miss Gu, I will naturally fulfill my promise. However, the contract needs to be signed by you, Miss Gu. It cannot be signed by Chen Fan. Gu Yongxi furrowed her brows slightly. What do you mean by that? Lin Zhenin's expression turned righteous. Miss, Gu might not be clear about it yet. The reason my Yue fell into a coma this time was not because of a trap set up by Brother Shu and Master Gay, but rather because she was angered by the Chen Fan beside you. I can give you the land, but I will absolutely never let an enemy sign the contract. As soon as these words came out, everyone present was completely stunned. You spoke up with a hint of anger. Are you completely brainless? There's no need to explain any further. You are the one who caused it. Lin Zhenin's attitude was very resolute. Miss Gu, I will give you the land and the contract can be signed at any time. Zhu Tianlong couldn't help but laugh out loud. Fortunately, Brother Lin sees things clearly. Otherwise, I would have really been wrongly accused to death. You're exactly right. We must never let Chen Fan sign it. Uncle Lin is indeed wise. Zhu Baoshi glanced at you triumphantly. I, Master Jie, have never done such filthy things. On the contrary, certain people are completely worthless scum behind everyone's backs. Master Jie became smug and arrogant once again. Gu Yongxi was incredibly furious. Without your signature, according to the bet with Zhang Shuang, you would have to pack your bags and leave. At that time, no matter how she explained it, it wouldn't be enough to convince the crowd. What if I absolutely insist on having Chen Fan sign this contract? Her powerful aura was fully unleashed, and the atmospheric pressure in the entire room instantly surged. The smiles on the faces of Shu Tianlong and Shu Baoshi instantly froze. Lin Zhenin's expression also sank, but he still had to bite the bullet and say, Miss Gu, I have no intention of making an enemy out of you. But I look down on a shameless person like Chen Fan. If Miss Gu insists on forcing me, then I can only break the promise. Gu Yongxi narrowed her eyes slightly. Right at this moment, you sneered coldly. Very well, you guys can keep this plot of land for yourselves. We don't want it. But before sunset tomorrow, I will make you kneel down and beg me to accept the land. Miss Gu, let's go. Gu Yongxi originally wanted to keep applying pressure, but seeing that your attitude had turned cold to the absolute extreme, she still nodded and left with you. Once you both walked out of the villa, Yu Baoshi couldn't help but curse angrily. What rubbish! How dare he splash dirty water on me? What a piece of garbage. Brother Lin is wise? How about we hold a groundbreaking ceremony at the 140 plot tomorrow? To celebrate, Zhu Tianlong was in an exceptionally great mood. The value of the land had skyrocketed, and he had successfully shifted the conflict onto your head. Aside from his son failing to sleep with Lin Yue, tonight could be called absolutely perfect. Lin Jianan didn't agree with anyone, only waving his hand to make them leave. Upstairs, Zhao Yalan finally couldn't hold it in anymore. Lin Jianan let out a sigh. No matter what the truth really is, Miss Gu will eventually return to the imperial capital, and Chen Fan will sooner or later become a useless nobody. But the Tianlong group will always exist. If we truly have to sacrifice one person, it can only be Chen Fan. Just as his words fell, Lin Yowei walked out of the room, her brows knitted tightly. Dad, is it possible that we have underestimated Chen Fan? As Yu and Gu Yunxi left the villa, the anger in her heart was still hard to appease, believing that Lin Jianan was utterly ungrateful. Seeing your sullen expression, she took the initiative to apologize. I'm sorry. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have suffered this kind of grievance. I didn't expect him to act like this either. In the future, I won't make you do any things you are unwilling to do. The more Gu Yunxi thought about it, the more guilty she felt. You comforted her in a soft voice. Don't blame yourself. It's just that they have no baseline at all. Speaking up to this point, your tone suddenly became resolute. Since that's the case, then don't blame me for taking some action. Stop the car, I need to get out and handle some business. Yunxi was stunned for a moment. What do you want to do? Don't be impulsive. They are all big figures in the business world of Tianhai City. Don't worry, I'm going to make them kneel down obediently and hand over the land back with their own hands. The moment your words fell, you violently pulled open the car door and jumped out. Gu Yunxi cried out in panic, Chen Fan, but by the time she blinked and looked again, you had already run far away. 20 minutes later, your figure arrived at the 140 plot of land. Your eyes flickered slightly, and with steady steps, you walked the 8 trigram steps around the plot, while looking up to examine the astrology. Your face revealed an unprecedented solemnity and decisiveness. Before this, you had never used any supernatural means, but this time, Lin Jianan had completely enraged you. Although you aren't good at business warfare, you certainly know how to cast spells. An hour passed, and you finished the very last lap along the plot of land. Stamping one foot down heavily, you shouted in a cold voice, Arise! The ground seemed to tremble slightly, and a shooting star flashed across the night sky. The next day, the province finalized the heavy development of the area around the 140 plot, and this news spread throughout the entire city. Everyone originally thought Shu Tianlong was going to suffer a heavy blow, but they never expected that the ultimate clown turned out to be you. Someone roughly estimated that as long as the development progressed smoothly, Shu Tianlong could make a wild profit of over 2 billion this time. It's just a pity that he has to split half of it equally with Lin Jianan. Thinking of this, he was still feeling regretful. Baoshi, go keep an eye on the site. In another hour, the groundbreaking ceremony will begin. The layout of the venue must be made to look decent and presentable. Zhu Baoshi said with a face full of pride, Dad, just you wait and see. That little punk Chen Fan actually wants us to kneel down. In a moment, I will make him lose face completely in front of the public. Genting Sky Palace. Zhang Shuang rushed into the villa in a panic, still clutching an invitation card in her hand. That was the groundbreaking ceremony invitation, sent over by the Tianlong group, which specifically stated that Mr. Chen must be present. You casually took the invitation card. Mr. Chen, what are your thoughts after reading this invitation? What thoughts could I have? Since they invited me, then let's go. You, the skin on your face is truly not ordinary thick. Zhang Shuang was instantly furious. She turned her head to look at Gu Yunqi. Miss, according to the previous agreement, since he failed to take back the land, he should resign on his own initiative. You heard these words yourself. Gu Yunxi showed a look of difficulty. She knew that the land most likely couldn't be taken back, but she couldn't bear to let you leave either. She could only bite the bullet and speak up. Today is only the groundbreaking ceremony. Perhaps there is still a chance it will return to our hands. Miss, what kind of love potion did he exactly give you? Zhang Shuang stomped her feet in sheer anger. You stood up lazily. Let's go. Let's check out this groundbreaking ceremony. There might be a pleasant surprise. Just as the words fell, you had already taken the lead to step out of the door. Gu Yunxi and Zhang Shuang could only follow along helplessly. The ceremony site was bustling with crowds. The celebrities of Tianhai had all arrived. The surrounding cold sneers and hot mocks were continuous. Chen Fan actually really dared to come. Miss Gu is probably filled with regret. She didn't get the land and even has to accompany him to watch him make a fool of himself. Gu Yunxi's face flushed completely red upon hearing this, and Zhang Shuang kept glaring at you fiercely. But you just smiled faintly, not paying attention to it at all. Right at this moment, Zhu Baoshi pushed through the crowd and walked over, putting on a polite appearance. Miss Gu, welcome to your grand presence. However, you really shouldn't have brought this kind of person along. Gu Yunxi's face was as cold as frost. Whomever I bring over, it is not your place to question. Zhu Baoshi's face turned blue from being rebuffed. He swore fiercely in his heart that sooner or later he would get her into his bed. Watching him walk away in embarrassment, you casually added, then thanks a lot. Gu Yunxi couldn't help but chuckle softly upon hearing that. Meanwhile, in the crowd, Liu Ruyan also witnessed this scene, stomping her feet in sheer anger. Still thinking about one while hooking up with Gu Yunxi? You dead scumbag, smelly scumbag. Zhu Tianlong and Lin Jianan walked onto the stage dressed in formal suits. Zhu Tianlong picked up the microphone and spoke up looking absolutely beamish. At this groundbreaking ceremony, I must thank one person, and that is Chen Fan. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have been able to obtain this plot of land either. Thank you very much, Mr. Chen. Zhu Baoshi also bowed solemnly. Thank you for yielding the province's key development plot to us. I thank your ancestors down to the 8th generation. The venue instantly erupted into a burst of roaring laughter. Everyone could tell that they were just mocking you. You're welcome. Just don't curse at me when you guys start crying. You replied casually with a flat tone. The surrounding gazes instantly filled with pure contempt. And Jenin suddenly spoke up. Actually, I must thank Chen Fan as well. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have gotten into this project either. He paused slightly for a moment. Yesterday, he angered my daughter so much that she suffered a relapse. Just as I was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan, he took the initiative to come to my door saying he could cure her. His demand was for me to find a way to get this plot of land and give it to him. So I went to discuss it with CEO Shu. CEO Shu, out of concern for Yue, agreed on the spot to give me half of the land. However, after Yue woke up, she said she was driven into a coma by him. So in the end, I didn't give the land to him. As for why he absolutely insisted on having this land, I only understood just a moment ago. It's because it's about to undergo massive development. The moment these words came out, the entire venue instantly fell dead silent. Lin Yue shot a fierce look toward her father. How could he twist the story like this? After just a brief moment, condemnation surged in like a massive tidal wave. What a villain. He knew all along that this land was going to be developed. So he plotted against Miss Lin, having lived for so many years. This is truly the first time I've ever seen such a thing. Scum, Miss Gu. Hurry up and make this kind of person get lost. Otherwise, he will definitely drag down your reputation. This kind of person simply deserves to be hacked into 1,000 pieces. Gu Yongxi clenched her fist dead tight. How could Lin Zhenin twist right and wrong like this? Meanwhile, Liu Ruyan was full of shock. Could this really be Chen Fan's doing? And in the entire venue, only Yu maintained an unchanged expression from beginning to end. These people had long been shameless to the point of having absolutely no baseline. So what was there to be angry about? You replied coldly. That's right. None of what you guys said is wrong. I just wanted this plot of land, and it's still the same even now. If you guys are willing, I can spend 1 million to take it off your hands at any time. The moment these words came out, the entire venue exploded even more. Truly shameless, where is your dignity? This land is worth at least 2 billion. What kind of thing do you think you are? Wanting to buy it with just 1 million, Yu Baoshi roared right on the spot. Miss Gu fired him immediately. Gu Yongxi was stunned for a moment, her heart filled with complete confusion. What did these words mean? How could this land possibly be worth only 1 million? Shut up. Don't make Miss Lu's face along with you. Zhang Shuang shouted out with a stern voice. Your expression was casual. I'm doing this for your own sake. Right now I can still give you 1 million. After a little while longer, it might become completely worthless. Fine. Cut the nonsense. Let's get the ceremony started quickly. You slowly raised your head, meeting Xu Tianlong's fierce and ruthless gaze. His face was completely livid. There's no need for your reminder. The groundbreaking ceremony will naturally begin. But I also have to remind you, this land will absolutely never be sold to you. Your calculation is destined to fall through. Lin Zhenin smiled contemptuously. CEO Shu, don't pay any attention to this kind of greenhorn kid. We are only giving face to Miss Gu, which is why we didn't kick him straight out. Let's just start the ceremony first. Zhu Baoshi glared at you fiercely, muttering in a low, displeased voice. This guy is acting like a complete psychopath. Just wait, Miss Gu will definitely fire him and choose me as her business partner in the end. Xu Tianlong announced loudly. Everyone there is no need to take it to heart. He is nothing but a petty villain. Next up, the ceremony officially begins. First, let's welcome Master Jie to the stage. Businessmen have always paid the most attention to ceremonies. Every time a project starts construction, they invite a master over. Today, this master was precisely Master Jie. As he made his entrance, several employees walked over carrying an altar table, fully prepared with a pig's head, fruits, and pastries. Master Jie wore a Taoist robe and held a long sword in his hand. He walked up to the table, lit the incense and candles, and muttered incantations in a low voice. Today is an auspicious hour. The heavens and earth open wide, bringing peace throughout the 4 seasons. The long sword was tossed by him over a dozen meters high into midair, and immediately began to fall downward, finally plunging steadily into the ground. Seeing this scene, everyone cried out in shock. He really is an expert. Master Jie raised his hand and pointed to the ground. This place is a blessed land. Digging it open will cause good fortune to overflow, guaranteeing the construction goes smoothly, and wealth pours in from all sides. Start digging right from here. Yu Tianlong and Lin Zhenin hurriedly bowed respectfully. Thank you very much, Master Jie. Seeing this scene, you were instantly amused and laughed out loud. What a dumb dog. A half-baked scammer is playing 2 fools like a fiddle. Your voice wasn't loud, yet it sounded exceptionally piercing at this exact moment. In an instant, everyone's eyes turned in unison toward you. What the hell did you just say? Zhu Baoshi glared with wide, furious eyes. You are the dumb dog. Just because you couldn't get the land, you came here to deliberately cause trouble. How can Miss Gu keep this kind of petty villain? Exactly what kind of person is this? Miss Gu, just make him get lost already. Things having reached this point, Gu Yongxi could no longer help you speak up. She said in a low voice, "Stop talking. I'm just telling the truth. That is not a blessed position at all, but a disaster position." Master J lunged forward furiously. "You kid dare to question me. I started enlightenment at 3, took a master at 8, and by 16 I already... If you don't want to get beaten up, stay far away from me." Master Ji shuddered violently out of fear, hurriedly retreating backward. Just as Xu Tianlong and Lin Zhenin were about to lose their tempers, Lin Youwei, who hadn't spoken all this time, finally spoke up. "Dad, Uncle Xu, let's just begin. If we drag it out any further, missing the auspicious hour will be troublesome." Xu Tianlong gritted his teeth. "Today I will let you see whether this is a blessed position or not. Brother Lin, let's dig." The gazes of the 4 individuals were as sharp as knives. The sound of digging immediately followed. But after only a few scoops of digging, the ground unexpectedly collapsed, and Xu Baoshi instantly fell right into it. Inside that deep hole of a full 1.5 meters, it was completely packed with a dense mass of swarming snakes. The surrounding people immediately retreated backward. "What's going on?" "We dug into a snake den. This is an ominous omen." Lin Zhenan and Xu Tianlong looked at each other in disbelief. Master J was also dumbfounded. How could this happen? Zhang Shuang's face turned deathly pale from fright. She was most afraid of things like snakes and almost peed her pants right then and there. Gu Yongxi grabbed your arm, her expression full of tension. You just smiled faintly. This is only just the beginning. While everyone was dazed, Xu Baoshi was already screaming inside the pit. "Save me, Dad, save me." Only then did Xu Tianlong suddenly snap out of it. "Quickly save my son." Xu Baoshi was quickly rescued, with several snakes still hanging onto his body, and he was then carried away on a stretcher to be sent to the hospital. "I told you long ago that is a disaster position. You guys didn't believe me, and look what happened now. A single dig down and a snake den is unearthed. Whether your son can even survive is hard to say. Is this ceremony still continuing?" The corner of your mouth slowly curled into a smile. "Right now I am offering 90,000. The crowd once again looked at you in unison. This time, no one dared to speak rudely anymore. Everyone's eyes were filled with pure shock. Did you really have the ability of foresight? Shut up." Xu Tianlong's rage soared into the sky, wishing he could tear you to pieces on the spot. In his heart, he desperately wanted to go check on his son. But as the boss, what would it look like if he walked away? "I will absolutely never let a petty villain like you watch us fail." The ceremony continues. "This was just a temporary slip-up by Master J. We'll just change to another spot." Master G picked a new spot. Cold sweat was dripping heavily down Master G's forehead, but he didn't dare to argue back. "That's right. Just now there was a villain at the scene who disrupted my state of mind. This time there will absolutely be no more problems. Go." This specific spot is the source of wealth. As long as we dig open the seal of soil, wealth will boundlessly roll in. Dig. Xu Tianlong grabbed a shovel with full force, and Lin Zhenin also immediately followed suit. The two exchanged a glance and plunged a shovel deep down. After the soil was turned over, it was just like an artesian spring being opened up. Termites, we dug into a termite nest. Lin Zhenin froze dead on the spot. Xu Tianlong's face turned completely livid. Master Ji was also thoroughly dumbfounded. Lin Youwei whipped her head around to look at you. Liu Ruyan also looked at you with a face full of shock. Gu Yongxi slowly turned her head around, her face written all over with confusion. "For this land, I am now offering 80,000. The moment these words fell, everyone's gaze landed entirely upon you. The confusion in everyone's eyes grew even heavier. "Shut the hell up." Xu Tianlong had almost lost his mind completely. "I Shu would rather not want this land at all than ever sell it to you. You better give up on this idea right now." You just smiled faintly, too lazy to pay him any attention. Lin Zhenin's face was gloomy. At first he thought that they would lose some money, but the province's key investment directly changed the situation. Now this sudden drop was simply too massive. Pick another spot to change to. I don't believe we can keep being this unlucky. That's right, pick another one. Can you do it or not? Give me a straight answer. Master J was sweating like rain. It was his first time encountering such a strange thing. Of course I can. There will absolutely be no problem with the next spot. He walked quickly toward another spot. This is a longevity spot. People who live here will have long lives full of blessings. Xu Tianlong and Lin Zhenin dug with all their might. As a shovel slammed down, hundreds of centipedes instantly swarmed out, covering everything. Screams suddenly erupted everywhere, and the crowd scattered in panic. Master Ji's face turned deathly pale. How is this possible? 70,000, you said with a flat expression. Xu Tianlong's face was distorted with rage. "I really don't believe in this evil nonsense today." As a result, what swarmed out this time were poisonous toads. 60,000. Xu Tianlong couldn't control himself and roared at Master J, "You useless piece of trash. What good are you to me? I'll choose by myself." He casually pointed at a spot and dug down with a shovel. As the dust and clods of earth were turned over, countless scorpions swarmed out in droves. This time, it wasn't just Xu Tianlong. Even the onlookers completely broke down. What kind of ghostly place is this? If geckos pop up next, the 5 poisonous creatures will be fully gathered. How can we even develop this place? How can anyone live here? Zhu Tianlong instantly froze on the spot, the despair in his heart beyond words. If this news were to leak out, no one would buy this land even if it were dirt cheap. Chen Fan, is it you who is playing tricks? You are the one who did all of this. You deliberately dug pit traps to harm us. Cut the nonsense. Are you selling it for 500,000 or not? For this plot of land, let alone 500,000, they would think even 50,000 is expensive. Lin Jianan almost spat blood from anger. 500,000. He himself had spent 650 million to buy shares in this land, and it was worth at least 2 billion before digging. Selling it to you for 500,000 now is just too brutal of a depreciation. I'm going to slaughter you. I'm going to kill you, you little punk. You smiled gently, and before you could even make a move, Gu Yongxi suddenly blocked in front of you. If you dare to touch a single hair on his head, I will use my family's power to wipe out your entire family. If you don't believe me, just try it. Miss Gu, I really don't understand why you keep protecting him. In what way is my son Baoshi not 10 million times better than him? Your son got ridden like a horse. Zhu Tianlong was instantly left speechless on the spot. Gu Yongxi withdrew her gaze, a smile on the corner of her mouth. The ceremony is over. Chen Fan, let's go. At this time you thought about it, and casually asked another question. Are you selling it for 400,000? How about 300,000? Zhu Tianlong's eyes rolled back from sheer anger, and he fainted dead on the spot. On the way back, Gu Yongxi asked with a beaming smile, you did all of this, didn't you? You always felt like she had changed into a different person, unlike the Gu Yunqi you knew before. Now she felt more like a big sister next door. By comparison, you still preferred the Enchantress Gu. Take a guess. You still dare to make Miss guess? Have you really forgotten that you are just an employee? Miss, the previous promise still needs to be fulfilled. Since Chen Fan didn't get the land, he should take the initiative to leave. Gu Yongxi's face instantly sank. Didn't you see the situation? This land has absolutely no value. Do you still want me to lose money on it? Zhang Shuang was choked by the retort and left speechless. The bet remains as before. They will soon be begging to give the land to me. You replied casually. Chen Fan. Gu Yongxi was completely puzzled. Since she had already cleared his name, why did he still actively look for trouble? A gentleman's word cannot be taken back. You looked at Yongxi and smiled faintly. I'm not doing this for the bet. I want to help you achieve great results. Completely shake off that fool and allow you to truly have your own right to choose. Of course, if you choose me in the end, then I will take you to find the other 6 fiancés to call off the engagement. If you don't choose me, we'll consider the engagement with you cancelled, and then I'll continue to call off the remaining ones. Gu Yongxi's pretty face blushed slightly, and she spoke up softly. It's truly a blessing to have you here. Blessing. After hearing these 2 words, you suddenly remembered there was still one more thing left undone. Gu Yongxi's fate carries a death curse, so you have to help her neutralize it first. But since the conditions are limited right now, you should make a protective amulet for her first. Stop the car, I need to step out for a bit. You spoke up suddenly. Gu Yongxi was slightly stunned. She thought you were going to say something else, but didn't expect it would actually be a request to stop the car. Could it be that she had spoken too bluntly just now? Zhang Shuang immediately brought the car to a halt. Once you left, she asked probingly, Miss, you haven't really fallen in love with him, have you? Yongxi turned her face to the side, her expression cold and aloof. Just focus on driving your car. After getting out of the car, you made a phone call to contact Zhang Kangdi. Before long, a Maserati pulled up right in front of you. Liu Ruyan sat inside the car, staring at you with a serious expression. Get in. Obviously, she had been keeping an eye on you for a long time. Only showing up after Gu Yunshi's car had driven far away, you suddenly felt a bit helpless. Why is she everywhere you go? No need. Someone is coming to pick me up. Liu Ruyan rolled her eyes. She believed she had already figured out Chen Fan's personality. He loves to pretend to be high and cold, only to secretly follow her behind her back later. And he is exceptionally good at putting on a front. And once he's exposed, he'll fly into a rage out of shame. Otherwise, why would he get out of the car? He must have discovered that she was tailing him from behind, so he actively got out to give her a chance, yet felt too embarrassed to admit it. She thought about it and simply didn't bother to expose you. I have something I want to ask you. How did you know this place couldn't be developed? That the underground was completely filled with venomous creatures? After saying that, she pressed closer, step by step. You originally wanted to leave straight away, but you also knew she would never drop it until she got an answer. So you could only reply flatly, it was a spell I cast to attract all those venomous creatures over. Pfft. Liu Ruyan burst out laughing on the spot. If you don't want to say it, then forget it. Do you really take me for a fool, casting spells? She fundamentally didn't believe you could learn such things in prison. Seeing this, your expression remained flat. If there's nothing else, I'll be leaving first. Of course there is a question. Is it completely over between you and Lin Yue? We never even started to begin with, so how can there be an end? Because of me. Hearing these words, you were startled on the spot. What kind of wild and aggressive words were these? Seeing this reaction of yours, Liu Ruyan thought she had guessed correctly. With a face full of pride, she instantly said, I saw through it long ago. There's no need for you to keep hiding or covering it up anymore. At first, I thought you were unreliable, but after interacting over the past few days, I find you to be somewhat decent. We can start as friends first. And later, hey, where are you going? Before she could even finish her words, she noticed you had already walked far away with quick steps. She hurriedly chased after you. Chasing a girl requires being bold. You are always hiding and being evasive, and you clearly have me in your heart, so why don't you dare to admit it? You stopped your footsteps and looked at her. How can you be so ordinary, yet so confident? Liu Ruyan's expression changed, her face flushing completely red. An uncontainable rage boiled up inside her. You are the one who is overconfident. Aren't you just slightly lucky to be favored by Miss Gu? If you lose Miss Gu, you are absolutely nothing. Right at this moment, a Rolls Royce pulled up right in front of the Maserati. Zhang Kangdi pushed open the door and got out of the car, looking straight toward Liu Ruyan. Who are you? What do you want by following Mr. Chen all this time? Seeing this, Liu Ruyan's heart rate accelerated. It was her very first time being at such a close distance. To the underground emperor of Tianhai City, that sense of oppression was simply too strong, as if being stared down by the Grim Reaper himself. Following that, you quickly got into the car, not wanting to stay here for even a moment longer. Let's go. No need to bother with her. All right, Mr. Chen. I'll drive right away. Zhang Kangdi quickly sat back into the driver's seat, as obedient as a dog. Liu Ruyan watched the Rolls-Royce drive into the distance, only snapping back to her senses a minute later. She then gritted her teeth. Isn't it all just relying on Gu Yunxi? The higher you pretend to be now, the harder you will fall in the future. The day you have nothing left, you will definitely come back to find me. I'll just wait for that day, to see if you can still keep putting on a front. Inside the car, Zhang Kangdi asked in a low voice while driving. Mr. Chen, if you find her troublesome, I can take care of her for you. Zhang Kangdi thought Liu Ruyan was just a gold digger, trying to entangle you. Forget it, just avoid her a bit and that'll do. You then casually asked a question. Do you happen to know where I can buy raw jade stones? Zhang Kangdi showed a look of difficulty. After pondering for a moment, he spoke up slowly. Do you want raw jade stones that have never seen the light? Or does the inside have to be glass species? Jade. No new glass species has appeared for many years. This is truly too difficult to find. On second thought, you realized he was right. They don't have X-ray vision, nor can they sense the internal qi, so naturally, they have no way to differentiate it. Zhang Kangdi suddenly shifted the topic. However, Tianhai has a jade street. Perhaps we can go there to try our luck. I heard that a glass species was once cut out there. You nodded your head and spoke up, then let's go check it out. Before long, you both arrived at the jade street. You walked straight forward and stopped in front of a greasy stall owner. Seeing you walk over the stall owner, his heart instantly leaped. Looking at your appearance, he knew you had absolutely no experience. Boss, come check out my goods. Every single one of these stones of mine can yield jade, and the quality of the stones is exceptionally good. 3 years ago, an imperial green jade was cut right here. Back then, I sold it to a boss for only 20,000, and that person turned around and sold it for tens of millions. This batch of raw materials belongs to that exact same batch. Who knows, there might still be an imperial green hidden inside. Hearing these words, the nearby vendors snorted in disdain. As for the stories coming out of the stall owner's mouth, aside from the guarantee that it could yield jade being true, everything else was complete nonsense. You ignored the stall owner's bragging. After looking around for a bit, your gaze landed on a fist-sized black stone. I'll buy this piece. How much? The surrounding people were all dazed upon seeing this. Who on earth would directly state what they wanted? He really is a greenhorn. He deserves to be ripped off. The stall owner almost laughed out loud on the spot, silently calculating in his heart. The ones I scam are precisely opinionated fools like you. Boss, you indeed have a great eye. To tell you the truth, I was also optimistic about this piece, and originally planned to keep it to cut it myself. But seeing that you and I share a bond of fate, if you really want to buy it, it's a fixed price of 100,000. The moment his words fell, you directly paid the money. What, he paid the money just like that, without even bargaining. He really is a greenhorn. This stone is worth 1,000 at the absolute most. He deserves to be cheated. He should be given a harsh lesson by society. Seeing that you really just directly handed over the money, the surrounding people all broke into mocking laughter. The stall owner also didn't expect you to be so straightforward, almost laughing out loud. Boss, you are truly open-minded. However, we have a rule here. Once an item is sold, there are absolutely no refunds or exchanges. If you make a profit, it's your own capability. If you lose money, it's your own lack of judgment. And it has nothing to do with me. Just as the words fell, you reached out and peeled off the outer layer of the stone. Crack, a crisp sound echoed, and in the very next instant, a dazzling green light burst through. Holy crap, what imperial green? The onlookers were all instantly dumbfounded. It's glowing. This piece on its own is worth at least over $1 million on the market. If the inside is completely full green, the value would be at least tens of millions. No imperial green has been cut out for so many years. Who would have thought this guy is actually a true master? Seeing this scene, your heart surged with joy. As expected, your judgment didn't fail you. Using jade of this quality to create a protective amulet for her can not only bring good luck, but more importantly, ward off a life or death calamity once. If this is given to Guyunshi, at least in the short term, there is no need to worry about her facing a fatal danger. You put away the jade stone, just about to turn around and leave. Wait, the stall owner suddenly called out to you, holding a similar looking raw stone in his hand. Little brother, you took the wrong one. The one you bought is this piece. The one in your hand is mine. You frowned slightly. Are you sure? Of course. The two stones look too much alike. You took the wrong one just now. Hurry up and return the stone to me. Hearing these words, Zhang Kangdi, who had been standing next to you all this time, instantly glared with wide eyes. Damn it, you want to go back on your word. Do you believe I'll throw you into the river to feed the turtles? The stall owner, however, was not afraid at all, feeling that the imperial green in your hand was worth at least 3 million. As long as he could get his hands on it this time, he wouldn't have to worry about anything ever again. Keep your mouth clean. In a word, leave the stone behind and you guys can leave right now. If you don't leave it, don't even think about walking away today. I'll make you guys crawl out of this street. The surrounding people all gasped sharply. You better leave the stone behind. You guys can't fight him. This imperial green is worth several millions. You can't hold down this kind of wealth. You guys better think clearly about the consequences. The stall owner became more and more arrogant, crossing his arms over his chest. I don't want to repeat myself a second time. Leave the stone behind and beat it. Also, you dared to curse at me just now. Slap yourself twice? Heh, isn't this guy the underground emperor Zhang Kangdi? To think he is actually being threatened right on the street. You bastard! I'm going to kill you right now. You better wait for me. Third brother, come quick. I'm being beaten up by someone. Get the hell out of my way. Who dares to cause trouble in Jade Street? Several burly men carrying weapons arrived to back him up. The surrounding people stayed as far away as possible from them. Third brother, they robbed my stone and even beat people up. Today I want to make them crawl out of here. Damn it, you must have eaten a bear's heart and a leopard's gall to dare to touch my people. The leading third brother rushed over furiously. But the instant he saw Zhang Kangdi, he was completely terrified out of his wits, and the words he wanted to say were swallowed right back down. This person was the underground emperor. Hey, weren't you being arrogant? If I don't make you kneel down and call me grandpa today, I'll stop hanging around here. Call your master. Shut the hell up. His knees went soft and he knelt on the ground with a face full of fawning. Grandpa, you have arrived. The surrounding people were all completely dumbfounded. Third brother? Third your master? This is Master Zhang Kangdi. Hurry up and kneel down to greet him. What? Everyone knew of Zhang Kangdi, but those who truly recognized him were few and far between. Grandpa, I was wrong. It is I who have eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai, and didn't know you brought your child over. I'm sorry, everyone also mistakenly assumed that Chen Fan was Zhang Kangdi's child. You blind bunch of fools. This is Mr. Chen. He is my master. I am absolutely going to throw you into the river to feed the turtles today. What, master? Forget it, there is no need to waste time. This kind of small matter is not worth taking a human life and damaging our good fortune. Just break his limbs and throw him on the road to beg for food for the rest of his life. Yes, Zhang Kangdi hurriedly complied and quickly made a phone call to arrange it. Mr. Chen, it's easy to appease the king of hell, but the little ghosts are hard to deal with. Many people have never seen me, so it doesn't matter. Where can I buy a carving knife? You want to do some carving? I know just the place for this. The treasure pavilion run by Master Zhang of the Tianhai City Jade Industry. His carving skills are renowned nationwide, and many big bosses from out of town specifically invite him to work. You originally wanted to carve it yourself, but since someone else can do it for you, that works too. Within a few minutes, you both arrived at the treasure pavilion. Your eyes were met with a dazzling array of carved masterpieces. One of the pieces was a picture of the celestial realm carved from a 3-meter-high Mount Tai stone. The figures on it were lifelike, leaving onlookers in absolute awe. Scammers. This place is full of scammers. Return my jade to me. You didn't just scam my jade. You even scammed me for sex. I gave you everything. Let go of me, you damn wench. Kick her out of here. If she dares to talk nonsense again, sew her mouth shut. Let go of me. Let go. Retribution will definitely catch up to you, monsters. Don't come here, everyone. The treasure pavilion is nothing but a scam. They rob people of their wealth and bodies. Hearing this, you frowned slightly, and Zhang Kangdi was also completely taken aback. Before you two could speak, isn't this Master Zhang Kangdi? Your grand presence honors us. Please forgive us for not welcoming you properly. Please accept our apologies. You came at the perfect time. Everyone, this is the underground emperor of Tianhai City, Zhang Kangdi, and also an honored guest of our treasure pavilion. If you dare to spout wild nonsense again, I wouldn't mind asking Master Zhang Kangdi to step in personally, to shut your mouth forever. Who in Tianhai City hadn't heard of Zhang Kangdi's great name? The woman was instantly terrified into silence. What's going on here? Li Kang was precisely the man standing before you, the direct disciple of Master Zhang. She's just a woman who came here to stage a scam, trying to blackmail me. If she dares to scream again, then I can only trouble you, Master Tiger, to make a move. It's not like that. My family has an heirloom jade stone, but recently my husband's illness worsened, and we urgently need money. So I thought about bringing it here to have it carved, to sell it for a good price. But when I came, they swapped my jade stone for a fake one. I wanted to get my jade stone back, so I agreed to his demands. But he still refuses to return the jade stone to me. The moment these words came out, Zhang Kangdi's face also darkened. Even thieves have a code. What kind of skill is it to target a helpless woman? Li Kang instantly flew into a rage out of shame, walking straight toward the woman. He swung his fist, and this punch was about to land. If it hit, it could at least knock the woman unconscious. But right at this exact moment, you suddenly made a move, firmly grabbing Li Kang's wrist. You are not a saint, nor do you meddle in every single matter. But you smelled that the woman's body was completely covered in medicine, which was clearly left from taking care of a patient long term. Speak properly and make things clear. Don't be in a rush to raise your hands and hit people. What is true cannot be made false, and what is false cannot be made true. You little punk wanted to play the hero and uphold justice too. Zhang Kangdi, what is the meaning of this? Could it be that you want to lay a hand on me? In Tianhai City? Who didn't know that he was the underground emperor. But this emperor title wasn't easy to maintain either. There were also many people he didn't dare to provoke, such as the treasure pavilion. After all, Master Zhang had vast connections. If a real conflict broke out, they might not necessarily win. Li Kang, watch your attitude when you speak. This is Miss Gu's business partner, Mr. Chen Fan. Ha ha ha, so it's Mr. Chen. Ha ha, he is nothing but a mere employee, completely unworthy of any serious attention. Since Mr. Chen could be favored by Miss Gu, surely your eyes aren't blind, right? Everything she says is a lie. Can you not tell? I didn't. I really didn't. The woman seized the opportunity to break free from the restraint, kneeling on the ground with a thud and pleading, Mr. Chen, if I told a single lie, may lightning strike me dead. Please, I beg you to speak up for me. If I can't get this money back, my husband really won't survive. You gigolo employee, how dare you lay hands on me twice in a row? Did I give you too much face? Believe it or not, I can kill you with a single word. This is all a misunderstanding. Mr. Chen, the treasure pavilion's connections run very deep, yo. Those connections of theirs are completely not worth mentioning in my eyes. Return her jade stone to her immediately, and then take out 5 million as compensation for her. Otherwise, I will tear down the sign of your treasure pavilion. Who dares to tear down the sign of my treasure pavilion? A voice came from the entrance. An old man with a head full of silver hair, wearing a tang suit, stepped inside. He coughed twice as he walked. The newcomer was precisely Master Zhang. The crowd in the shop hurriedly greeted him. Master. Li Kang limped over to welcome him, directly playing the victim and suing first. Master, this wicked woman is full of nonsense. This guy named Chen laid hands on me and beat me up without distinguishing right from wrong, and even made arrogant claims. You must stand up for me. Zhang Kangdi, what a massive attitude you have. Don't forget that that person is about to return. I advise you to think about how to save your own life first. So you are Miss Gu's business partner. Young people, it's normal to be a bit arrogant after reaching heaven in a single step. But you must know who you are dealing with. Showing off in the wrong place can ruin your entire life. Just based on those words you said just now, logically, I should not spare you lightly. However, giving face to Miss Gu, go to the entrance bow, apologize, and then get the hell out of here. You don't really think you're someone amazing, do you? In my master's eyes, you are nothing but an ant. Crushing you wouldn't take the slightest bit of effort. So he is Chen Fan? Just a nobody. Reaching heaven in a single step has spoiled him into not knowing how high the sky is. To come here and run wild at Master Zhang's place, he doesn't even look at what kind of trash he is. Hurry up and get the hell out of here to apologize. Otherwise, with just a single word from Master Zhang, Miss Gu would have to fire you immediately. Zhang Kangdi's heart was pounding wildly, his forehead completely covered in cold sweat. By the looks of it, he also didn't dare to provoke Master Zhang. Seeing his state, you were directly amused to the point of laughing. You spoke up with a cold expression. Old thing, are you not even going to ask a single question about the truth of the matter? What did you say? You dare to be disrespectful to Master Zhang. You're looking for death, shameless junior. To think you still dare to speak rudely in front of me. Let me tell you, I am not Miss Gu, and I have no reason to tolerate you. Hurry up and go kneel at the entrance to apologize. Otherwise, don't blame me for showing no mercy. No wonder you carve out piles after piles of complete garbage. It turns out, this old guy is not only blind in the eyes, but his heart is also crooked. Coincidentally, I'm too lazy to waste any more words either. You don't need to keep this plaque anymore. You reckless little thinky. You little thing. You actually really dare to tear down my sign. You are looking for death. Zhang Kangdi was terrified and dumbfounded. He thought you were just talking, but who could have thought you would actually dare to make a move? Now that such a massive incident has been caused, it's feared that all the people Master Zhang befriended over the years will come to look for trouble with you. But you didn't have the slightest burden in your heart. This kind of old thing who uses his fame to scam people while running a fraudulent shop. should have been forced to close down for good in the first place. Therefore, you said casually, "This is merely giving you a small lesson. If you dare to scam people again, I will send you all to see the king of hell." After saying that, you turned around to leave. Stand still. You dare to smash my plaque? Slap my face. And now you want to just walk away. Today, I am absolutely not letting this drop with you. Master Zhang, get lost. The surrounding people also sneered one after another, letting him remain arrogant. I said it long ago, when a petty villain achieves success, there will definitely be no good end. Now something has indeed gone wrong. Master Zhang's reputation echoes far and wide. I heard that even the most mysterious Mighty Tiger Villa in Tianhai has a close friendship with him. Wanting to deal with him is just a matter of minutes. Just wait and see. It won't take long before he has to kneel down and beg for mercy. You didn't bother to pay any attention to these discussions at all. Anyway, if they want to play, you will just play along with them. Therefore, you lowered your head and looked at that woman who had been full of worry all this time. Is your husband suffering from cerebral infarction? You made a rough judgment from the medicine smell on her body, but you still needed to confirm it. The woman nodded repeatedly. Yes, Mr. Chen. Did I cause trouble for you? This is nothing. Go get 3 inches of dragon snake herb and 3 inches of snake tail herb. Take it twice a day. After 3 days, your husband's illness will naturally take a turn for the better. Go ahead. The moment these words came out, a burst of mockery immediately erupted from the surroundings. He's actually pretending to be a doctor now. Cerebral infarction is a world-class problem. Unless the family's net worth is over 100 million, otherwise ordinary people simply cannot afford the treatment costs. Wanting to cure it with just a few dozen yuan worth of Chinese medicine? Simply ridiculous. Hearing these words, the woman was obviously stunned for a moment. But then she spoke up with absolute determination. Mr. Chen, I have already memorized the prescription, but I cannot leave. You got into trouble because of me. If I just leave like this, am I still even a human being? I am willing to risk my life to shoulder this responsibility. Wanting to leave, how can it be that easy? At this time, another voice came from the entrance. Chen Fan, do you know how much trouble you have caused? Everyone turned their heads to look. The one speaking turned out to be Zhang Shuang, and the person standing in front of her was actually Gu Yunqi. Why did she come? If it were me, I would have slammed my head against the wall and died long ago. Stop causing more trouble for Miss. Shut up. Gu Yongxi's expression was very displeased. Just now, she had received many phone calls, all of which were targeted at you, but they were all forcefully suppressed by her. When she saw the smashed plaque on the ground, she also felt a bit of a headache. Following that, she stepped forward and said with a smile, "You must be Master Zhang, right? I have long heard of your great name. Regarding today's matter, Miss Gu, say no more. This plaque is my lifeblood. I only have one requirement: he must die. If Miss Gu insists on using your power to protect him, then I dare to risk this life of mine to fight." As these words fell, Gu Yongxi instantly didn't know what to say. Tearing down someone's plaque was already a massive deal to begin with, let alone the fact that Master Zhang had quite a few close friends who all wanted to make a move on you. However, since she had chosen you, there was naturally no way she wouldn't protect you. It was just that before she could even speak, you took a step ahead and spoke up. "Miss Gu, I will solve this matter myself. Old thing. If you want to risk your life, just bring it on. I am right here. Don't waste my time." Chen Fan stopped talking. Tearing down the plaque is not only smashing Master Zhang's reputation, but it also destroys his works. Let me handle this. Hearing this, you smiled faintly. I don't have the habit of hiding behind a woman. Besides, those works of his are nothing but trash to begin with. There's no pity even if they are destroyed. The moment these words came out, silence immediately descended all around. Master Zhang was the most famous carving master in Tianhai, and even possessed some fame looking at the entire country. Up until now, no one had ever dared to say his carvings were trash. Miss Gu, I advise you to fire him immediately. This kind of shameless scoundrel is just relying on your fame to run amok and behave lawlessly. Good. This old man has truly broadened his horizons today. To think someone actually dares to call my works trash? Then why don't you tell me what can actually be considered a good piece? As long as you can take out a good piece that makes me thoroughly convinced to prove my works are trash, I won't hold you responsible today. Looking across the entire country, there were only a few people whose carvings could surpass his. At this moment, the surrounding crowd also joined in the jeering. Take it out, that's my order. Originally, you didn't want to make a move yourself. But seeing Gu Yunqi being put in such a difficult position, you didn't want to leave her unable to save face either. Therefore, you spoke flatly, "Fine. Today, I'll let you all open your eyes." After saying that, you fished out a jade stone from your pocket. "Bring me a carving knife." The surroundings instantly quieted down, but right after that, a burst of mockery erupted. What are you trying to do? You can't be planning to do a live carving on the spot, right? Is something wrong with this kid's brain? I really don't get what Miss Gu actually sees in him. Gu Yongxi's cheeks instantly flushed crimson, and her expression also became unnatural. Zhang Shuang gritted her teeth in sheer anger. Li Kang's face was full of sarcasm. A piece of trash like you dares to swing a big blade in front of Guan Yu. This is truly hilarious. Carving for 5 years is only considered laying the foundation, 8 years to officially complete an apprenticeship, and 12 years to finally attain mastery. Do you know any of these? Yet you dare to run out here and embarrass yourself. Are you going to bring the knife or not? Gu Yongxi called out your name, gently biting her lower lip. She thought to herself that if it really came down to it, she could only forcefully shoulder the blame for you. Give it to him. I'd like to see what kind of thing he can carve. To dare to call my works trash. Be careful now. Don't end up cutting your hand. The surrounding laughter went on continuously, but you didn't bother to pay any attention to them. Under all the sarcastic and mocking gazes, you gripped the jade stone with one hand, while the index finger of your other hand flipped rapidly. Pieces of debris kept falling down. When everyone clearly saw that piece of material, you stunned them all. It turned out to be imperial green. What a pity that landing in your hands is a complete waste of time. The scolding, on the contrary, grew even more fierce. In the blink of an eye, half an hour passed. As you did the final touches, the jade stone in your hand was carved into a sphere. Old thing, open your eyes wide and look closely. This is what real carving looks like. Hearing the commotion, everyone turned their heads to look. They saw that the imperial green jadeite in your hand had actually been carved into a smooth, perfectly round sphere with dozens of blooming peonies of fortune and nobility meticulously etched onto its surface. That superb craftsmanship left people clicking their tongues in amazement. Everyone present was completely starstruck, especially Gu Yunqi and Zhang Shuang. They could never have imagined that you were actually hiding this kind of skill up your sleeve. But Li Kang only let out a cold sneer, and with a face full of disdain, he spoke up in disgust. The craftsmanship is too trashy. It's simply unbearable to look at. It can only deceive amateurs, but in the eyes of an expert, this is nothing but garbage. Next, he rambled on endlessly with a long speech, claiming that floral carving is the most basic skill in the carving world, and bashed it all over without any politeness. Shut up. You are the one who is an embarrassing joke. If you don't understand, don't talk nonsense, and don't ruin my reputation. Master floral carving is originally the most basic thing. I didn't say anything wrong either. Get lost. Master Zhang didn't bother to pay any more attention to him at all. He walked up to you with quick steps. Mr. Chen, could you let this old man take a closer look at this piece? Everyone was completely dumbfounded. What on earth happened to Master Zhang?